All right, here we go. It's a Red Friday in Kansas City. Cody and Gold, Alex Gold, Cody Tapp, Drew Nixon with you for the next 4 hours. And, of course, Red Friday is brought to you by ComCare. Call or text 988 for 24/7 mental health support. Coming up a little bit later on in the show, Pete Sweeney at 11 o'clock, our Chiefs insider from Arrowhead Pride. Get his thoughts on Monday Night Football. Chiefs, Eagles. We got to get through this weekend first. And, of course, looking forward to Monday's show. We don't get a whole lot of game day shows. There's a few a year. This will be the third one, I guess.
Thursday. Yeah, it's actually been more than normal
We
this
had
year.
the opener, which is a rarity, and then, of course, the one Thursday everybody gets, and then we're going to get a Monday Nighter. So, yeah, there's only a handful of these a year, so looking forward to that on Monday's show. Today also going to be a fun one because it's a Club 610 Friday presented by Jay Rieger.
Always great.
We're going to have some cocktails, have a good time. We've got, I think, Carrington and Rob coming in studio, and today we find out exactly what we put our money towards.
What's in the box?
What's in the box, man?
I'm showing it to the video stream now if you want an idea of size. I'd call it, what do you think, 25 pounds?
Yeah,
What's
maybe
your guys' vibe here? 30 pounds?
20 to 25 pounds probably, right? It's a large box that is made up of Amazon, Walmart, and Target returns from a liquidation company. We're going to find out what we may or may not have wasted our money on. We don't know.
I think we're getting rich, personally.
Rich?
I think it's just, it'll be shocking how much money is pouring
Cautiously
into the
optimistic
show
I
after
am.
this.
The box is sealed. We have no clue.
I got so tempted to open it
I
on
hate
Thursday.
surprises. You know this. I hate surprises.
Yeah, you shook the box like it was a Christmas present.
I wanna open the box. We got to wait till 1 o'clock today to find out. We'll get our final guesses on what's in there. We'll take your guesses too. We'll take your guesses on that as well. 913-586-7610, and then we'll try to resell it. We'll see. You know what's going to happen though, Drew? If we end up making even like $25, then Cody's going to say, "Well, let's spend $1,000 on the next box."
Because then, $25, $1,000 we'll make $100.
The more we spend, the more we're going to get back.
No. Look, I know that our time has value.
If we make money,
needs to be a part of this. If we only make $25 on the box,
not worth it.
Not worth it. Too much work.
Plus, we've decided, depending on the money, it's about time for a new edition of Cody and Gold T-shirts anyway. So we're gonna have to use some money probably towards that at some point.
What?
In the very
We don't
near
make
future.
any money off of that.
Well, we need to start having some new T-shirts to give to the listeners.
Okay. By the way, most people not as optimistic as I am that this will be worth it, and instead we're gonna get screwed. We'll see. I don't know. I honestly have never bought a box like this before. I wanted to buy a whole pallet. You guys thought that was too aggressive, so we had to settle for the middle ground, which is again this one box. I'm very excited. I'd like to make some guesses here in a little bit about what's in it.
So is it our fault then? Is it Golden Eye's fault if there's not good stuff then? Is that what you're trying to do here?
I still think the pallet would have worked.
Didn't want to do it anyway.
But at least you agreed to this. You agreed to at least this level.
Worked hard for the show fun. I don't want to just blow it on anything. So here we are. We'll find out. Mystery boxes are fun. I've told you when it talks about we've talked about sports memorabilia and all that kind of stuff. There's mystery boxes you buy, $500 box, and it might have an autographed Patrick Mahomes helmet in it, or it's going to have some player that's been out of the league for 30 years that played one snap, Yeah,
it's a risk just like, anything like that. Like you said, a box break, any of that stuff that comes in their way. So we'll find out. 1 o'clock. I don't want to get too excited. It's there the whole show. We just got to sit there thinking about it. We can't just pull like one thing. I feel like once I open it, you'll be able to see all of it.
When we open
it'll kind of ruin the surprise.
When we open it, I think the rule is you can't just open it and just start looking in. I think you open it, you reach in, you grab something, and then you move it to the middle. I reach in and grab something. I think we do that for at least the first couple items. I think that's how we have to do this.
I think if it were sitting there, though, you could still try not to. Try to cover your eyes?
Or at least you can't just go in there and open it and look at the whole entire thing because then you'll spoil it. So we'll do that in the 1 o'clock hour today. We know the Chiefs are getting set to take on the Eagles, and it's kind of interesting how each side is talking about this game. We know the Chiefs beat the Eagles in the Super Bowl. On the Eagles side, some of their players are talking about it being a revenge game. And then on the Chiefs side, you would think they'd be saying, "Oh, well, it's just another game, and we're just trying to get back to the Super Bowl." But McDuffie kind of seemed like they're using it as a revenge game defensively because they didn't feel like, Cody, they played well defensively. Remember, Jalen Hurts was awesome in the Super Bowl. Jalen Hurts was the best player in that game, even in a losing effort. He was. And so the Chiefs' defense is much different now than what it was during the Super Bowl.
Real quick news, K-State has announced a contract extension for Gene Taylor through 2029-2030. I don't think anybody's surprised by them extending their AD for
Gotcha.
a few years. But when you go back through and you look at the way this is, I was trying to decide if this game is more about their past run-ins or their future ones. And I've decided with the Chiefs, it's always about the future. This game means more to me from this legitimately, and I know that this is an overused sentence in a NFL regular season. This to me is more about this could be a legitimate Super Bowl preview again. These are the two top teams in the AFC and the NFC. They were good enough to be in the Super Bowl last year. Jalen Hurts and Patrick Mahomes are two of the three biggest odds favorites to win MVP. So this could decide MVP if they face each other in the Super Bowl this year, and so many other things more than it is, revenge game. I think if anyone's looking at it like that, it's got to be Philly's end and not the Chiefs. This was Jordan Mailata. You might recognize him from the Christmas album that Travis and Jason Kelce sing on together, talking about what this game is for Philly.
Kansas City Chiefs. You looking forward to the game?
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I really am, man. I really am. I think for me, it's a little bit more personal than some of my teammates. Just because the last time we faced them. But we're always going to keep the main thing, and that's going to want to know every week and sticking to a game plan. But personally, I'm taking it personal. Yeah, I know Nick's going to come in this week and say, same game, same process.
Right.
Stick to the process. But I'll never forget the red and gold confetti falling on my head. I'll never forget those emotions from that day. I'll never forget. I haven't even watched the film.
Right.
In that game. Besides, getting the corrections from Stout,
Sure.
I haven't rewatched the game.
The game, yeah.
It's hard for me.
I love the Australian accent. So good.
Yeah, it's
Fantastic.
very good. If you could choose any accent, is that the one you'd go with?
That's pretty high on the list, I think.
Pretty high?
It's strong, though, right? It's a very strong one, but it's good.
It's indistinguishable.
Yeah.
You're definitely going to stand out in a crowd with that accent. But I think for the Chiefs' perspective, they have to look at this as litmus test, future Super Bowl opponent. Let's find out how we stack up against the best again. Being able to beat a team like this, both coming off a bye week, both playing currently good football because they're doing a lot of winning, both quarterbacks in the MVP hunt. It says a lot about your team this year for the Super Bowl, for those things. I don't care that they beat him in the Super Bowl. That's long past. The Kelce Bowl stuff, that's done for me. That can come back up if they play again.
But it does set the tone for how people are going to view both teams just the rest of the way, all the way up until the Super Bowl in Las Vegas, right? Because how this game goes, whether it is, as you said, just the quarterback performances, and it'll shape the MVP conversation perhaps. But if they both were to get to their respective conference championship games, there will be renewed talk, about a rematch, but also looking at how the regular season matchup went. We're going to talk more about this on Monday, but that game, the number one conversation was about how the Chiefs' O-line was going to hold up.
Yeah.
That, I asked Dane and Hughes this yesterday. I remembered how much we discussed that. We were on Radio Row in Phoenix,
and we thought they'd take some
day.
losses there just because you kind of have to.
Every day, whether it was having people on our show or when we were doing interviews on other shows, everybody wanted to know, how is the Chiefs O-line going to hold up against that defensive front for Philly? We know now how that went. 0 sacks. The Chiefs offensive line had T-shirts made. Remember that were for 0 sacks and all that?
Oh, they did, yeah. They wore them at the parade.
They made some T-shirts because that was how dominant a performance it was. It was the Chiefs defense that got after the Eagles offensive line and had multiple sacks and all that. So, I think when you're taking a look at how this game can shape it. It's narratives, and that's it. Someone says New Zealand, not Australia. No, that Mailata's from Australia, 100%.
I know that does kind of sound like a Kiwi accent, but I'm pretty confident that he is Australian Gold. I think you're right. By the way, there's only been one ever back-to-back Super Bowl rematch. Obviously, two teams have faced each other in the Super Bowl multiple times before, but from a back-to-back perspective, can you name the only other one?
Only other back-to-back Super Bowl matchup.
Yeah, if the Eagles and the Chiefs were to face each other again.
I'm just trying to think of the one.
Bills, Cowboys?
Bingo.
Oh, the 90s.
Yep.
Gotcha.
Bills, Cowboys. That's the only other one.
And we all know who won, so we don't have to even go through that.
We do.
Well, the Bills have 0 Super Bowl titles.
We all know how that went for the Bills.
I don't necessarily know that it would go that way for Philly. This game says a lot more about this year. And I would get the temptation to be like, oh, yeah. But I think it's easier when you're the winning team to just be like, okay, we'll take on the Eagles again. Like, they might make a bigger deal on the television broadcast about the fact that the Kelsey and Swift family are meeting each other than this is a rematch of the previous Super Bowl, because it's more about, I think it'd be easier if one of these teams were bad too, or mediocre. If the Eagles were 5-5, Gold, this conversation's a lot different, where it's like, well, yeah, it's a rematch of the Super Bowl, but, one's still trying to find itself and the other one's on top of their game, versus these are currently the two top teams in their respective conferences, and not that long ago met each other in an, pretty important game. I'm fascinated by how these guys treat it. I know at least one, and he's saying for the rest of his teammates it might not be that way. But he's remembering sitting there watching confetti rain down on his head, and that's going to stick with him a little bit.
He's definitely not the only one.
Of course not.
And that's normal, right? I mean, that's what you want to hear, by the way, if you're an Eagles fan. You want to hear that that's something they still remember, going to take personally. On the flip side, though, as you were saying with McDuffie, it's like, despite winning, that they're still finding ways, or at least he is finding ways to view it as a revenge game based off of just how they felt they played it as a defensive unit. Although we know Nick Bolton was so dominant in that game, he was trending towards being the MVP. Nick Bolton was. The way he played in that particular game, he was phenomenal. Now, they're not going to have Nick Bolton this go around. And that's where you need Drew Tranquill and other guys to step up.
That'll be, and we'll talk more about Chris Jones here in just a minute. But yes, absolutely, they're going to need more of those guys in this kind of game.
Then last night, man.
Maybe less so, because Cincinnati might not be making the postseason anymore.
Last night, obviously, the story around that game is Joe Burrow and a wrist injury. We still don't know.
Joe's in studio with us today.
To what extent? Yeah, Joe Burrow is producing our show today. He's got a little more free time.
Imagine that.
Going forward. We were trying to find a wrist brace for you today. I don't know. You don't have the brace on.
Or
no,
iPad,
I don't.
What were they calling it? An iPad glove, which I'm still pretty sure is made up.
You guys remember yesterday on the show, we brought it up, how it was kind of weird. There was a video that Cincinnati put out coming off the bus, and Joe Burrow had some wrap or brace on his wrist, and then they deleted the video. We're like, we told you, Drew, and that's a little sketch. And the guy throws a touchdown pass. I think we're going to have a great Thursday night game, and you can tell immediately he's in pain, and he can't grip the ball. We don't know what it is. Is it broken? Is it a torn ligament in the wrist? It's something very serious, you can tell. He can't even grip the damn football. He didn't come back in the game. Browning's the guy, at least for now. We'll see how long for now is. But that's devastating, for a Cincinnati team that was already up against it, though, right? I mean, that was a massive game last night. They've now lost 2 to Baltimore, so tiebreaker-wise, the division, to me, as far as I'm concerned, is over for Cincinnati. I'm not
two of the teams, one team doesn't have their starting quarterback for sure and is working out Joe Flacco. The other is the Steelers. They can't score. And then now the only other team might be without their starting quarterback for multiple
weeks. This is Baltimore's division to lose at this point. But for Cincinnati, I mean, if there's no Burrow, then there's no even conversation to be had about wild card even. If somehow he only ends up missing a couple weeks, that's a whole different conversation to be had. But, like, you look at these teams in the AFC, man, like, all right, Kansas City got the wide receiver issues and frustration around that, and this offense doesn't look right. We know Cincinnati now doesn't have a quarterback for the time being. Baltimore, Mark Andrews, is he done for the year? Hopefully not, but he could be done. That was a very serious ankle injury, 5 plays into the game or whatever. And then we know the story with the Miami Dolphins has been, can they beat the legit competition, the Eagles, the Chiefs? How do they fare in those particular games? Jacksonville is just inconsistent. And so you're looking at the teams
including
that you're going
their quarterback,
teams you might play on the road to a rematch against Philadelphia on the AFC side, and it's like, and every team's got so many flaws, but also some of these teams are missing key pieces.
Yeah, that's maybe the even more important part. In addition to, if you're already playing mediocre and then you lose important players, this is a huge deal. Joe Burrow obviously was trying to conceal the injury. I think it would be foolish to think the other way around. They posted the video, then immediately deleted. They could have just left it up and said, no, look at it for yourself. It's clearly just an iPad glove or whatever. They didn't want to get dinged on the reporting. They now will probably get dinged on the reporting. And he was honestly hurt. He just threw the ball like a totally normal way and then couldn't grip the football the rest of the time.
True, your Bengals are cheaters, man. How's it feel? Cheaters. That's what you guys are. Cheaters at this point.
Let's get a fine.
Well, of course, that's all that's going to happen. Atlanta did it earlier this
it's
year.
going to be
Trying to cheat your way through, man. Trying to cheat your way through.
I'm sure Zach Taylor, I don't know, somebody gave an earful to whoever runs the social media page, too.
Also, sorry, Coach, you got to tell me if we're illegally disclosing injuries.
Oh, no,
Every
yes,
team
I
takes
agree.
a video of players getting off a plane or bus, walking into a stadium under every circumstance. That is social media 101. That happens for every game. That is absolutely not on that poor social media intern making $32,000 a year or whatever the hell it is.
Did you see how swelled up his hand was?
Yes,
too?
it
Oh,
looked like
my
he'd been
goodness.
stung by like 1,000 bees. It's a problem. If he misses any kind of time, they're missing the postseason too.
It's pretty clear he's at least missing. I mean,
Oh,
right?
yeah,
At least
yeah.
missing a game
He's
or
got
two
10
minimum.
days, so I guess I kind of want to see what the report comes
Right,
back
but
on this.
if something's broken or he
What
tore
I
a ligament, I mean,
what
he's
I wonder
toast.
is, since it's a wrist injury, but his hand was swelling up so bad, I wonder if that goes all the way up to his elbow. If there's something there that starts there, and like if that's the source of it, they don't know. They don't quite know yet. I mean, that obviously throwing arm that makes it a lot more serious, I think, than a sprained wrist is what Zach Taylor called it. But I mean,
the AFC,
it didn't look good at all.
from a one-seed perspective, and maybe now because of this injury, from just a straight-up team perspective, is a two-horse race. It is the Chiefs and it is the Ravens. Until some other team wants to prove their standing in this conversation, it is a two-horse race. The interesting part about this from Burrow is if he misses any kind of time, this would be, 2 times out of 3 years in his career?
He can't
that
stay healthy.
He
stay
played
healthy.
2 full seasons the previous years before
He
this.
can't stay healthy right now.
But this year he can't stay healthy, and obviously he missed, a huge chunk of a season because of a major injury as well. Feels like he has like a little things kind of pile up. But you could say the same thing about Mahomes. Mahomes just doesn't miss time. And to this point, Burrow hadn't missed time. Although we go all the way back to this thing, it's like, are you sure? Like, I know you don't want to just write off a season a year after you've spent 2 straight years in the AFC title game, but if it comes back that this wrist thing is connected to the elbow, like he's saying, and this entire time they could have just slow played him back onto the field instead of having a 5-5 team who currently sits at like the 9 or 10 spot in the AFC playoff standings, they completely screwed this thing up. I don't think they'll get draft pick compensation, so the money doesn't really mean anything to us that they cheated.
It's just fun to give Drew a hard time. That's all for his team cheating.
If they do, I think the consensus around the Bengals though is that if Joe Burrow is out for the year, the race is on to get Brock Bowers. I think at that point.
So wait,
that's
so we get
what,
Lombardi,
you
you
know,
guys
it's
get
nice.
Bowers.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
nice. Fine by us.
I mean, if Patrick Mahomes is out for the year, I would expect that you guys would want to maybe do the same thing at this point. If
The problem is it's November 17th, so like the guaranteeing draft pick stuff,
it's only got 5
it's a little
wins.
late. It's a little late in the process for that.
Yeah, that's tough. I don't know.
Here's the Cincinnati schedule. So they got Pittsburgh after the 10-day layoff, then Jacksonville, then the Colts, Vikings, Steelers, Chiefs, and Browns. It's the toughest schedule based off of strength of schedule the rest of the way in football.
We should not, by the way, diminish. I said it's a 2-horse race. If Mark Andrews misses significant time for the Ravens, that is not important from
it's
an
big
injury
time.
perspective.
He's their
It's
best
big that
pass
Odell
catcher.
Beckham Jr. showed up and kind of showed some flashes of old Odell for them last night. But yeah, Mark Andrews is like their Travis Kelce. He's their number 1 receiving weapon on offense. I know Keaton Mitchell has seemingly come onto the scene out of nowhere, but still, he matters.
To your point about like tanking, quote unquote, like, and I know there's a lot of games left, but like, right now Cincinnati is the 18th overall pick in the draft, man. Like they would,
just
they
saying
would
if
have
they
to
lose
lose. They would
Burrow
have
for the
to
year, they
lose.
lose a lot.
They would have to lose out. I mean, there's a
Bowers has been mocked like 13, 14.
Oh, Bowers will end up going top 10. I can make a bet with you right now on that one.
Oh, I know. I agree, but he's been mocked 13, 14. I think he should go top 10, but the quarterback thing,
Sure.
guys are going to drop.
I mean, there are some teams that even if you start Jake Browning, you're not getting below, like New England.
Well, yeah.
New England, Carolina.
I mean, even if
the
you
Bears.
fell and you got Roma Dunze, you got Keon Coleman. Keon Coleman's a top 50. Keon Coleman is
Well, yeah,
is
you
just
guys
as good as
will-
Marvin Harrison Jr. is.
You guys will definitely end up replacing somebody because you're going to lose T. Higgins. So you're going
In
to
all likelihood, yes.
You're going to have to replace him with somebody. But devastating injuries across the board last night. The most devastating, obviously, Joe Burrow. We just don't know for sure how long he is going to be out. And I'm guessing either later on today, if not, it'll happen on Saturday or something. We'll find out some more what's going to happen there. Again, coming up at 11 o'clock, we'll talk with Pete Sweeney, our Chiefs insider from Arrowhead Pride. Don't forget, though, as we said, we've got this box. So what's the final prediction of exactly what is going to happen in the 1 o'clock hour?
What's in the box?
Should we each predict maybe 2 things? What do you think? 2 things?
Okay. All right.
The mystery box could be anything. It could even be a boat. You know how much we've wanted one of those.
Then let's just...
We'll take the box.
I like that clip so much because they're offering him a free boat. All right, my 2 predictions. 1, Amazon Fire tablet.
A tablet.
One of
Hold
them.
on, those things aren't that.
One or multiple?
50, $60. One. Singular. One Amazon Fire tablet and one box of plates. I'm disappointed in the plate prediction, but it's my current working prediction. One box of dinner plates.
I'll go with multiple cell phone cases, right? Whether it's multiple cell phone cases and like one of those like generic, like cheaper version of the little massage gun things. Not like the expensive ones, but like some cheaper version. You know what they call those?
Theragun?
Theragun, but not that brand, okay? Because those are like $200.
Yeah, they are.
Some knockoff version that's like $70. Those will be my two guesses. Again, there's going to be potentially 30 items in this thing.
I want to go with some silverware. I think there would be some silverware in there. Yep.
Silverware.
That would suck, by the way.
God, that's a terrible one. I wonder how those companies even stay in business. Who buys new silverware? I've had the same silverware for 15 years. I'm not changing it now.
It's a $200 box. They claim $500 or more worth of stuff.
I
claim that.
I will say the silverware is going to be in there, and then I'm going to say there's going to be one expensive thing. I will go with I'm going to go with some fire sticks, multiple. I'll say 3 or 4 fire sticks, as well as maybe some other stuff thrown in there.
Why not on Twitch? Guesses a Roomba and Fitbit.
Roomba is the box. I mean, that's
a Fitbit.
A Roomba.
Yeah.
A Fitbit would be
Fitbit and Roomba. Those
would be
are
nice.
sellable.
Yeah.
I'll say this: Amazon says that like 70% of every return they get is electronics. So I just want you to factor that into your guessing.
Roomba, it could fit in there, but that's okay.
I'm still thinking one electronic and then some silverware plates. You said, Cody. I think there's some sort of dinnerware accessory.
Someone says there could be a gum bucket in there. That's true. Could be.
Same guy on Twitch says he'll buy the silverware if we have it. Got a new house, gave away his old stuff. So we already have.
Perfect.
So I think we should
great.
officially be hoping for silverware in there.
We got a buyer.
We already have a buyer. What else are you guys willing to buy? 913-586-7610.
Right now,
what are you looking for?
If someone wants to write the show fund a check for $700, we'll sell you the unopened box right now. Right now.
You'd probably do it for $350. Be honest. You can say $700.
Cody's already trying to kill our value, just like that.
I'm just saying that
Cody
you
already
would.
dropped the price
I
down.
want to open it. I want to
$350.
know what's in there.
Yeah, a lot of people guessing sex toys. I did think there's a chance we end up with an adult toy in there or something.
They did not list that as the possible, but although they said these are some of the items, but it's not limited to this grouping of items on the box. So
Best case scenario would be AirPods. Somebody texted that in. Are you kidding me?
I don't think we're getting $200 AirPods in there. Do you?
Do you know how many AirPods
know, man.
you know how many packs of AirPods could fit in there?
Oh, well, they're not giving us $15,000 worth of stuff.
text line's
just
guessing a
haven't
meat
hit the
thermometer
jackpot
and
on this
yo-yos.
box.
You might be surprised to find out like a really good quality meat thermometer costs. So that wouldn't be all that bad.
A diffuser is a good guess. A diffuser could definitely fit in there.
Yeah. Doesn't everyone who wants a diffuser have one?
This is a new smoker. The box, I can promise you, not big enough for
that would
there's
be.
not a Traeger in there. I can promise you that.
Okay. Just want to know what you guys are interested in. We're going to be looking for buyers for this stuff later on in the
1 o'clock
show.
hour during Club 610. All right, coming up next, we mentioned Nick Bolton's name. We know there's no Nick Bolton, and what the Chiefs defense was able to do just a couple weeks ago. Who specifically is stepping up against the Eagles? And Drew gets us set for the college football slate.
Chiefs fans, it's Creed Humphrey. Don't miss Cody and Gold weekdays starting at 10 on 610 Sports Radio.
Brought to you by Gann Asphalt and Concrete. For asphalt, concrete, and parking lot maintenance, Gann Asphalt and Concrete. One contractor, all things parking lot. Trusted in Kansas City since 1994. Online at GANNasphalt.com.
Your attention is precious. Pulled in a million directions for a million different reasons. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Kansas City works hard to make sure your health insurance isn't one of the many things distracting you from what's important. By making healthcare easier to navigate, we help keep your focus on the moments that matter most. Like dinner with loved ones. Letting you focus on you. That's the benefit of Blue. Learn more at BlueKC.com.
Hi, it's Trey Smith, and in order for our team to get a victory, we need honesty, teamwork, work ethic, humility, and the golden rule. That's why my truck is from the dealer that embodies all those values, Victory Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. And Victory Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram also supports Giving Hope, whose sole purpose is to feed and clothe the needy in Wyandotte County and beyond. Giving back in the highest integrity, that's how Jeff and his team do business. For your next vehicle, visit or go to victorychrysler.dodge-jeep-ram.com.
Hey, college basketball fans, come out and watch the ladies hoop it up Saturday at the Casey Muni in a doubleheader. First, Northwest Missouri State versus Rockhurst at 1 p.m. Then Kansas versus UMKC at 3:15. Two great ladies games at Municipal Auditorium this Saturday. Buy tickets at the box office or Ticketmaster.com.
Well, it's a Red Friday right here on 610 Sports Radio, and also with my friends over at The Other Place. Make The Other Place your sports watching headquarters with 3 great Kansas City locations, Shawnee, Olathe, and downtown Overland Park. Plus, they're opening up a new one in Mission and Belton.
As the weather gets colder, the NFL offers stay hot on FanDuel. Right now, new customers get $150 in bonus bets with any winning $5 moneyline bet. That's $150 if your team wins. If you've been thinking about joining FanDuel, there's no better time to get in on the action than now. The app is so easy to use. There's a wide range of betting options that include the spreads, player props, over-under, and so much more. So visit FanDuel.com/610Bob and kick off the NFL season. FanDuel, official partner of the NFL and 610 Sports Radio. 21 and present in Kansas. First online real money wager only. $5 pregame moneyline wager required. $10 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire 7 days after receipt. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. FanDuel is offering online sports wagering in Kansas under an agreement with Kansas Star Casino, LLC. Gambling problem? Getting help is your best bet. Call 1-800-522-4700 or visit ksgamblinghelp.com.
If you or someone you know is suicidal or experiencing a mental health or substance use crisis, 988 provides connection to free confidential support. There is hope. The Lifeline works. For 24/7 support, just call, text, or chat 988. Sponsored by ComCare and Rediscover.
When it comes to beef, nothing tops world-class highly marbled Wagyu. Booth Creek's Wagyu Meat Market is now open in Overland Park, and it is time to elevate your beef. Their farm-to-fork commitment brings this intensely rich and flavorful beef from the tall grass prairies north of Manhattan, Kansas, directly to your table. Come into what our customers are calling the jewelry store of beef and taste the difference. Our in-store experts are sampling freshly seared Wagyu 7 days a week, located in the shops at Deer Creek Woods, 135th and Metcalf.
This is Gene at House of Diamonds. No paint-by-number custom jewelry, no bogus sales and financing offers, and absolutely no lab diamond ripoffs. Everything at House of Diamonds is real. House of Diamonds on the southeast corner of College and Quivira.
Football plus bowling plus bar equals Foaling Warehouse, Kansas City. Come take your best shot at Casey's newest, funkiest sports entertainment venue off 435 and State Line. Foaling Warehouse is a mashup of football and bowling, drinks and fun. Guys, girls, anyone can play. Come learn about Foaling, the Bonkhorn, and the rules that keep you on your toes and play the game that's sweeping across America. Foaling Warehouse is the place to host private and corporate events. Foaling Warehouse. You have to see it for yourself on 435 and State Line.
Sit back and relax as you listen to the sounds of your carpet. Okay, your carpet doesn't actually make any sounds, at least not until you drop something on it, like a dreaded wine spill. But don't worry, if your carpet is life-proof with pet-proof technology, it can stand up to life's toughest stains. It also stands up to pets. It can even stand up to a third grader's birthday party. Life-proof with pet-proof technology, available only at the Home Depot. How doers get more done.
Amazon's got the best deals on Black Friday. Know the best deals are on Cyber Monday. Friday comes first when it comes to saving. Monday's worth the wait for what you've been craving. Deals so good it'll feel like stealing. Real cool message, could you make it less appealing? What's with the beef? You can get that too. Why don't you call us? What's triggering you? Whichever day you're shopping on, you'll save a bunch at Amazon. On Black Friday, Cyber Monday too.
Don't miss Provember at Lowe's. Save $80 on a DeWalt combo kit and save $20 on a 5-gallon pail of HGTV Home by Sherwin-Williams all-purpose power primer. Plus, MVP's members earn 3 times the bonus points on DeWalt and HGTV Home by Sherwin-Williams products. Lowe's knows savings. Lowe's knows pros. While supplies last, selection varies by location. Bonus points calculated before tax and fees after applicable discounts, if any. Valid through 11/22, subject to change.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same, but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online? Go to hims.com/joy. Through HIMS, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, and the process is 100% online. To start your free online visit, go to hims.com/joy. That's HIMS.com/JOY.
Hey, this is Richard Deitch, the host of the Sports Media Podcast. If you're interested in what's happening with all the places where you consume sports, the Sports Media Podcast has you covered. Here's longtime NFL and NBA announcer, Ian Eagle.
Would I find this entertaining if I was sitting on the couch watching the game, or would this be a nuisance? Would this get in the way? Does it enhance the enjoyment for the viewer, or at some point are you becoming an annoyance?
Listen on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
The 610 Sports Radio phone line is brought to you by Onder Law Injury Lawyers. Visit getjim.com.
Chiefs coverage brought to you by Max Motors. 9 major vehicle brands to choose from. MaxMotors.com. It's trade-up days at Max Motors dealerships.
Worth the drive from anywhere.
Get up to 130% off book value for your trade. Plus, huge savings on all new and pre-owned vehicles in stock. No payments for 90 days and finance options for everyone. Over 1,700 vehicles in stock.
Shop 24/7 at MaxMotors.com.
Coming up a little bit later, we'll talk about the Sunflower Showdown. Huge game in Lawrence, sellout crowd at the booth tomorrow evening. Don't forget, if you can't make it out to Lawrence, you can watch the Sunflower Showdown at Jefferson's, either the Lenexa or North Kansas City location. Jefferson's been voted favorite wings in KC by the Kansas City Star, and every customer that walks through the door is going to be entered to win free wings for an entire year. You got to be there tomorrow during the game, plus $2 off all pitchers during the Sunflower Showdown at both the Lenexa and North Kansas City Jefferson's location. We'll get to Drew's college football slate as well coming up in about 6 minutes or so. But we were discussing what this defense was last time around against the Eagles, but also what this defense was their last time out, period, which was, of course, a really impressive performance against the high-flying Miami Dolphins. And the Chiefs' defense accounted for 7 points as well. As we all know, the great play by Trent McDuffie, then the great play by Mike Edwards, which led to a great play by Brian Cook on the return. So I know there's been frustration about Chris Jones and the sack numbers being there, but listening to him talk yesterday, Cody, I do think the bye week was good for him.
I absolutely think that the break was good for him, but I went back and watched part of that game because of all of this conversation. Like, hey, do you care about your sacks? Are you okay with sacks? Chris, are you okay? You usually get a sack a game. You're one of the record holders for consecutive games with a sack. And I thought, okay, maybe there is a problem with Chris Jones and that's it. But when I went back through and watched that Miami tape, you realize he remains the absolute most important player on the entire defense and should be given a lot more credit for this team seemingly not missing Nick Bolton while he's gone. A guy who finished second in the NFL in tackles last year, who was clearly one of your best defensive players this year, was having a great start to his year, and they remain a top-level defense even without him. It's Chris Jones. It all works because of Chris Jones. I know the secondary helps the other guys get some sacks, but it absolutely, after watching it, I know we've hypothesized that maybe it's the case. He helps everyone. You want to know why Turk Wharton's having a career year? It's Chris Jones. Are you curious why Mike Dana's having a career year? That's also Chris Jones. I'm not saying those guys aren't also playing well on their own. They are. But Chris Jones is a huge linchpin in all of this, and the Miami game made it very obvious.
Of course he is. Yeah, I mean, Karlaftis has improved, but he's been honest even during training camp when we discussed, what does it mean to have or not have, at that time, not have Chris Jones out there. And, he's getting way more attention when he's not available. And, the double teams free everything up. It's pretty basic stuff. Of course, Chris Jones makes the life of a Turk Wharton, a Mike Dana, a Charles Omenihu, and anybody else on the defensive line easier. That is going to be the big discussion in the offseason. If you don't retain Chris Jones, I don't believe they will, is, okay, well, do you believe Karlaftis and these other pieces are good enough on their own to go and make these plays? And that'll be the big question. I don't know what the answer to that.
They're just going
to
have more depth. I think if given enough people around them, sure. And like we talked about, McDuffie and Snead can certainly help that. I pointed that out in the Miami game too. Tua took longer to throw than normal. That's because the corners are able to hold part of that down. But still, Chris Jones, I know people are just like, well, they signed Snead, whatever. It's going to hurt. It's going to sting when Chris Jones leaves. Worse than when Tyreek Hill left. It's going to hurt.
Sure. Now, I will say this. For a guy that's making $30 million a year, as much as he's opening things up, He can't be having 7 or 8 sacks at the end of the year, and he won't. He'll end up with more than that. But you would agree with that, right? It's despite us saying he opens.
He's probably been more likely to hit that number than 10 or 15, but yeah, point taken. He's making 30 mil.
You expect double-digit sacks at bare minimum, and I think he'll still get there, by the way. I do think the bye week really helped him. I expect him on Monday night probably to have a sack against Philadelphia.
If you're looking for a stat to back this up, you're like, I don't know, man. Because it's really hard. It's hard to notice nose tackles. That interior part, it's hard to notice it the same way. There are currently 2 defensive tackles who are way ahead of every defensive tackle in the NFL in average time it takes for them to beat their man. It is just him and Jalen Carter. And the league has been, and he's ahead of Jalen Carter. The league has been gushing about Jalen Carter. That matchup's coming on Monday, by the way. That's going to be a whole nother. Imagine going against Chris Jones yourself, because that's probably what you're doing on Monday. But it's just them. He's still standalone. I think sometimes when the sacks don't come for him for a little bit, this is like the playoffs. And I never went back and watched all those playoff games in which he wasn't recording a sack, but it became a huge part of the lore because it was like, weird. You're good at getting to the quarterback. Why the hell don't you do it during the postseason? Why is it only Frank Clark? I think it's just the nature of the position. It's hard to constantly show up that way. It was the same thing with Trent McDuffie and the interceptions.
Well, he laid it out. I mean, Chris Jones yesterday laid it out. He's like, there's some games where 100% of the time I'm double teamed. There's other games where it's 50-50. And so I've got 50% of those opportunities to then go and make it happen. And win
you're
a
also
one-on-one
expected
matchup.
to beat some double teams. Yeah. But if you don't, who cares? That's why Dana's on pace for double-digit sacks. Karlaftis is on pace for double-digit sacks. Turk Warden's having the best year of his career, and multiple others, by the way, having very nice years for Kansas City. So much of that revolves around his existence. I still would, if I were the Chiefs, I would still throw some numbers around. But the problem is there was an article out yesterday, 2 days ago on ESPN. It's like, all right, let's mid-season point. Let's take a look at these pending free agents and what we think they'll get per year. They still think Chris Jones will get 30 a year. And if he's getting 30 a year, it's not going to be here, right? I mean, that's just
the minute he did not sign long-term in Kansas City in this offseason, I assumed this is it. This is the last hurrah.
Well, then I hope he gets a 3rd Super Bowl.
So do I.
Came on this show, and he LeBron James the not 1, not 2, not 3 conversation. I hope he at least gets to 3 because that'll give me the confidence that
it would potentially, I don't want to say cement it, but it would put him in very good spot to be a Hall of Famer. I told you, I think he
being a 3-time Super Bowl champ. Yeah.
From a 3-time champ, that puts you, barring a complete fall off, but assuming he plays a couple more years after that, and even if he averaged like 7 or 8 sacks a year when he leaves Kansas City, but if he already has 3 rings, yeah, he'll be in firm position to, as long as he doesn't, stop playing after 1 year, then he will be in line to go into the Hall of Fame.
How many total sacks does he have?
We looked this up before the season. Remember, he was behind. We were looking at Neil Smith. Remember, because we were going through and trying to track how people viewed certain players and all that. And he was, at the time, I think he was still 20-plus away from or 30-plus away from Neil Smith, even.
God, it's just crazy. He has 70.5.
Yeah, Neil Smith ended up with over 100, I think. Or close.
Right now, 70 would rank you 156th all time.
But again, if Chris has 3 rings, at some point it's different. 104.5 for Neil Smith.
Well, and you can find Hall of Famers that are around that sack total, and we know he'll get more. Right? He's only a sack and a half off of Ndamukong Suh. We understand the nature of his position. His problem is just like any other position, right? You can be the greatest kicker of all time. It is incredibly difficult to get into the Hall of Fame because sacks come from the edge, which he does play sometimes, but that's still not the position he played for a good majority of time here. And rotating into an edge spot is not the same as playing it permanently.
Nobody loves college football more than Drew.
I don't enjoy wearing pants.
So now it's time to look ahead to the weekend and the college football slate.
Real quick, are you saying you love college football more than Jay Binkley?
And then was that Jay Binkley in the intro?
Yeah, Speck decided to put him in there, and then Bink last week was like, "I did not know you guys still had that." That was a very funny moment. The college football slate is a good one this week. Not too many top 25 games. We'll get to one of those later in the Sunflower Showdown between K-State and KU. But Missouri, your Missouri Tigers, Cody, taking on Florida without their leading tackler. But the way that Florida has looked this year, not that it's going to be it's not going to be a huge problem, but it might hurt them a little bit. But I don't know if it'll affect the result of this. A chance for Mizzou to get their 9th win and get closer to double digits in a high-profile bowl game.
Yeah, they went out the next 2. They got Florida and then Arkansas. They do that, they're going to New Year's Six Bowl. They could go to the Cotton Bowl, maybe it's the Peach Bowl. We'll see how it all plays out. But that's what they have in front of them. That's what they have the opportunity to do And yeah, even though they're going to be without their leading tackler, I think they'll be fine against Florida. It's not a good football team.
No, and can't stop them defensively, I don't think.
Yeah.
Missouri's just got too many weapons. You know, one thing we didn't talk a lot about Missouri is they're going to return a decent amount of their talent
Brady Cook,
next year.
Brady Cook and Burton, most importantly.
They might be going to a New Year's Six Bowl and returning two very important players to their team.
Plus that recruiting class that Drinkwitz is bringing in too.
Yeah.
It's a good foundation to have there.
It sounded more and more like Drew is willing to flip his commitment.
You think he's coming over?
Yeah, I feel like
and
you
then
might.
I gotta turn into the K-State guy?
I think Drew's trying to flip and go to the portal because when you arrived, you said you are all Wildcats. And then after 2 games, you're like, maybe I picked the wrong school. That was a text.
I went there and nobody was giving me high fives after they scored. I mean, come on now.
And the way the season's gone and the way you're talking about Missouri now, I feel like we could see you in the transfer portal at the end of the season.
Bengals, Tigers. I don't know. Hey,
one-time exemption. You know, we're in the old NCAA rules. You're only allowed to choose a new school once.
Other top 25 games, a big one in the SEC besides that Mizzou game. Number 1, Georgia at number 18, Tennessee. And then 2 big ones in the Pac-12, Washington, number 5, Washington on the road, and Corvallis to take on number 11, Oregon State. And then number 22, Utah on the road to take on number 17, Arizona. Some big news coming out this week. James Madison, along with the Sun Belt, sent the NCAA. They did their best to try to get bowl eligibility. Them and Jacksonville State, by the way, newly added FBS team. They're 8-3 on the year. The Jacksonville State Gamecocks are, and both of them denied. A lot of people have a problem with this. It's the NCAA. They're incompetent. The Attorney General in the state of Virginia has threatened action against the NCAA now.
Nothing better to do.
Apparently not.
The Attorney General of Virginia get involved. Ludicrous. Look, I disagree with the rule. It's stupid. They're consistent on this. Like anybody thinking that all of a sudden the NCAA this year was going to say, you know what? You don't have to sit out a year or 2 when you come up to FBS.
Because you asked nice.
Just because there's a lot of social media pressure and everybody loves James Madison. They weren't going to change. So, like, it's kind of a non-story for me because we know this is the NCAA's stupid policy that for whatever reason you got to wait a couple of years. So, like, of course they were denied. Of course James Madison didn't get a waiver. That's how this goes.
Jim Harbaugh accepted his 3-game suspension. They actually just fired their linebacker coach. Who knows if that has anything to do with Mr. Connor Stallions. But Jim Harbaugh's like, you know what? I'll take my 3-game suspension. Paul Feinbaum says he's not going to recognize Michigan as the national champs if they win the whole thing. If Michigan wins it all, are you guys going to?
Yes.
Yes, Drew. Yes.
Oh, I'm just asking.
This is Mr. SEC Paul Feinbaum. That's all it is.
Leave it to him.
If the same thing was happening at Alabama, you think he'd be saying that?
No.
Hell no.
They do still have to take on a very, very, very good Ohio State team.
And then
I
win
imagine
the
the
playoff
committee,
game. 2 of them.
Yes, and they could still get knocked out if they just slip up. So who cares? Yeah, they got to go through. If they go through and win, they're not calling the signs now. I understand, but you can't just not recognize them. The Big Ten punished them. They accepted said punishment. So if that's what they decided was fair, then I can't really argue. I thought he got off kind of light, but that's the Big Ten's decision, not mine. And so, yeah, Paul Feinbaum's just doing, if this were Georgia, he would never have said that.
Now,
ever.
The NCAA not allowing JMU and Jacksonville State to be bowl eligible makes some sense, as Gold said, is consistent. This one, though, I don't know about. We're going to go up to Big Rapids, Michigan for this one. D2 football, Ferris State. Coach,
that is the most made-up name of a school I've ever heard of. I was not expecting your college football slate to include Ferris State.
They're very good. Defending D2 national champion, Ferris State Bulldogs. Tony Anise was suspended for players smoking cigars after they won the national title. To my knowledge,
excuse me.
To my knowledge,
cigar? Like not a cigar, right? Just a cigar. Okay.
Yes, because players lit cigars in the locker room after winning a national title last year. To my knowledge, LSU didn't get Ed Orgeron didn't get in any trouble following Joe Burrow and the entire locker room lighting up cigars after their national title. But in D2, apparently it's a problem. Their head coach has been suspended, and they're in the playoffs.
Yeah, the story says
that's insane.
The story says they were fined $2,500, charged $15,000 in cleaning. The McKinney, Texas school district, which is where the championship game was played, yes, at a high school stadium because it's Texas, has a strict no tobacco policy. So that's part of it. Weird.
Fine. Pay him to clean it. It's a non-smoking. Punish them for those things. Missing a game because you smoked a cigar seems silly. You can charge them as much money as you want, and I'm not going to make an argument here for they screwed something up. But suspending him for a game because he smoked a cigar seems like a bit much.
It's probably just because of the high school thing. It's a high school stadium.
You think that's it?
And high schools obviously are very stringent on the
Yeah,
whole
but the
no
high school
tobacco
doesn't
thing.
decide on like a college coach.
I know,
being
but I'm
suspended.
sure there was some serious discussions because of that.
The NCAA wanted to make sure they covered their bases for the first time. You know, they wanted to make sure they help people out a little bit. That is your college football slate, though.
I hate
you keeping track of Ferris State, huh?
Well, UWF, the team in Pensacola that I covered and everything, they played Fair State last year in the title game and all that stuff.
Oh,
so
see?
they've crossed paths a
Bajent?
few times.
Tyler Bajent?
This is really tough for
Tyson, Tyler, or whatever that was.
I can't argue with Drew's love of college football if he's out here breaking out D2 schools.
That's true.
Multiple different schools he just named as a breakdown.
Send a letter. Get on the Heisman board. Start voting, man. Send a letter. Say you've replaced a previous voter, that you cover college football, you work at a radio station still, and
Are you advocating for to steal our previous
I
producer's
think so.
vote?
I will
think
take
so.
his vote.
You just got to send a letter and say you've replaced said person.
By the way, would you guys rather have, real quick, would you guys rather have the 12-team playoff system that we're going to have, or 16 playoff teams, 10-game regular seasons like they do in D2, D3, NAIA?
16.
Yeah,
More.
16.
More.
For someone that, went to KU, and really, this should be the answer, by the way, for all three local schools. Your best chance is if it's a 16-team playoff to get into the dance. So, 16.
And then you just got to hope that you pull, even if you don't win the title, you pull a massive upset against one once.
See what happens.
Yeah.
If a 16 can beat a 1 in the NCAA tournament, the 16th best team can beat the number 1 team in the country. Go on to win the title? Probably unlikely. Actually just get one win against the best team in the country? Maybe. Give yourself a chance. There's at least hope at that point.
I mean,
It's a lot harder in college football. I don't know if that's happening.
Shot.
I was going to say, I
A
get
very
one
long
game,
shot,
dude.
yes.
I get the comparison with the basketball, but as you know,
College football so much
the discrepancy
tougher.
between even if we're not talking about in college basketball would have been like the 68th best team versus the best team. I get that. But the 16th best team in college football compared to the number 1 team, there's a huge gap in resources and everything. That's a massive. Because think about it, we see a school that's quote unquote ranked 15th that plays the number 2, and they might be a 20-point underdog.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So that's what's tricky. I get what you're saying. It's tough, but I would absolutely be for a 16-team playoff.
FCS playoffs are starting up, and then the D2 playoffs. Yeah,
Someone said-
correction, 28 teams in D2. There's a lot more teams in
28.
D2.
That's too many. I'm
28
out
is
there.
wild.
16's good. I'm out before we get to that. Did you watch last night?
Joe Burrow get hurt?
No,
I did.
no, no.
I did.
What a bummer.
They named MVP in the American League and the National League.
Oh, that's right. Baseball, the sport that it's November 17th, and the World Series ended 3 weeks ago, and now we're doing end of season awards.
All right, let's not get into that.
Yeah.
You and I already agree that that's really stupid. Shohei Ohtani high-fived his puppy. People were really into that. It was the first time that it was unanimous in both the AL and NL. Shohei Ohtani is the first multiple-time unanimous MVP winner. So a lot of history happened last night. Why it's important locally is Bobby Witt Jr. made the ballot.
He did.
Finished 7th. And I know you're going to be like, hey, are you really going to sit on here and celebrate a 7th place MVP finish?
Sounds like it.
For Bobby Witt Jr. Hell yes, I am. Because I had to fend off texters of this show a year ago saying superstar stuff is dead. Bury the conversation. That ain't it. And now baseball is telling you he's one of the 10 best players in the entire sport. And by the way, they're not wrong. He is one of the 10 best players in the entire sport.
One of the 15
He's
best
great.
players in the
Well,
sport.
I was 10 sounded better.
One of the 15. There's 2 leagues. He was 7th in the AL, so 14th potentially.
14th best. This is like
he's
us
the
saying,
top 15 player in the baseball, which is still ridiculous.
No, 14. Because again, 7-7, maybe 13, depending on if you got more votes than that other guy in the National League.
Yeah, I mean, I've never heard anybody say a top 14. Usually they just round it to 15.
This show very specifically highlights it being a top 17 mid-market midday show. So on this show, we can absolutely say top 14 or top 10, like I tried to say before. It doesn't mean the Royals are bound for success or any of these things, but it does tell you the level of talent they have in Bobby Witt Jr. and how important it is that they continue to put anyone around him that they can, because you don't want to end up being the laughing stock that the Angels are. They just had the MVP.
Yeah.
He's now won MVP unanimously twice, and they stink. That don't even matter. And I know Shohei's in his own little world, and him it's a freak show stuff because of the pitching and everything that comes with it. But you don't want to be the team that holds on to the Mike Trouts, the Bobby Witt Juniors, and just loses 97 games a year.
That's why, as much as I want them to extend him and pay the over $200 million it's going to cost to retain him, I don't want them to do that if they're not going to build around him, though, because then it is a waste. Like, we can get all excited all we want that, wow, the Royals kept Bobby Witt Jr., they signed him to a 6-year deal worth $200 million. That's great, but if they're not building around him, that does nothing for me. I would rather them trade him. I've been consistent on that. I stand by that. As great as it is to see him finish top 10 in MVP voting in the American League, signing to an extension does nothing unless you're going to also build around him. And if I'm Bobby Witt Jr., there's got to be somewhat some promises a little bit or belief that this organization is going to build around me if I'm going to sign that deal. As great as the money might be, I can get that money anywhere. So that's what I would be viewing it as. If I'm the Royals organization, it's great. We got this player, a generational type of player. But if we don't believe we can actually spend the money that's required to build around him, then we're better off trading him. We really are.
I don't want that to ever be the case. And I'm hoping that this is not the type of ownership that doesn't understand how to surround him with talent. You know, I understand it'd be like, well, what can I get in the free agency market if I spend $200 million? Doesn't go as far as you think. Yeah. One starting pitcher and one mediocre outfielder. No offense, I'd rather have Bobby Witt Jr., a guy who is an emerging star, and by the way, can get better.
Sure.
Like, there's tons of areas of growth for his game, and on top of it, plays an incredibly valuable position. He plays shortstop. That still holds weight in this league. I know that some people thought maybe he was going to finish 4th or 5th, and there was some stuff that, like, oh, maybe you jump up higher. I'm like, he's on a 100-loss team.
Yeah, not in Kansas City, he's not. Yeah.
No.
If he were on the Orioles, you think he for sure is 3rd?
Yeah.
I think he puts up those stats. Sure. Yeah. If he puts up those stats and he's a member of the Orioles, he's 3rd or 4th this year, which means he's probably higher than we're even giving credit for. But his problem is he was on one of the worst teams in the entire American League and still even got votes. Getting votes when you're on one of the worst teams in baseball is an accomplishment in its own right. Hell, if he was on the best team, not just like if he was on the New York Yankees and put on those stats, he might have been 2nd. Still lost to Shohei, to be clear.
Have the Cy Young votes come out? Do we know? Did Jordan Lyles get any votes for that? For his second half to help
he won
us
this
with
show.
the
He won this.
He got
show,
us
Cy Young.
Got us that champagne.
Whatever our version of the Cy Young is called.
The champagne.
Yeah.
You got it for us.
The Dom Award? I don't know.
Sure.
Start calling it that?
I don't understand why baseball waits so long.
Oh, it's the dumbest thing. I mean, it really is. The World Series wrapped up weeks ago, and it's middle of November. Thanksgiving's next week, and now we're just now doing MVP awards for the sport? Stupid.
And yes, they did announce Cy Young. It was a couple days ago.
How much do you think it takes to get Blake Snell won the NL Cy Young?
That's
a guy
it's only the 2nd time in Major League Baseball history, or 3rd time in Major League Baseball history, that a Cy Young award winner is a free agent in the same year that they won the Cy Young. I don't know.
It's a lot of money.
Well, yeah, I mean,
he would, and he
one MLB analyst said he thinks it's $200 million, 5 years, $50 million.
Great. So give Bobby $200 million, and then give Blake Snell $200 million. So let's just get $400 million out the door.
And he's your obvious ace. You go Cole Reagans 2, and then Singer 3.
Yeah, this. Let's see who the analyst was.
Oh, that'd be fun. Oh, that would be fun.
30 years old. Yeah, this just says thinks $200 million.
There's John Heyman who thinks $200 million.
There you go.
One report predicted Jim Bowden only predicted $130 million. Discount. Practically free based on the other estimate. They've got to go out and take a big swing. I don't want to watch them waste. It'd be like Carlos Beltran for me. I grew up, I remember Carlos Beltran being a young, exciting player in Royals, and it meant nothing because he was just like here doing super cool, really impressive things, but for nothing. It just felt like you're like, what are we doing with these like 5 years of his MLB career where, wow, he's one of the most exciting players in baseball, and it doesn't mean anything to baseball. That's frustrating. I don't want that to happen to Bobby, which is why I want more talent infused into this roster and finally start seeing some rewards here.
All right, coming up next, we get back to the Chiefs. Our Chiefs insider from Arrowhead Pride, Pete Sweeney's going to join us. We'll get his prediction for what's in the box. Also, Sunflower Showdown tomorrow in Lawrence, what it actually means going forward.
Cody and Gold.
People always call us like a bleak show. The idea of you having to come on the air the next day and being like, Cody died in that blimp crash is hilarious to me. That's objectively funny.
Brought to you by Gann Asphalt and Concrete. For asphalt, concrete, and parking lot maintenance, Gann Asphalt and Concrete. One contractor, all things parking lot. Trusted in Kansas City since 1994. Online at GANNasphalt.com.
We're talking with Dr. Chris Hettinger, board-certified urologist at Kansas City Urology Care. Tell us what sets KCUC apart from other urology practices.
The things that make us stand out are the technology at our disposal, the quality of the surgeons, and the experience from years and years of robotic surgery.
KCUC was the first to bring robotic surgery to Kansas City, right?
We performed the first robotic surgery in Kansas City in 2003 and continue to perform hundreds of urologic robotic surgeries in the Kansas City metro area every year. Robotic surgery offers less blood loss, shorter hospitalization, less pain, shorter recovery period. After robotic surgery, many of my patients get back to work within a week or two. For abdominal surgery, it's revolutionized what we've done.
From problems urinating to sexual function to prostate cancer, see the experts. Kansas City Urology Care. At KCUC, you see the best in KC. To make an appointment, visit appointments.kcurology.com.
Good business owners believe two things. You have to provide what the customers want, and you have to keep the fire marshal happy. Pleasing the customer can be tough, but pleasing the fire marshal is easy. Keller Fire and Safety has been doing it for more than 70 years. Fire extinguishers, alarm systems, fire detection, kitchen hood suppression systems. Keller handles all of these so you can focus on business.
Keeping the fire marshal happy
Since 1950.
Keller Fire and Safety.
KellerFire.com.
Hey, college basketball fans, come out and watch the ladies hoop it up Saturday at the Casey Muni in a doubleheader. First, Northwest Missouri State versus Rockhurst at 1 p.m. Then Kansas versus UMKC at 3:15. Two great ladies games at Municipal Auditorium this Saturday. Buy tickets at the box office or Ticketmaster.com.
Outdoor America with Tommy Bench, Saturday mornings on 610 Sports Radio at 5 a.m. and the Odyssey app. This week, Tommy answers your questions. Outdoor America, presented by Wholesale Batteries, the right battery the first time.
It's touchdown Kansas City when you sell your home to RexBuysKC.com. I am Mitch Holtz, voice of the Chiefs, and no company pays more than Rex, with instant cash offers and your money in as little as 7 days.
That's right, Mitch. I'm Rex, owner of RexBuysKC.com, your locally owned home buyer. We'll buy any house regardless of condition. Distressed or damaged homes, it doesn't matter. Call us now at 816-330-6000 for the best offer and instant cash.
Score a touchdown Kansas City with Rex and get a fair, honest deal. Facing divorce, bankruptcy, thousands in repair bills, needing to move fast, being foreclosed, or just wanting cash fast? Then contact Rex now to get your money in as little as 7 days.
We help homeowners solve their problems with options on how they can sell their home. We have no fees, no closing costs, no commissions, no open houses. We buy your house as is.
Sell your home today, worry and hassle-free, no matter what the condition, and get your money in as little as 7 days.
Call us right now at 816-330-6000 or go online to RexBuysKC.com and let us buy your home today.
Is your payment too much or your interest rate too high? I'm Jeff Davis, owner of Volkswagen Lease Summit, and it's time to switch and save.
Switch and save your way at Volkswagen Lease Summit. Get a low sign then drive lease and pay $0 down and $0 next month. Or switch your rate and get as low as 3.9% for 72 months. Or save by getting $1,000 more for your trade.
Don't miss out. Switch and save at Volkswagen Lease Summit. Visit VWLeaseSummit.com.
Financing through VCI OAC.
The best values of the year are this weekend at Diamonds Direct. Save an extra 20% store-wide. Rings, earrings, bracelets, bands, designer jewelry. It's our biggest and final store-wide sale of 2023, and we're holding nothing back. Shop early for Christmas and get the year's best value prices. Thousands of engagement rings on sale too. Plus special financing. This is the big one with in-store designer appearances all weekend, including Sunday. Get all the details now at DiamondsDirect.com. Diamonds Direct. Your love, our passion.
Hey, it's Carrington from The Drive here, and at the other place, that's where I like to go to eat, hang out, watch sports, and if you can't make the game, go to the other place where their game day atmosphere makes you feel like you're at the game. With great Sunday specials like $12 14-inch two-topping pizzas to a dozen wings for just $12. The other place, Shawnee, Olathe, downtown Overland Park, and coming soon to Mission and Belton.
Hey, Chiefs Kingdom, it's Bob Fesco. This NFL season, Crown Royal is celebrating the generous hosts that make game day royal. To the fans that open their doors and celebrate Kansas City game day, cheering on our tight end with a plate full of burnt ends. So raise a glass for the hosts of every watch party and kick off with Crown. Because Crown Royal believes if you live generously, life will treat you royally. Visit kickoffwithcrown.com to find out how Crown is living generously all season long. Please drink responsibly.
Your attention is precious. Pulled in a million directions for a million different reasons. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Kansas City works hard to make sure your health insurance isn't one of the many things distracting you from what's important. By making healthcare easier to navigate, we help keep your focus on the moments that matter most. Like dinner with loved ones. Letting you focus on you. That's the benefit of Blue. Learn more at BlueKC.com.
Hey, have you ever been ripped off? It sucks. Having a daily reminder of it is even worse. If you shave with a well-known big razor brand every morning, you might be thinking more about how much you paid for the blades than about how smooth your shave is. I'm Andy, the founder of Harry's. We give you a high-quality shave and an expertly engineered product for a fraction of the price that the big guys charge, with no compromises. They have 5 blades, Harry's has 5 blades. They have a lubricating strip, Harry's has a lubricating strip for extra glide. They have a trimmer blade, Harry's has a trimmer blade for the hard-to-reach areas. They charge up to $4 per blade. Our German-engineered blades cost as little as $2. Big brands charge higher prices because they can. Harry's keeps you in mind, focusing on high quality at a fair price. So stop rinsing cash down the drain every morning. Get a great shave for a fraction of the price with Harry's. Get a $13 trial set for just $3 at harrys.com/kickoff. That's harrys.com/kickoff.
You're listening to 610 Sports Radio from the Max Motors Studios. Patrick Mahomes joins CDOT Mondays at 3:10. 610 Sports Radio. KCSP Kansas City, WDAF HD2 Liberty. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
Pete Sweeney. 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 Pete Sweeney.
It is that time of the week where we check in with our Chiefs insider, Pete Sweeney from Arrowhead Pride. What's going on, Pete?
Hello. Happy Monday Night Football Friday.
I know, we don't get a ton of these game day shows, which we'll get one on Monday, Pete. So it's kind of nice that we have that. Of course, Pete Sweeney joins us thanks to Mark Ferguson, the attorney that's been helping KC sports fans with all of their legal needs since 1996. Integrity, results, that's Mark Ferguson. Before we get into the very important football discussion, in the 1 o'clock hour today, we have a mystery box that costs about $200 or so. Claims to have about $500 worth of stuff. It's either from Amazon, Target, or Walmart. Returned items. It's sealed. We don't know what's in it. What do you think's in the box?
Good question. I gotta think it's clothing items that are like a little ripped. Toys
I don't know if they're damaged.
They're
not
items.
supposed to be
Yeah.
damaged, but maybe Pete's right. They will be anyway.
Yeah, I gotta think, because what's the catch here? I mean,
Well, people return items, and Amazon and Walmart, Target, they don't spend the time to sometimes it's easier, more efficient for them to just sell off the return pallets and things like that to these other liquidators.
You know what I want to. I do your show every week. I feel like I'm a friend of the show. I would like the third item that Cody pulls out without looking. I think
You just want the third thing that comes out of the box?
Yeah, whatever the third item is, I would like to lay claim to, and I will give $25 to the box.
See, that's the thing. We wondered. We don't know how many items are in there, but we know where there's probably at least 10. We should sell 10 spots at $20 a piece.
That's just breaking even.
But that's guarantees our profit. And then anything after the 10 items is gravy.
Right. Yeah, I like that. I think that's a good idea. Yeah, I'll take item number 3. Let me know what that ends up.
Okay, we'll do, Pete. We'll let you know when it comes up. I was rewatching part of the Miami game because I was really impressed thinking about the fact that the Chiefs defense not only held up against Miami, but did it without Nick Bolton. And I came back to a player that I feel like has been underappreciated once again this year, Chris Jones. That's what's holding all this together when some of the other defensive players are gone, right? People are making too much out of a lack of sacks for a few games for Chris Jones, aren't they?
Absolutely. He was on a tear to begin the season, and you saw teams adjust to that, and he's getting the extra attention now. And not to say that George Karlaftis isn't great on the zone. I think the Chiefs made a nice pick there. But the reason why you're seeing so much pressure and so much success for Karlaftis and Mike Dana having good years is because of Chris Jones. I mean, you take Chris Jones out of that mix, I don't think the pressures and all the sacks are there for these other guys as well. It's that old cliched chat that we always have about outside the stat sheet. What are you doing that maybe doesn't appear? Like, for example, on the offensive side of the football, you have a Travis Kelce who's getting a lot of attention, and the Chiefs realize that. They make him pull the defense to the other side of the field, and that's how you get a touchdown. Same thing with Chris Jones. Maybe you're not getting the sacks right now, but he's having an impact for sure. And you could tell in that exchange yesterday that he is well aware that he hasn't had the sacks, but is determined and isn't really worried about, as he says, hitting his numbers, because he thinks by the end of the season they'll be there. And it's hard to disagree. I mean, you have a lot of weeks where you aren't playing a formidable offensive line, and even amongst double teams, he finds a way to get home. So I've loved the season for Chris Jones, and it'll be interesting to see also next offseason how that plays out in Chapter 2, 3, whatever you want to call it, of his contract dispute.
How much do you think the Super Bowl and now the rematch, like how much does the Super Bowl performance matter in this game? We heard from Jordan Mailata earlier, and he mentioned he was pretty blunt and honest. Like he didn't go back and watch film. He remembers the red and gold confetti. Like it's kind of a revenge game for them. On the flip side, you had Trent McDuffie acknowledging that they didn't think they played that great as a defensive unit.
Yeah, I love that part for Kansas City. It seems like even in a win, the defense is kind of ticked off at the way that the Eagles were able to dominate, especially early. I mean, they were just running a clinic. It felt like it didn't feel like a game. I don't know about you guys, but while Rihanna was performing, I was trying to figure out how I could get out of the stadium quick right after. It didn't seem like it was going to be a good day for KC, and then everything changed as we know. So to the best unit on the Chiefs right now, to be going in with a little chip on their shoulder in their own right, I think is a good thing, because naturally you'd expect the losing team in these situations to always be a little bit hungrier, kind of that point from Denver a few weeks ago. That game, no matter what you did, was going to always matter more to the Broncos. Just like I think to an extent this game will always matter a little bit more to the Eagles on Monday night. Like I said, the good thing is, though, Chiefs defense wants to prove something, and we know that the Chiefs offense, after hearing everything that has been said in KC and elsewhere, wants to prove something too. So you got a little bit of juice on both sides, which should make for a good game.
Pete, I know A.J. Brown has been one of the most dominant players in the entire NFL this year. Are you at the point that you assume the Chiefs can hold down any elite-level wide receiver because they've done it so far this year?
Yeah, how couldn't you be? I tend to think, again, not the greatest thing to hear in Kansas City, but I think Tyreek Hill's the best wide receiver in the NFL. And to be able to handle him and do what you were able to do against him and prevent him in a game that, speaking of having motivation, that he really wanted to have a strong and solid performance, and to strip him and have that huge play, I just think proves a lot. And it is that thing, whereas if we can do what we did against Tyreek Hill, do the work, make sure we put in the work, prepare, and have a similar effort against A.J. Brown, like we can hold him to under 60 yards, which would be unbelievable against Brown for what he has been doing this season. And speaking of contracts, that's another one, right? We know that there's been some smoke around the L'Jarius Sneed contract. I know that this is a player that the Chiefs would like to retain, and he is putting together a solid case to make a lot of money, and deservedly so. And so you hope that trend continues in this game.
We're talking to Pete Sweeney, our Chiefs insider from Arrowhead Pride. Just looking at the rest of the AFC, we saw last night injuries all over the place. Mark Andrews likely done for the season. Joe Burrow, we don't know, although that did not look good whatsoever. Can't grip the football. And I know we have these problems we discuss about the Chiefs and the wide receiver room and all that, but we can go one by one, and it seems like all these other teams have much bigger issues at hand.
Yeah, I said this earlier today on our Arrowhead Pride podcast network. We do a little bit of an update every time the Chiefs are practicing. Like, we woke up this morning, and it's not outrageous to say that potentially the biggest threat in the AFC to the Chiefs is the Houston Texans, like with all the problems that are going on, because you lose Mark Andrews if you're the Ravens. That's like losing Travis Kelce if you're the Chiefs. Like, that is a huge deal because it's a run-first team, but that was their primary target. Now you can focus the attention on Zay Flowers, and then it's like you're working with an Odell Beckham here, or Rashad Bateman that really hasn't panned out. And there's flaws with every team. There's holes for what would have been the preseason contenders. The Chiefs have already proved what they can do against the Miami Dolphins in the game that they wanted really badly. And who's the only team that really seems to be gaining steam? I don't think you're buying the Steelers, right? So it's just wild. We thought the AFC was going to be one thing, and now you get to the middle of the season, and it's a completely different thing. And it's great for KC because if you take care of business on Monday night, the schedule, if you don't have Burrow in that Bengals game, that's a completely different game. And and so the schedule again seems to be opening up. And so this is a big game for the Chiefs because you win it. And I really think, even despite the Ravens' record and losing Andrews, you still have a stronghold on the conference. And then just extending the point about the Bills, and this isn't something that I think is being talked about enough, they have 5 AFC losses. So they need to get there on wins alone. Are they really going 5-2 down the stretch? So this is a really opening up for the Chiefs, and I think it's a good thing. And so long as you kind of clean up the mistakes, be a little bit better on offense, continue what you're doing on defense, should be another likely trip to a Super Bowl, which is crazy to say only here in Week 11.
Pete, do you think any of these 3 teams makes the postseason? Cincinnati, Buffalo, or the Chargers?
I don't think so.
I know it's a nutty thing to ask. It feels kind of crazy, but
I had to really think. I may be in the minority here. I don't know how you guys feel about this. I haven't heard it discussed, but I like the Raiders right now. If there's any team then from the AFC West that musters,
they're going to lose 5 in a row, though, P. I mean, they're going to lose the next 5.
I like the Raiders more than the Chargers. I don't think you're getting 3 teams out of the AFC West, so that eliminates them for me. And then Cincinnati, if you take Burrow out of the equation, they're out of it. And then with Buffalo, as I just described, because of those AFC tiebreakers, they have to go 10-7 to me instead of 9. I don't think 9-8 gets it done for them. And so I don't buy that with their schedule either. So amazingly enough, I think all 3 of those teams may be on the outside looking in, which is wild to say. I really had to think about it for a second.
How was the birthday? Last time Cody said I said happy birthday to you too far in advance. So now I
you did. It was like a week early.
I want to check back in. Anything go down? Did Cody get you a gift?
It was no gift from Cody. It was a good birthday. We checked out Herman. I had never been over there for the first time.
Yeah, that's nice.
Recommendation from Dusty Likens, which you always got to be careful about, which I know you guys know. Ended up being a good time though. We had a nice time and back on Sunday and really refreshed. I'll tell you, I always enjoy the bye week, and I don't know how you guys feel about this, but the bye week leading into a Monday night game feels like it's like a century between actual work games and Chiefs games. So eager to get through this weekend, and I'm excited to watch what should be the game of the year on Monday night here.
Pete, I know I didn't have a ticket for Gold, but I'm looking forward to seeing you tomorrow night at the Aiden Project event. I'll see you then.
Yeah. I remember you talking to me about this last year. Last year was our first annual
event together. You hear that, Pete?
Yeah, and I remember you saying I would give a ticket to Alex and Nick, and I guess now it's Alex and Drew. But I like you a little better, and I thought that was rude. I like everybody equally on the show. So I don't know. Good luck with that, and I also look forward to seeing what item number 3 is. I'm very, very interested in
We'll see.
Stuff, so.
That's Pete Sweeney. Anything plaid goes to Pete.
He gets ownership of anything plaid, whether it's a plate or it's anything a clothing
plaid.
item.
Of course, our conversation with Pete Sweeney presented by Mark Ferguson, the attorney that's been helping KC sports fans with all of their legal needs since 1996. Integrity, results. That's Mark Ferguson. We'll get to the Chiefs Red half hour here in about 15 minutes or so, but huge game tomorrow. We didn't talk about it on purpose during the weekend slate from Drew, but KU, K-State, it's the first time since the 90s that both were ranked. Obviously now college football playoff rankings we're talking about. KU 25, Missouri 21. We still don't know 100% who the quarterback's going to be, if it's Ballard or if it's Bean. My guess is it's going to end up being Bean, but it's college. They don't have to disclose much, so it's kind of up in the air. I would think that it's Bean based off the spread. KU's a 7.5-point dog.
I think so, too.
I'm not saying
actually, that's jumped up. It's gotten closer to like 9.
Well, that scares me
the
then
last
a little
time
bit.
I looked.
If that's the case, and that tells me that he's not playing. If it's 7.5, then that to me is more likely Bean is playing.
That could have moved back. That was when I was
We
looking
can check again and get the updated line. But I think Kansas covers this game. This is not the same Kansas team. K-State very likely can win this thing, but I think Kansas at home to be, if you're telling me now, a 9-point underdog, Cody. KU, we looked this up before that betting show a couple days ago when the line was 7.5. I don't know what the latest number is. But we know K-State has won 14 in a row. They've dominated this series. These games have not
very one-sided.
Been competitive. KU has only stayed within 7.5 3 times.
9.5.
9.5. Well, see, that scares me. It makes it seem like more that Ballard's going to play if it's 9.5. But KU has only stayed within 7.5 times 3 times since 2007. And the last one was in 2018, which was a 21-17 K-State win. I would like to think this will finally be a close one, but if Bean's not playing and it's Ballard, and if you're telling me the line's going up the way it is, that scares me a little bit about his status.
I do think it comes to a point where, and they're not there yet, because I really think you got to check yourself on reality of where Kansas was a couple of years ago before you say they have to have this one to prove that they're heading in a direction.
But they're past that.
But at some point, I don't even know if they're past it. At some point, if you're going to be the head coach,
they're not past proving they're headed in the right direction.
No. I meant like capable of the step after, right? That's what I'm talking about here. They're obviously heading in a much better direction than they've been heading in years and years and years and years. But to make sure that like you are going to the next stage or the next stage is coming, at some point you're going to have to beat K-State.
Sure.
You've lost them 1,000,000 times in a row.
But it sucks. It might be
you
their
are
third string
viable
quarterback.
now.
Might be their third string quarterback.
And that's the problem. If it ends up being Ballard, well, then how am I going to judge this one individual standalone game with a third string quarterback across there? I mean, I guess Kansas at least got good news yesterday when Jalen Daniels announced he's coming back to school, and it sounded like Kansas announced that Lance Leipold will be there with him.
In a way, with the way the statement was written, this is the video from Jalen Daniels yesterday.
I'm going to be blunt. This season didn't go as planned, but life comes at you fast, and sometimes your story's out of your control. But I guess that just means I have unfinished business. My dreams haven't changed. My goals are still there, and my vision for my future is clear. So you want something to talk about? Talk about this. I'm not done yet, and I'm not going anywhere. Rock chalk.
So that was a video.
It was like super produced
from Jalen Daniels. It's because there's a lot of noise out there that he was. There's all kinds of nasty rumors out there. He's faking being hurt, intentionally missing games so he could transfer and then follow Lance Leipold to Michigan State. I'll be honest, like K-State fans won't like it. A lot of that rumor crap came from the K-State side. There were some members of the media on the K-State beat, as a matter of fact, that were pushing that narrative a lot. So good for Jalen Daniels, criticizing and accusing a 21-year-old kid of faking injuries, and it turns out to be completely false, is BS.
Well,
and so good for Jalen Daniels putting that video out there. He's back next year, so will Lance Leipold.
Of all the injuries, aren't like back injuries, I think, are the ones that flare up maybe more often than any other ones. I think it makes sense that 1 week you're good and the next week you're not, and all of a sudden one little tweak or you slept wrong and you can't go, and it's just the way that it is. It's a lot more complicated than just it's rehabbing.
Now that you know he's going to be back, though, all the more reason to be very careful this year. This year's already a win for Kansas. I think that's true. You, again, go back to where they were a couple of years ago. They became bowl eligible. They got to a bowl game. They'll get to a slightly better bowl game, hypothetically, this year, depending on how these last couple of games go. It was an improvement. It was a step in the right direction. They know they'll have Daniels back next year. Rushing him back for the final 2 games of this year, even in the Sunflower Showdown, doesn't make sense. I like K-State in this game. I think partially because I'm with you, Gold. The line movement would suggest to us that Ballard's probably going to be the starter and that K-State has completely controlled this matchup
14
for
straight
a
wins.
very long time.
My goodness. Yeah, there's been complete domination. I'm looking forward to tomorrow night. I obviously wish, one of the starting quarterbacks was actually going to play for Kansas, and maybe he's looking more like Ballard is going to be the guy. Although he looked composed. Now, he's a number 3 quarterback, though, for a reason. But for a freshman, he actually looked composed for being thrown in there. We know he's Chris Ballard's son, which is kind of funny and cool, actually, at the same time. GM of the Colts.
Used to be. front office
Chiefs
guy
front
here.
office, yeah.
That's how he ended up in Kansas after all these things. Good for him. Good for Cole Ballard. Honestly, good for KU for having players that can at least be passable in a third-string quarterback situation.
Trash of the day.
All right, if you want to feel old for a second.
Every day, man. Every day.
So it's the holiday season. With that, there's holiday movies, right? Typical ones we see. Home Alone being one of them, right? It's going to be on TV
Classic.
all the time in the next month and a half. 33 years ago. Yeah. 33.
Damn, I was 6 when that movie came out?
Yeah, I'll be 33 in January. So literally.
That movie's older than you?
That movie is older than me by a couple months. And there's a theory going around this movie on TikTok. I don't know if you saw this. You're Mr. TikTok, you know?
Hey, we just had our most popular TikTok ever this show.
How about that?
You know?
So
moving on up.
There's a theory. People are trying to figure out, how does Peter McAllister, dad of Kevin McAllister, live in such a beautiful home?
Take trips to Paris.
Pays
First
for his
flight.
whole family.
Yeah.
Wearing a very nice coat. All of that. The theory is Peter McAllister was a mob boss. It says that Harry and Marv were from a rival family, and they were seeking revenge, which is why they were hitting up the block. Went on to say, I think it makes sense. He explains, he thinks the whole theory of Kevin's dad being a mobster makes total sense based off of Kevin's behavior. Goes on to say, Kevin was a straight-up G. When Kevin found out that Harry and Marv were going to rob his house, it didn't even occur to him to ever call the police. Kevin stuck to the G code of, this is my house, I have to defend it. It's the most gangster bleep ever. At the end, he never even talked to the police, remember? He didn't give them a statement. He just kept his mouth shut. He learned that from his dad, the mob boss.
Okay.
Someone says, you better recognize Kevin McAllister was a stone-cold thug.
Okay, this theory has 1,000 holes. For starters, if they worked for a rival mob, why did they have an entire crime? Why do they have an entire, series of crimes they committed in different neighborhoods as the Wet Bandits? Why were they doing that as a member of a mob family? You wouldn't just commit petty crimes constantly as a member of a rival mob family. Look, do I think, honestly, you know what would probably explain it better? Rather than saying he's a mob guy, they should probably just accuse him of insider trading. He's clearly like the Bernie Madoff of his days. He probably just got everybody stuck up in a Ponzi scheme. That's how he got all the cash for the giant house in Chicago. And nobody ever thought anything of it. And he had all this free time and stuff.
Yeah.
He's probably just Bernie Madoff. He's just a giant Ponzi scheme.
That's just a trend on TikTok people are discussing. Someone says it's a movie, Gold. Yeah, nobody said it was real life. I don't know what you're talking about. But yeah, this is just what theory that people have about the movie Home Alone.
They also had the huge room in the
Someone said the dad played a
Plaza
mini part
Hotel?
in The Sopranos. The actor. Well, yeah, the Plaza Hotel.
Well,
Or the Plaza Hotel.
No, it is Plaza.
That one might be the Plaza, but it's the Plaza here.
Yeah, it's true. A little bit different.
Ding, dang, dong at the Plaza Hotel.
I like a good...
That movie's so good. I love that movie.
I like a good conspiracy theory, especially a good movie conspiracy theory. But there's way too many holes in this.
Yeah, the other users commented, pointed out in the film, Peter's brother said he was paying for the trip. One said his dad's brother paid for the vacation, and back then houses were much more affordable, so they think that's how he was able to do it.
Dude, that's still a big house in Chicago. There's an entire account dedicated to what you would have to earn to actually live in the places that exist in TVs and movies. I'm pretty sure that he would have had to been like,
it's hilarious.
$500,000-$600,000 a year. I'm telling you, he's a grifter. He's just a classic grifter. Taking all of his time away, running off to European countries, buying his family this big house, forgetting about his kid. He's a neglectful parent.
I like the theory. That's all it is.
You like the idea that he's a mob boss?
Sure, let's roll with
for
it.
a competing
Needs some
mob
new
family.
life to Home Alone. Needs new reason to talk about it.
Is that an every year watch for you?
Yeah.
100%,
Yeah,
no
of
question?
course. It's on TV.
I've already watched it. I've already watched both of them.
Already? Wow, I mean, we're not even to Thanksgiving yet.
I will watch that movie multiple times, and I have no problem with it.
What's the Encanto? Someone says there's an Encanto movie conspiracy. What's that?
I've never seen. Is it Encanto or Encanto?
Encanto.
I've never seen that. So that's a kids movie that came out like a year
dude,
or
I've
two
seen
ago,
it
right?
1,000 times. My
What
kid
theory would be
absolutely loved
attached to that?
I don't know. I'd have to ask. The text line's going to tell me. They said that it's absolutely wild. I don't know what it is. Someone says it's one of them is that Mirabelle sabotaged her own gift.
I don't know the plot of the show, so that this isn't.
Okay, there's a magical family.
Magical family.
Magical family. They live in this, they needed a miracle at the time that they were, really struggling. They became magical. And then Mirabelle, the main protagonist daughter, doesn't get a gift like the rest of the family and grows up without a gift, even though everyone else has like a specific magical power.
So she has no power.
So she has
That
no
sucks.
power. But eventually has to save the family in a different way. You know, so like the grandma's a complete hard ass. She's just like mean to her the whole time because she's not magical. She's like, I mean, I don't know what's going on there. There's a lot happening. Someone says one of the theories is that the grandma is a psychiatrist and the family is just a bunch of patients. They're not actually a family. It's just a bunch of people imagining their gifts. That doesn't seem like the vibe. We'll see. I'm open to it. Someone says that theory wouldn't work out. Peter meets Harry in the opening when Harry's impersonating a police officer. Yeah, but he might not know every member of an opposing mob family. I mean, I can poke a hole in that one at least. There's other parts of this theory.
All right, that's the trash.
Condo's very good, by the way.
That's the trash of the day.
Solid kids movie.
Okay.
I'm going to take my kid. They're already at Trolls comes out today, and they're
Trolls?
already asking to go. There's a third Trolls movie. They're already asking to go see it. It comes out today. Like, I'm not getting out there today. I'm not getting out there for opening night of Trolls.
You'll be there.
No, I'm
You'll be
Along
there.
with everybody else and their kids. Yeah.
You'll be there.
next week.
Oh, that sounds even worse. Thanksgiving week? Oh, that sounds like a terrible
Fine,
time
I'll go
to
2 weeks. I'll go sometime later.
Your kids aren't going to wait 2 weeks for that, man.
They don't have a say. They don't have a choice in this. I mean, they can.
I mean,
they can bully me.
I was going to say.
They can bully me.
I mean, they don't have a say. It's not 100% accurate.
That's accurate.
All right, coming up
I've been trying
next.
to bribe my son for weeks, and he won't take it.
Okay.
Will not accept this bribe.
You
to give
bribe
up
your kids?
One thing. Okay. Anybody who thinks that bribery and child rearing don't go together is wrong. You should. Oh, bribery works, and you should definitely bribe your kids sometimes. It is a foolproof parenting method. Anyway, go ahead.
Coming up next, Chiefs Red Half Hour. One Chief said maybe he was rooting for the other side a couple months ago. We'll tell you who that is next.
Chiefs fans, it's Jawan Taylor. Don't miss Cody and Gold weekdays starting at 10 on 610 Sports Radio.
Brought to you by Gann Asphalt and Concrete. For asphalt, concrete, and parking lot maintenance, Gann Asphalt and Concrete. One contractor, all things parking lot. Trusted in Kansas City since 1994. Online at GANNasphalt.com.
Finding an attorney can be an overwhelming process. Fortunately, since 1996, Mark Ferguson has helped thousands of Kansas Cityans during their time of need. Whether you're facing a traffic violation or a more serious crime, Mark and his team of seasoned, compassionate professionals are here to fight for you in all of your legal matters. Mark has built his career on integrity, knowledge, and an incredible reputation. Call Mark Ferguson at 816-203-2263. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Hey everybody, this is Andrew Filipponi here, bringing you the parlay of the day, brought to you by FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Time to pick Sunday's games, and there are some good ones, beginning with the Steelers and Browns in Cleveland. Give me the Steelers with the Browns playing a rookie fifth-round quarterback who threw 3 interceptions and is only NFL start. Panthers getting 10.5 points at home versus Dallas. We've already seen the Cowboys lose at Arizona this year. I'll go with Carolina. I think the Bills will get a bump with the coordinator change and blow out the Jets. Buffalo -7. Sunday night, the Broncos are the bet, -2.5 versus Minnesota. Denver's defense has really stepped up. I don't see Josh Dobbs pulling another rabbit out of his hat. A $10 bet wins you over $130. That's it for the parlay of the day. Brought to you by FanDuel. Download the FanDuel app today and make every moment more with America's #1 sportsbook.
21 plus in President, Kansas. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See full terms at FanDuel.com/sportsbook. FanDuel is offering online sports wagering in Kansas under an agreement with Kansas Star Casino, LLC. Gambling problem? Getting help is your best bet. Call 1-800-522-4700 or visit ksgamblinghelp.com.
Holiday stories from Shane Company customers.
My 3 girls are coming home for the holidays. I created a gemstone necklace for each of them at Shane Company. Gracie loves yellow, so I chose citrine for her. For Ava, I chose blue topaz. It's known to bring clarity. And for Lexi, I went with her birthstone, amethyst. Each gift is unique, just like them.
Personalize your gift with rare and vibrant gemstones sourced from around the world. 'Tis the season to shine. Shane Company. Fine jewelry since 1929.
Well, it's a Red Friday right here on 610 Sports Radio. And also with my friends over at The Other Place. Make The Other Place your sports watching headquarters with 3 great Kansas City locations. Shawnee, Olathe, and downtown Overland Park. Plus, they're opening up a new one in Mission and Belton.
Your attention is precious. Pulled in a million directions for a million different reasons. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Kansas City works hard to make sure your health insurance isn't one of the many things distracting you from what's important. By making healthcare easier to navigate, we help keep your focus on the moments that matter most. Like dinner with loved ones. Letting you focus on you. That's the benefit of Blue. Learn more at bluekc.com.
Hey, college basketball fans, come out and watch the ladies hoop it up Saturday at the Casey Muni in a doubleheader. First, Northwest Missouri State versus Rockhurst at 1 p.m. Then Kansas versus UMKC at 3:15. Two great ladies games at Municipal Auditorium this Saturday. Buy tickets at the box office or Ticketmaster.com.
Hi, it's Derek Johnson, and I know there's nothing better than being part of a team. A group of great people you can count on and learn from. The Sheet Metalworkers, local number 2, are growing their team and looking for quality men and women who want to build Kansas City's future. While you're making KC a better place, you'll also get great pay and benefits while gaining lifelong skills. Explore the possibilities at sheetmetal2.org. That's sheetmetal2.org. And take a step towards a fulfilling and rewarding way of life.
For the ones who get it done, the most important part is the one you need now. And the best partner is the one who can deliver. That's why millions of maintenance and repair pros trust Grainger, because we have professional-grade supplies for every industry, even hard-to-find products. And we have same-day pickup and next-day delivery on most orders. But most importantly, we have an unwavering commitment to help keep you up and running. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Oh, I think we're lost again.
Wait, what does that sign over there say?
Caution wildlife crossing?
No, next to it.
If you're 60 or older, you may be at increased risk of serious consequences from RSV, respiratory syncytial virus, compared to adults younger than 60. Ouch, I didn't know that.
Not all dangers come with warning labels. Talk to your pharmacist or doctor about getting vaccinated against RSV today. RSV vaccines, including Pfizer's, are available. Learn more at bewareofrsv.com. Brought to you by Pfizer.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? I think my battery's dead. With free battery testing and charging, we can help you get back on the road.
Get in zone.
So what if I need a new one? No problem. We have the right battery for your car, starting at only $89.99.
Get in zone,
And what about my old battery? We can recycle it right here at America's #1 battery destination.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Fill your game day cooler with the refreshing taste of Twisted Tea Hard Iced Tea. Smooth, real brewed tea with a 5% kick of alcohol. Look for the bright yellow cans. Twisted Tea. Keep it twisted.
Twisted Tea Brewing Company, Cincinnati, Ohio. Please drink responsibly.
Mostly sunny today with a high of 55.
Weather brought to you by AutoZone. Free battery testing, free battery charging, and replacement batteries that fit your needs. That's what makes AutoZone America's #1 battery destination. Get in the zone. AutoZone.
The 610 Sports Radio phone line is brought to you by Onder Law Injury Lawyers. Visit getjim.com.
Chiefs coverage brought to you by Max Motors. 9 major vehicle brands to choose from. MaxMotors.com. It's trade-up days at Max Motors dealerships.
Worth the drive from anywhere.
Get up to 130% off book value for your trade. Plus, huge savings on all new and pre-owned vehicles in stock. No payments for 90 days and finance options for everyone. Over 1,700 vehicles in stock.
Shop 24/7 at MaxMotors.com.
Chiefs Kingdom. This is Mitch Holtis, and welcome into the Chiefs Red Half Hour on Cody and Gold. Every day at 11:30 on your official broadcast partner of the Chiefs, 610 Sports Radio.
Reminder coming up, the next commercial break, you'll be listening for that bell sounder. That'll be your cue to call in. And first person to call 913-586-7610 when you hear that. Won a prize pack from Yingling. You can join Yingling and Johnny's Tavern this November to support Loggers for Heroes. Join Johnny's Tavern and give back to local KC vets. Yingling, America's oldest brewery, is proud and thankful for Kansas City servicemen and women. Go to 610sports.com to learn more. We are about an hour and a half away from Club 610, presented by Jay Rieger & Co., and we will be opening up our mystery box of stuff. It could be anything. Taking your guesses as well. We will open that. We have no clue. It's sealed. The box is sealed. We have no clue what is inside this thing. We even talked during the break that we might have somebody else besides us pull out each item as well when it happens in the 1 o'clock hour.
Well, I want the surprise of not seeing everything in it.
Maybe
and
it's a new Colorado hoodie since you're supporting. Where's your Prime Shade since you're wearing Colorado today? Is it a big game tomorrow?
No, I don't think so. I just put on a hoodie because it was chilly out this morning. That's all.
I don't know if you're a Prime backer still. Or some people have not been nearly as loud about their support for Colorado over the last
Washington State, as you know.
That's right. Over the last 2 months, it's kind of weird. Like
not me. I've been a supporter of Colorado for too long.
I seem
now.
to recall once getting a lot of texts and a lot of talk about that, and I don't know why has it cooled off. And then I looked, and it turns out they haven't won any games since that. That might be why.
Well, that's probably it.
And so after all
I
this,
go back
they're
to
going
the slash days.
After all this, they're going to finish with one more win than their win total. After all that, but I was told they were headed to Heisman winners and
well, they might still be,
titles.
just not this year.
You know, I was told this year.
Oh, okay.
I was told that they beat TCU. I was told they beat TCU week 1, and that accounted for 5 wins.
No, they are still at 4 wins.
The TCU team that might miss a bowl game too.
That team, yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, they might.
Nice hoodie, though.
Turns out that TCU squad, not
as good.
Not very good, so it turns out. But, they'll probably return Shedeur Sanders next year.
Oh, they'll be good next year.
Very good.
They'll hit the portal next year and get some offensive linemen, defensive linemen.
You sure they'll be in Boulder? Or could it be a College Station, Dion?
Oh, I was like, Colorado, the university's not moving, so he will be in Boulder.
They're just
he will be
up Colorado.
He will be in Boulder, yes.
Yeah, I don't think he's taking another job. There's
Not
been
yet,
a
not
lot
yet.
of rumors about.
I mean,
people
I don't
gonna
think
take other
I don't think
jobs,
he'll be there 5 years from now, but he'll be there next year. Absolutely.
Yeah, I agree.
He's got all of his kids and a good thing going at Colorado. He's not going to leave after 1 year.
Maybe we'll get some blenders, or what are they called?
like one of those ninja ice cream. I want one of those ninja ice cream makers. So if that's in there, I'm a buyer.
Oh, you're buying?
I'm a
if
buyer.
You buy it, it goes up 10%.
What?
Yeah.
Then cost?
Well,
why would
Drew
you
and
just
I
go
have
to the
determine.
store?
Drew and I will determine the cost increase.
Find a reasonable price for me.
We'll determine the.
What is there anything in this box that you'd be willing to buy? What's your gut tell you?
Maybe.
What if there was like a
I can't really. I
Bose
mean,
sound bar?
Dude, it literally could be any. I already have a sound bar. It could be.
I
any,
will buy the sound bar.
There you go. It could
See,
be
there
any
we go.
item, so I can't really tell you. I mean, like it could be a fork. It could be a spatula. It could be.
What are you in the
underwear.
market for? I'm assuming somebody in your family's asked you for a Hanukkah list.
Yeah, literally just yesterday.
Okay, so.
But I haven't made the list yet.
I was like, what are you in the market
no
for?
joke. Just had a conversation about this yesterday. Like, so what do you want? Here's what we're doing. What do you want? And I'm like, honest, I'm going to have to think. I don't know. There's nothing like that I need to have. Oh, come on. Don't worry. I'll find something.
Some more silverware, maybe?
I don't cook it. My silverware definitely could use new silverware, but I don't utilize it enough for me to actually want new silverware.
My
Right?
wife would like to point out, I did buy this on campus.
Well, I know you
I bought
you-
this
oh,
at
really?
Colorado.
Nice. You had that
15 years
I was
ago,
gonna say-
20 years ago. I don't know, forever.
No,
ago.
you've backed Colorado way before the prime days. I was more referencing those that just jumped on board all of a sudden.
Once Dion
and
showed
they
up?
already are half foot is off the train already, I think.
I'll have to bring that up to Dusty on Wednesday because he's the notable one from this station.
I didn't mention him. I don't know who I was talking about at all.
Notice I said my wife, not. I learned my lesson.
Current wife?
Not my current.
Good job. Nice.
I learned. I can
I'm sure-
progress as a person.
I'm sure she appreciates that.
I
Yeah.
was going to say, I'm sure she really does.
So she had you listen right then, and I got it right. So
Anyway.
what can I say? 1 o'clock, we'll open up the box.
We know the Chiefs are playing the Eagles on Monday night. It was pretty funny. Some Chiefs players were talking yesterday towards the end of our show just about this game. And Rashee Rice was a rookie. So, of course, he was in college last year. And like everybody's watching the Super Bowl. So you probably you're not in the league. You got a rooting interest. There's, you probably appreciate maybe what one player for one team's done, or you just like that city or whatever it may be. Listen to Rashee Rice talk about watching last year's Super Bowl.
Yeah, I watched that game. I'm not going to say I was rooting for it. But, yeah, it was, I did watch the game, and I wasn't thinking about, if I was going to be playing for one of these teams, but I was thinking about eventually playing in the Super Bowl, and, this is a year we can make that happen.
So you were rooting for the Eagles?
I don't know.
You don't know?
He was rooting for the Eagles last year.
Why
Look,
would he even bring that up? I won't tell you who I'm rooting for. We weren't going to ask him.
Oh, no, we were all thinking it. Look, he was in college last year. He didn't know what team it was going to be. He can root for whoever the hell he wants at that point in time. He had no ties to the Chiefs at that given time. But he's smart now. He can't be saying who he rooted for. It was the Eagles. Pretty obvious. That's fine. They lost. He's now on the winning side of things. It all worked out.
It's just really funny that he's sitting around watching a game, not realizing he'd be playing in a very big game between the two of those teams the following year, but that he'd actually be playing for the team that he wasn't rooting for. Where is he from? Is he from that area or something?
I'm assuming he's.
Can I,
he went to
excuse-
SMU, but I don't know where his hometown is.
Yeah, I know I went to SMU. Richland Hills, Texas.
Texas guy.
Is where he went. So, or grew up. God, and he was rooting for Philly?
He might have
He
been
might be a Jalen
Hurts
Hurts guy,
fan.
yeah.
Yeah. Jalen Hurts from Houston. It would not surprise me if he's just a Jalen Hurts fan. And that's fair enough.
That's tough.
Understandable, by
We're
the way.
not going to judge Rashee Rice for who he was rooting for a year ago?
Who he was rooting for when he was in college?
Do you think it's got to be a really weird instance? Like when you're good enough to be a professional athlete, to have spent your entire life rooting for a team and then just have to abandon it immediately. Just be like, well, you're Patrick Mahomes. He grew up rooting for Texas. He was a Texas football fan his entire life, and then he went to Texas Tech. the opposite. I know sometimes you don't have a choice and all those things, and then when it gets to the NFL, you have even less of a choice. Because in college, you might have some say in the school you go to. Remember, they wanted to make them a safety in Texas.
It's where your opportunities are, right? I mean, the same thing's going to happen. I hate to say this, Chiefs fans won't like this. Let's fast forward 15 years. Mahomes retires. We know he wants to be part of an ownership group in the NFL.
It's unlikely it'll be the Chiefs.
Probably not going to be available to join up with Clark Hunt's ownership group. So there might be an expansion team 15 years from now in Germany. I don't know. And that might be his best opportunity to own an NFL team. Sorry, he's going to start wearing that team's gear, not your team's gear. That's how that works.
Weird.
You know, it's just like
Magic
Johnson
owns part of what, the Guardians? Who did he buy a stake in?
I can't remember. Yeah, I can't. But that's his hometown. That's a little bit different. That's even more spot on. But like, it just depends. Like Magic Johnson's part owner now of the Commanders. Like he had no ties to the Washington the Redskins or anything.
It's always like it always feels weird in the same sport. Nobody would think it would be weird to be like, oh, Patrick Mahomes bought a stake in the Yankees, but I get it. He already owns a stake in the Royals, so too late. And the Current and Sporting. So are you sure Patrick Mahomes might be the one exception to this? He only buys local teams, except for his F1 partnership or whatever. I know this is a Chiefs Red Half Hour. Did you guys see that guy's car hit the manhole last night in that F1 race in Las Vegas? It looked like it caught fire.
So the practice round, we know this build up for Vegas, and it seems like it's been a disaster. Ticket prices were once thousands. You can get cheap tickets now. Restaurants along the track, the route, thought they were going to have huge crowds. They're not. The practice round's taking place at 2 a.m. The actual race doesn't start till, I think, 11 o'clock our time here. Yeah, 9, maybe
9:30-ish there,
in Vegas. It seems like a complete mess. I mean, they went all out in Vegas, but locals have been pissed off about it for months because construction's been a disaster. It just seems like they overestimated how big it was going to be in Vegas.
Well, because they saw how well it worked in Miami. That's the truth. They're like, wow, look how great this went in Miami. It'll go just as good here. They forgot to cover a manhole cover. It wrecked the underside of a guy's car.
And then F1 proceeded to penalize the guy.
Wait, what?
F1 penalized Carlos Sainz and Ferrari for having to fix parts on their car. So he got penalized.
Well, that's
fans also, the fans who had tickets for practices didn't get refunds. So they're still going through that situation. It's been Max Verstappen called it a clown show, essentially, as
and we
well.
learned he's the only racer who ever wins in F1.
It's a big mess for sure.
Yeah, I don't know if it's Saturday night. We'll be on late, college football wrap up. I don't know. Maybe I watched 5 minutes of it on Saturday.
Yeah, maybe.
It'll be on ESPN2
cool,
probably.
Because it looks cool. Don't get me wrong. Like the part of the track where they go down the strip, it looks amazing.
It'll probably just be I'll look for the social media clip where it looks cool. That's about the end of my interest level in it.
But if I'm watching college football Saturday night, it'll be on right after the games.
We spent a lot of time this year talking about the wide receivers, and rightfully so. We'll spend a lot more time this year talking about wide receivers. But because this is the natural midway point for the Chiefs, they're one game beyond the halfway point, and they're coming off of their bye, entering their biggest game of the season. Let's include the wide receivers. Let's include Kelsey. Where does Isaiah Pacheco rank amongst the most important Chiefs players on offense the rest of the way? Because of the lack of production at wide receiver, I'm not so sure it shouldn't be third. Kelsey, right? That's obvious. Rice, Pacheco. That's the answer?
Well, it should be. The problem is I can't give you that as my answer because I don't think they'll utilize him the way he should and the importance that he should.
So you're saying if it was your team, he would be the third most in that ranking order, but you think he'll land below who? Sky and VS? How far down the list before they see the value in him?
Yeah, that's the issue. Is I don't trust the coaching staff to give him the type of touches that I believe he should be getting. Now, it's been better. This last game was much better than the prior game where he was getting, 7 touches a game or whatever. But that's why, importance, he should be one of the most important players on this offense. Based off of the lack of production you're getting at wide receiver, you should lean a little bit more into your running backs. But when you couple it with my not believing they're going to, and then also I still think Jerick McKinnon should end up being one of the most important players in the second half of the season for this offense. You could say, oh, well, that's a problem. No, it's not. Look at last year. The back half of the season, he was extremely important, got all sorts of touchdowns in the red zone and otherwise.
Is he done? He doesn't look. I'm just waiting.
He just had a great touchdown off a screen or a little pass in the flat.
He gets old. People get old fast at running back. I'm just checking if anyone.
That's why they saved him in the first half for the most part.
I'm just trying to decide if anyone thinks there's a chance he might just be cooked. No, maybe not. They didn't put a claim.
I just saw him.
I'd feel worse if they'd put in a claim for Michael Carter or something. They'd done that, then I'd be like, ooh, even there thinking, man, let's get a different receiver.
No,
back
I
in.
think
But they didn't even put a claim in.
They didn't really unleash McKinnon until the second half last year. And in this game against the Dolphins, right before the bye week, knowing he was going to have all kinds of time to get healthy again, he comes up with a huge touchdown off a little, just kind of a nothing pass, and he makes a guy or two miss. He looked fast to me. I don't know about you on that play.
He looked good. I don't want to read too much into just Peter King. Peter King was on the drive, and he talked a lot about the wide receivers. And I don't want to make it just a one person talking to Andy Reid about the receivers, but I think you and I both know there's a couple of things that are empirical evidence on importance. MVS has had plenty of time to figure out a rapport with Patrick Mahomes, and he hasn't found it, right? He's got a pretty standard...
He's regressed a little bit.
Yeah. So it's not him. Pacheco's got to be more important than MVS. He's got to be more important than Toney. I mean, the Chiefs have got to view it that way. They're not using Kadarius Toney. They're using Sky Moore, but not effectively. I want to see Pacheco climb up this list. You're probably right, Gold. This is probably my list, and how important is he should be third. And the Chiefs will probably view him sixth.
Because there's an argument to be made, even though we all agree MVS has regressed, in terms of his importance, not production. His importance, MVS is actually very important for this offense to ever figure it out with the wide receivers.
If they're going to start getting deep passes, yeah.
He's a veteran. He's really the only veteran in the wide receiver room. And he does have the ability to stretch the field. Again, I'm not saying he's doing that, but that's why he's important, because he's one of the few guys that can do that. So
I feel like Pacheco can take the heat off of all the things we're talking about. That's why it works in the inverse. Have a running game that functions, do well with that running game, and you can take some of the pressure off of all these guys.
I know we laugh, or you laugh when I bring up Richie James, but I'm telling you, man.
James.
Been
a while.
Post-bye week, I believe he should be at least given a shot a little bit more. Nobody else has really stepped up outside of Rashee Rice. He was hurt. He didn't play week 1 and 2 much at all, and then he got hurt. And then they tried to reportedly maybe even try to flip him for a conditional pick and trade him. They weren't able to do that. He's been activated through the IR 21-day practice window or whatever it's called. And why not see if he can't get a few snaps and see what he can bring to the table? I understand he's not ever going to be a stud, but the guy did have 600 yards for the crappy New York Giants last year.
Might turn out that there was just no one to throw for there, or throw to there, but yeah, I get the point.
What was Pacheco's over-under this year for rushing?
It was 8 or no, something? 7 something. We talked about his number. We all liked his over. Remember?
Through 9 games, he is at 525 yards.
Yeah. We all loved his over.
He is well on pace for that. And I feel like he's the guy that if they utilize him, he can become, because was it one of you guys or was it Nate that said he is a top 10 running back in the league? He is one of the best running backs in the National Football League.
I'll be honest, I'm not willing to go that far yet, but he's young and talented and fast.
Statistically, he's not there, but it's because they don't utilize him as much as maybe other teams would. So as a result, the production output is not the same with the Chiefs as it might be with somebody else.
Yeah, it was in the 700s, by the way, before the season. So, I mean, barring an injury,
he had 830 or something last year.
Yeah,
he wasn't starting at the beginning of the year.
Right now, he's on pace for 1,300 all-purpose yards, 1,294 all-purpose. We would have all signed up on that pretty quick, right? Before the season, would you have agreed to 1,300 all-purpose yards?
Of course.
It just feels like they could still use him more. Part of the reason those all-purpose yards are up is he has as much receiving yards in 9 games as he had all of last season. So they're using him twice as much there.
The area he's improved the most, yes, it's receiving, but it's his pass protection. His pass blocking skills have improved. They've trusted him more in those situations. Before, on a lot of third downs, he wasn't on the field because they trusted McKinnon to protect him. McKinnon is still a very, very good pass protector, but I think that's where Pacheco's really improved, and in turn, that's also helped him become a better receiver because he's out there on these third downs. He's kind of the safety valve at times, and that's what's led to an increase in receiving yards.
I know we're going to talk about the game last night between the Ravens and Bengals and what it means for the Chiefs, and that the Bengals are liars, clearly, about Joe Burrow's injury before the game in just a moment. Ryan Fitzpatrick had an alternate theory about what could help the Chiefs be better in the second half. You tell me if you think this is a good idea.
This makes sense, Tony. I don't know, but I think the Chiefs need to be beat back. I think that Philly needs to come. Okay. I do. I think that Philly needs to come and just blow the Chiefs out of the stadium. And the reason why is because, and this is my whole, hey, they're going to lose 3 of the next 4, whatever. Was that what it was?
Yeah, I think it's 3 or 4. You're
because their defense has been playing great. Their offense has been very inconsistent. They need a wake-up call. Denver, you could say, hey, look, this was just, it happened. It was a bad game. We turned the ball over a bunch. But if they're going against Philadelphia, they're going to bring their A game, and they get beat up bad. To me, I think that's a wake-up call for this team.
So Ryan Fitzpatrick thinks they need to get their ass kicked to be better. Thoughts?
What is he talking about? No. For an inexperienced team that's never won and all that, maybe. Not for a team that has won more games over the last 4 or 5 years than anybody else in the league. Not for a team that's coming off a championship. Not for a team that has the same head coach. All of it. No, I call complete BS on that notion by Ryan Fitzpatrick that they need to lose and get blown out to wake up. To me, the wake-up call was the Broncos game.
How could it not be? They beat them. They turned the ball over 5 times, were bad offensively, and lost to a team they hadn't lost to since 2015.
And Mahomes just, other than the Super Bowl against the Bucs, doesn't really get blown out.
It doesn't make any sense.
So it just, yeah.
Andrew Whitworth did agree with him afterwards. I said, I think you're right. And then it seems like there's like a national, it might be a national thing. Colin Cowherd thinks that they're going to get blown out of the building on Monday. 34-6, I think was his prediction.
Do we have to go back
multiple times?
Do we have to go through the stats again of how often the Chiefs have lost by 2 scores or more in the time Patrick Mahomes has been the quarterback? Do I really have to drag those stats back up to prove to you that the Chiefs almost never get blown out in an NFL football game under really any circumstance? Here's what's
also,
I don't think I would agree with that under most circumstances. Specifically with the Chiefs, I don't agree with it. They've been to 3 Super Bowls in the last 5 years, and they have won 2 of them. What do they need to relearn about themselves to get their confidence back? They know what they're chasing.
The most points the Chiefs have given up this year was 21 in week 1?
24 to the Broncos.
24 to the Broncos and then 21 against the Lions?
Yeah, every other game.
So they're going to give up 36 to
36.
Get out of here.
Is Philly the number 1 scoring team in the league? That was still probably Miami.
Someone else is right as well. It's Andy Reid off a bye week. Yeah, they're not getting blown out. Give me a break.
Andy Reid off a bye week. The Kansas City Chiefs' history in not being blown out with Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes at quarterback. Philly is the 3rd highest scoring offense right now at 28 points per game. The Chiefs are holding opponents to 7 full points below their average on the season. That would suggest to you the Eagles are scoring 21, by the way, just based on how they're typically doing in any NFL football game. And the Eagles' defense is way worse than Kansas City's. We're talking about the inverse. The Eagles' defense currently ranks 23rd in points per game allowed. And people, as you pointed out earlier this week, will throw against them all the time. They're bottom 5 in pass yards against. They are bottom 5 in passing touchdowns against. They are the number 1 run defense in the entire league as a result of that. So that's not
I feel like that
important.
That makes this one really important for the offensive line as far as it's concerned because they're so reliant on the pass rush in the passing game. If they can protect for Patrick Mahomes, he'll be able to find guys. That shouldn't be a problem because it hasn't been against the Eagles defense. So as long as they can protect against Hassan Reddick and Jalen Carter and all the other guys that they have, then I feel like it's not going to be much of a problem for Patrick Mahomes to do his thing.
It's the same argument as those people be like, well, I don't want my team winning 9 before they go to the NFL playoffs in a row. I want them to lose one so that they can I'm like, no.
Yeah, they needed that loss. Stop.
Nobody needs any losses.
It's going to be a good loss for me if they do lose.
Bullish time, too, by the way, when they've only got a half game lead on the number 1 seed halfway through the NFL season. That's not a great time for a loss. Maybe they had 2 games up on the Ravens, they could take a shot in the teeth and it wouldn't matter, but not when everything matters. And they know. Again, this team is not the team to do that with. If I don't know, maybe you said the Vikings team last year. Maybe it was them, right? If he had made the same take for the Vikings when they were 12-2, and he'd be like, they really need to get their ass kicked so that they can realize they're not as good as they think. Okay, maybe. Not the Chiefs.
And you can't say it when at least one side of the ball has been as good as anybody. It's not like, man, you guys, you're really not that good. You're just finding ways to win. They have a dominant, one of the best units on defense in the league. So that's the other reason why I completely disagree with the logic that Ryan Fitzpatrick is saying. The Chiefs need to get their ass kicked to wake up.
Somebody's pointing out that Taylor will be at the stadium and her entire family and the entire Kelsey family. That was part of actually Colin Cowherd's reason for why.
That is why he thinks it's going to be too much of a distraction.
What's happened with that crap is there are a bunch of idiots at the beginning of the Taylor Swift stuff that said it was a marketing ploy and fake. Then now they can't claim it's that because it's clearly not. Now their take is, well, it's just a distraction for the Chiefs. So the people that were on it's a marketing scheme
They have
employ,
one loss.
they've shifted to now that it's a distraction for a team that, yeah, exactly, Cody, is 7-2. So much of a distraction.
It's really holding them back from having the best record in the AFC.
It's holding Kelsey back. He had, 100 and some yards?
They would have the even better record in the AFC, you know?
So stupid.
I guess Colin Cowherd's take is that they would be undefeated if
That's right.
if Taylor Swift has just not dated Travis this season.
It's a Red Friday here, brought to you by ComCare. Call or text 988 for 24/7 mental health support. Coming up next, we'll get you caught up. What's trending? A lot of injuries out there, and what the past says about the future for the Chiefs and the Eagles on Monday night.
Chiefs fans, it's Scott Moore. Don't miss Cody and Gold weekdays starting at 10 on 610 Sports Radio.
Brought to you by Gann Asphalt and Concrete. For asphalt, concrete, and parking lot maintenance, Gann Asphalt and Concrete. One contractor, all things parking lot. Trusted in Kansas City since 1994. Online at GANNasphalt.com.
Paid actor portrayal.
I didn't see it coming. Life can be so unpredictable. After losing my dad, it made me think about my family if something were to happen to me. The mortgage, car payments, and all the other bills. Even things like our annual summer vacation would be out of reach. I had heard about life insurance through Ethos and how easy it was to get coverage. They were right. I knew it was time to stop putting it off and get life insurance right now. I got on my computer and went to ethoslife.com. In just 10 minutes, I was covered. And boom, family protected. Thanks to Ethos, my family won't have to worry about the bills if the unpredictable happens to me.
Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at getethos.com. That's GETETHOS.com.
Midwest Marine Boat Company is celebrating their new location, now open in Grandview, Missouri. I was just out there a couple weeks ago, and one thing I noticed right away is the additional technicians they now have in their service department. I was talking to some folks there that said, hey, it's great. Some places will tell you, yeah, we can get some work done on your boat, but it's going to be a month. A month, the summertime is already here. You don't have a month to waste of your time on the lake, specifically if you've got that boat you've been waiting to take out for months and months. You know what's nice about Midwest Marine Boat Company? With those extra technicians that they have, they're turning boats around faster. Their service department is just simply more efficient to get you back out on the water. And if you're looking for a brand new boat, come check out the new huge, and I mean huge, indoor showroom at Midwest Marine Boat Company. They have the largest selection of pontoon boats in the area. Also, new lines of Bass Cat, Crown Line, Vexus, and Sea Arc. Midwest Marine Boat Company, the brand new location with a massive indoor showroom at 13800 South 71 Highway in Grandview, Missouri. We take pride in your fun.
I'm Mitch Holtis, voice of the Chiefs. Everyone develops cataracts naturally as they get older. When your vision is affected by cataracts, you should see my doctor, Dr. Steven Silverstein at Silverstein Eye Centers. Dr. Silverstein is a world-renowned cataract surgeon who performs life-changing laser-assisted cataract surgery with premium lens implants to correct your vision up close and far away. Trust my eye doctor, Dr. Steven Silverstein, Silverstein Eye Centers, 816-358-3600 to schedule an appointment.
Hey, it's Kling. If there's one thing we know about this time of the year is that we love to tailgate, whether it's in the parking lot or at home, your one-stop shop should be Hy-Vee for all your party needs. Huge selection of official Chiefs gear, paper goods, and party supplies. Don't forget those Chiefs-themed cookies from the bakery. Take and bake pizzas, buffalo wings, grill-ready favorites, appetizer and party trays, chips and homemade dips like the buffalo chicken with the red and gold tortilla chips. And the Hy-Vee Wine and Spirits Department has your game day beverages. Elevate your home gate at Hy-Vee, the official grocery sponsor of the Kansas City Chiefs.
Score big savings with Hy-Vee and the Kansas City Chiefs. Big points mean even bigger savings. Just shop Hy-Vee the day after a game and earn a fuel saver discount equal to the Chiefs score and based on the amount you spend. If the Chiefs score 42 points, you save 42 cents a gallon with any $42 purchase. The more we score, the more you save. Win or lose, everyone scores the day after a Chiefs game only at Hy-Vee.
Offer valid in store only with lookup code 95345. Some restrictions apply. See store for details.
When people have a craving to explore new and traditional Asian cuisines, they head to P.F. Chang's, where scratch-made dishes come
from the 2,000-year-old tradition of wok cooking. P.F. Chang's wanted to explore new possibilities for their website. They turned to AmericanEagle.com. AmericanEagle.com re-architected P.F. Chang's website, integrating multiple third-party systems to create a unified digital experience. The results? Improved page speed and performance, personalized content based on users' location, intuitive online ordering, an increase in organic search visibility, and a 40% increase in new users. For scratch-made Asian cuisine, visit your local P.F. Chang's or go to pfchangs.com for website design, development, digital marketing, and hosting that produce efficiency, revenue, and results. Visit AmericanEagle.com. P.F. Chang's and AmericanEagle.com. Another example of the best businesses in the world, turning to the best in the business for websites. Go to AmericanEagle.com or call 877-WEB-NOW1. That's 877-WEB-NOW1.
Hey, college basketball fans, come out and watch the ladies hoop it up Saturday at the Casey Muni in a doubleheader. First, Northwest Missouri State versus Rockhurst at 1 p.m. Then Kansas versus UMKC at 3:15. Two great ladies games at Municipal Auditorium this Saturday. Buy tickets at the box office or Ticketmaster.com.
Hey, it's Carrington from The Drive. Do you know what my plan is for Sunday? Well, it's going to the other place to watch all my sports and for the best pizza in town. If you can't make the game, then go to the other place where their game day atmosphere will make you feel like you're sitting in the stands. Check out the other place, Shawnee, Olathe, downtown Overland Park, and opening soon in Mission and Belton.
JR and Company offers a lifetime workmanship warranty on every residential roof. Why? Because our roofers are that good. Kinda makes you wonder about the other guys. JR and Company, home of the free online storm check at jrstormcheck.com.
Hey, have you ever been ripped off? It sucks. Having a daily reminder of it is even worse. If you shave with a well-known big razor brand every morning, you might be thinking more about how much you paid for the blades than about how smooth your shave is. I'm Andy, the founder of Harry's. We give you a high-quality shave and an expertly engineered product for a fraction of the price that the big guys charge, with no compromises. They have 5 blades, Harry's has 5 blades. They have a lubricating strip, Harry's has a lubricating strip for extra glide. They have a trimmer blade, Harry's has a trimmer blade for the hard-to-reach areas. They charge up to $4 per blade. Our German-engineered blades cost as little as $2. Big brands charge higher prices because they can. Harry's keeps you in mind, focusing on high quality at a fair price. So stop rinsing cash down the drain every morning. Get a great shave for a fraction of the price with Harry's. Get a $13 trial set for just $3 at harrys.com/kickoff. That's harrys.com/kickoff.
You're listening to 610 Sports Radio from the Max Motors Studios. Subscribe to the 610 Sports KC YouTube page for exclusive video content from Cody and Gold on your official broadcast partner of the Chiefs and your home for Royals baseball. 610 Sports Radio. KCSB Kansas City. WDAF HD2 Liberty. Always live on the free Odyssey app. What's trending?
All right, let's check in on the hot topics trending.
Number one on what's trending, a lot of injury news in the NFL. Joe Burrow hurt in the game last night. I'm not laughing about that. I'm laughing because this microphone will not stay up in the studio.
Wouldn't be nice of you.
And
Don't laugh
Cody's
at
mic
Joe
is
Burrow.
not on.
My mic's off.
No, Joe Burrow hurt in last night's game. It's a wrist injury of some sort. We don't know the extent of that, but obviously could not grip the football. Looks pretty serious. They lose to Baltimore last night. Also, Baltimore with a big loss. They're tied in. Mark Andrews, initial reports with this high ankle sprain say it could be done for the season. Big blow for one of the best tight ends and certainly the best pass catcher that Lamar Jackson has. On the Chiefs front, Dave Tope says punter Tommy Townsend doing well despite still being listed with a wrist injury. He went on to say, quote, "We have to put everything on the injury report." You hear that, Drew?
Boy, that feels like a shot.
No cheating going on in Kansas City. We put every little thing on our injury reports. Everything. They got a Band-Aid on it. We got to let you know. Again, nobody's saying that they needed to tell us that Joe Burrow was questionable or anything because he's not. But you got to make sure that everybody knows at least there's something there. He's got a wrist injury. That's it. That's all you got to do. Instead, you guys are going to get fined, and we all know you cheat, and you still lost, and now your quarterback might be hurt.
And now you might miss the postseason.
Miss the postseason. But you can look ahead to the draft, like you did earlier, if you want. Look ahead to the draft. That's in April and May.
I hope that we beat you guys so bad with Jake Browning in Week 17.
Probably not going to matter, man.
Jake Browning. It doesn't matter whether it matters or not. If the Bengals win, the Bengals win the game. I do not care.
That's fine. If that's your Super Bowl now, man, that's fine.
No, it is not. I already told you.
We got one in February here in Kansas City when they go out to Las Vegas. not in December.
You guys are too worried about the Bengals.
Yeah, that's fair.
You guys are too worried.
No, I like them being further away from
I'm
the
not
postseason.
worried about them anymore. Don't worry, man.
They've sunk down my list of current concerns, that's for sure. Next up on What's Trending, speaking of teams without a starting quarterback, the Cleveland Browns reportedly working out Joe Flacco today.
There's a solution.
I guess he did a mediocre job for the Jets last year, so fine. I mean, it's probably better than DTR, but is it better than PJ Walker at this point? If you wanted a veteran quarterback, why the hell wouldn't you just start PJ Walker? Would you get 2 days of practice of DTR and you're like, ooh, this ain't going to work, and then call it up, or are you just thinking you want a third quarterback in the room? Either way, it didn't hurt anything. Obviously, they lost to Deshaun Watson for the season. We'll see what happens.
Next up on What's Trending, college football. Big weekend ahead. Sunflower Showdown in Lawrence, KU, K-State. 6 o'clock kickoff. You can hear the game. K-State broadcast right here on 610 Sports Radio. The Wildcats now up to 9.5-point favorites. A lot of speculation whether or not that's about the injury news around the quarterback. Is Jason Bean going to play or not? But right now, you look at the money breakdown for the game. The public is all on KU. The sharps are on K-State. So that's the positions the book is taking right now. But it's gone up from 7.5-point favorites. Also, MU in action against Florida at 6:30.
They'll be without their leading tackler in that game against Florida, but still obviously favored to win. Next up on What's Trending, according to reports, the Milwaukee Brewers are looking to try to trade Brandon Woodruff. You might be like, ooh,
yeah,
starting pitcher.
very
That
good pitcher.
might be, he's been a very good pitcher in his career. Real quick, Brandon Woodruff had off-season shoulder surgery, is expected to miss most, if not all, of 2024, and is in the final year of his contract. Well, yeah. I guess I'd be looking to trade him, too, if he was never going to pitch for me ever again.
Yeah, they're going to cut him.
The only way this deal would make sense, if you actually trade him, is if you trade a nothing, and I mean nothing prospect away from him, take on the salary, but you're going to have to find a way for him to agree to an extension the second he comes over to your organization. If you wanted to do that, play out the, hey, we just signed Mike Minor to a deal, even though he's not going to pitch for an entire season for us, or Chris Medlin, or whoever they've done this with before, fine. You can take your risks there, but generally speaking, it doesn't make any sense. I see where the Brewers are trying to trade him.
Lastly, on What's Trending, you figured this news was going to happen eventually with all the accomplishments and the contracts for coaches happening in Manhattan. Gene Taylor, the athletic director for the Wildcats, just got an extension through 2029, through the 2029-2030 season, paying him a little under $1 million a year. There's also some incentive bonuses built in each year throughout that contract. Well-deserved. I mean, look, this guy, slam dunk hires with Jerome Tang and Chris Kleiman. Both those guys just got extensions. It was time for him to get taken care of for the work that he has done there in Manhattan. That's What's Trending here on Cody and Gold. Coming up at 1 o'clock, Club 610 on a Friday. You guys know how it goes. Presented by Jay Reeker & Co. We're going to have some cocktails, have a good time. We got C. Rob coming in studio. We have our mystery box. It finally showed up in the mail, and we're going to find out
what's in the box
at 1 o'clock today.
Can't
we
wait.
don't know what's in it. We're going to open it up. It's sealed. It was about a $200 box.
Maybe like a Kindle e-reader?
They've promised that
popular.
They claim at least $500 worth of stuff. We still would have to sell it, but we'll see. We've all made our guesses in terms of what's in there. I think it's like one of those Theragun things, but a cheaper version.
What's a cheap Theragun go for?
I don't know, $80.
If we do this again,
And some cell phone cases.
Too.
If we do this again after this, I think we should do the text line I talked about a little bit. Pete offered $25. We should
sell spots.
We need to open up the box, or somebody like Spec has to open up the box,
Yeah.
tell us how many items there are, and then we sell the spots. And no matter
And then you
what
do
it
a
is, you
randomizer.
get.
And then you do a randomizer.
Yeah.
So like each spot one doesn't guarantee spot one. Maybe we do that with the next box, and we sell each spot for $20. And it's great for everybody. And if you get lucky and it's spot 5 and it ends up being
That's
a
right.
Nintendo Switch, then you hit the jackpot.
It guarantees us the profit that we're looking for, or at least something, and then it guarantees listeners a spot.
We definitely would have to have somebody open the box
Ahead of time to
and
tell
give
us the number of
number.
items.
Yeah.
Or if we just know how many items are this one, at least we can guess, right? If there's not a 14th box, 14th
Each
item,
box
you
would
get
be
refunded.
different, though.
But we could start lower, and then the other items would be ours. I like this from the 816. I hope the third item is a pair of women's size 7 slippers. What if that fits his
Dude, it could
his
be
girlfriend?
This box could be anything.
Christmas
We've gone
for
through
Pete.
it. Literally, it could be anything in there. Anything.
Yeah, I'm.
It's
I
anything.
don't know.
Everything.
I don't know what it is. I'll
is
be
on
honest.
the table except for perishables. Everything else is on the table.
The cheapest like off-brandy Theragun you can get is like $30, but yeah, even like the secondary price ones are like $50, $60, $70 with the real ones.
Like it could be the electric hand warmer in there. It could be a scarf. It could be cell phone cases. It could be a screen protector. Like it could be anything, man.
Just as long as we don't lose our complete ass on this, we can
That's
probably
also a possibility.
we can probably do a second box and sell spots and open them on the air.
I hope we get a wrist brace in there. I hope we get one. I hope
if we get one,
We get
I'll
an
open it up and I'll
iPad
put it on
glove,
right
something
now.
I've never heard of before, and all of a sudden
a wrist brace.
You
And
have to buy it.
We'll give it to you.
You have to buy it.
No, you didn't have to buy it. You didn't have to buy it.
I
We're
will
giving
open
it
it
to
and
him
put it
to
on.
wear with your Joe Burrow jersey today. We'll give you that.
You're willing
That's
to
his
save
item.
on
He gets
that?
for free, no matter what. It's for free.
Okay.
So
We'll let you know. There might be some things for sale at 1 o'clock today.
That is going to happen. We'll also give you a chance to win a free pizza from our friends over at the other place coming up in about 20 minutes or so. But it was interesting to hear some comments on the Eagles side of things compared to what the Chiefs are saying about this game on Monday night, right? And we know what happened in the Super Bowl, but hearing players like Jordan Mailata, very talented offensive lineman from the Eagles, talk about this being a revenge game.
Kansas City Chiefs. You looking forward to the game?
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really am, man. I really am. I think for me, it's a little bit more personal than some of my teammates. Just because the last time we faced them. But we're always going to keep the main thing, and that's going to 1-0 every week and sticking to a game plan. But personally, I'm taking it personal. I know Nick's going to come in this week and say, same game, same process.
Right.
Stick to the process. But I'll never forget that red and gold confetti falling on my head. I'll never forget those emotions from that day. I'll never forget. I haven't even watched the film in that game. Besides, getting the corrections from start.
Sure.
I haven't rewatched the game.
The game, yeah.
It's hard for me.
Not watching the film, that's very common for any sport when somebody loses a championship. Usually you just don't go back.
Have you rewatched the Tampa Bay Buccaneers?
Hell no, I have no desire. I'm talking about even from a coaching end. There's a lot of, I think
I'm just saying, you're a fan, and I'm like, I've never gone back and watched that game.
Yeah, there's plenty. I mean, when KU's gotten bounced early in NCAA tournaments, I think Bill Self's acknowledged a lot of times he didn't go back and watch the second round exit or whatever. That stuff has happened.
Well, the teams are different. Once you're knocked out, the team's not the same as the team for next year. There's plenty of film you can watch to learn something about your team and figure this out.
But that mindset Jordan Mailata had is definitely there's plenty of guys in the Eagles locker room that are viewing this as a revenge
They're
game.
be out for blood.
And that's where the Chiefs have to match that intensity. And I think it's at Arrowhead, okay? It's Monday night. Taylor Swift and the family's in the building. All right, it's a super bye week as far as I'm concerned that the Chiefs are coming off of.
They're hearing all the noise about how their offense is garbage. They're hearing that. There's just no way. And it's not garbage, but that's the public perception of what they're hearing when it gets back to their office. Matt Nagy was talking to the media a few minutes ago and said that turnovers and penalties were the two things that stood out the most when they did the self-scouting process during the bye week. They are plenty motivated. And I think they're helped by the fact that this is what you don't have to get up for each individual game when you know that the 1 seed's on the line possibly in games like this. You know that king of the NFL, it helps that the Eagles are the best team in the NFC. You're going against the other best team in the NFL. There's more than enough to play for before you get to all the ancillary stuff. But I also think they should be thinking about this as this is a team we might face in the Super Bowl. This is a real test for us now, more than, remember when we played them in the previous one. You should be looking ahead. Future Super Bowl, this might be your opponent. And you should be thinking about carrying yourself against a team of that caliber.
So that part, I don't know if, I agree with everything up until then. I don't know if you're, maybe fans can, but if you're the Chiefs, I don't think you're looking at hey, this is a team we might play again in a couple months. I don't think they're worried about that. Fans, we can do that and say, hey, this might be a Super Bowl preview and all that, and it very much could be. I don't think anybody in the Chiefs locker room is saying, hey, man, we got to perform well on Monday night because we might see them in 3 months. I don't think that has any bearing on the team. That's a fan and media-driven thing. Yeah. I think it does set the narrative, though, right, and how people are going to talk about these two teams. I'm with you there. The next couple months, depending on what happens on Monday night, sets the narrative for Jalen Hurts and Mahomes in this MVP race. They're both co-favorites in a lot of spots. And fair or not, it could differentiate the odds quite a bit.
I remember talking about this absolutely will decide who the MVP favorite is the rest of the season.
Very good chance it does, yeah. And just how everybody talks about, let's say the offense still doesn't do anything better on Monday night. People are going to say, okay, well, they didn't do it through the bye week. Now I definitely don't think they're going to fix it. Or on the opposite end, all of a sudden,
they show up.
The offense shows up in a big way. then it changes everything. It's a big narrative swing for the rest of the back half of the season for both of these teams. No matter what happens, whoever
it's crazy.
wins.
It's an NFC and AFC loss for these two teams. So
that's what I'm saying. Like, whoever wins or loses, like, it doesn't change the actual. Like, Philadelphia can lose by 10. I don't think anybody thinks Philly sucks. The Chiefs can lose by 10. Nobody should think the Chiefs suck. Like, it doesn't have.
Still get the one seed in their respective conferences.
But it's to me just narrative stuff the rest of the way. And I think Chiefs fans in particular are just trying to still wait to see and believe, is there a chance that the wide receivers can elevate? And this is the next test to believe. And I think a lot of people will firmly say it's just not going to happen if after the bye week it still doesn't happen. Because, like, I've been able to say the last couple weeks, like, all right, the bye is the reset. The bye is the reset for this coaching staff to reevaluate. If they come out of the bye week, even though it's going to be against a very good team, and it looks just like the old wide receiver stuff and the issues, it's going to be very hard for me to still say, well, they got 2 more weeks to figure it out or 3 more weeks to figure it out.
You know, the last 2 weeks have really hurt the narrative on the Chiefs offense. Before that moment, Gold, we were having the conversation. They were like 7th or 8th in the NFL in scoring. Like, they were not as good as they normally are, but they also weren't 12th. And there's a big difference in your brain between they're the 7th best scoring offense in the NFL and things can get better to over the last 2 weeks because of their inability to score points. 13th in the NFL. There's just a big swing in that feeling. If they can just go back, I'm never looking for them to be a touchdown better than, like, because that's what they are. They're about a touchdown worse than they were last year. I'm not trying to recoup all those points. If they are 2 points better per game than they are now, they're back where they were. They're the 7th best offense in the NFL with the league's best defense, and we're all good here. What's fine, and I know that they've changed. That's changed a lot from where I was earlier in the year. I no longer need them to get back into the top 5. I'll still call it a disappointing year, and they're playing at wide receiver, and all this stuff was flawed, and that's caused all the problems at wide receiver. But they absolutely are the best team in the NFL if they are the 6th or 7th best offense the rest of the way and maintain this level of defensive play. The fear always is there's positive regression all the time, as you pointed out. What about regression on the defense? It's not negative regression happens too. If they fall to, we think they're the best defense in the NFL, to they're the 4th best defense in the NFL, and they're still the 10th best, there's other ways this can turn. That's what's scary about this first game against Philly and all the time they've had to get ready for it.
Yeah, and just at the same time, though, you do recognize what's happening across your own conference. Yeah. And during what's trending, we were mentioning, of course, the Burrow injury last night, the Ravens dealing with Mark Andrews. I mean, it's valid to be concerned about the wide receivers, no doubt. But you're going through
AFC seems
and right now, just look at the standings. Go one by one. Baltimore. All right, well, they've been inconsistent, and now their top pass catcher might be done for the season in Mark Andrews. You keep going to the next division leader, Jacksonville. Very inconsistent, still unproven. Trevor Lawrence didn't take the leap everybody thought. All right, that's another team that you might have to deal with. You keep going down, AFC East, the Dolphins can't beat the top competition. Can that offense travel on the road? That defense has got some issues. You keep going through the wild card teams right now.
Bills and Bengals might not make it.
Bills and Bengals may not make it, and they each have their own issues, to say the least. And then you go and look even the teams that are slated to be in currently. A team like Houston, they're on the rise. Stroud looks like the real deal, but it's a rookie quarterback and a rookie head coach. Pittsburgh, the offense nobody's sold on, all right? And then Cleveland. Right now, they're down to eventually maybe going with Joe Flacco.
It does feel
they
like,
signed today.
Especially if they win this game on Monday, everything is going the Chiefs' way. In the AFC specifically. Because in the AFC, they were supposed to have maybe a little bit of competition with the Chargers. They've been nowhere close. Then the teams that we know have been competition have both had enough major injuries somewhere and now enough losses that there's a real chance they might miss. Miami is the only one that if you hadn't played them, you could at least envision in your head the difficulties that might come up in guarding type. You played them.
Yeah.
You saw how you beat them. You saw how you beat Jacksonville. I think it was 2 days ago I came in here and I said, look, there's not real clear separation between like the Chiefs and a lot, and we were talking AFC goulash and all that stuff. But if there's no Mark Andrews, this conversation is very different, and Joe Burrow misses several weeks, then I'm willing to have a very different conversation on it's the Chiefs. Wait a second. And then there's the rest of the AFC mess, because it's going to be a lot different if there are major injuries that impact these other teams.
Do you guys still think Cincy makes the playoffs? Like, I know in fair is the fair part and the out here is just that we don't know if Burrow's done for the year or not. I don't care if he's out for 1 week or out for the season. The answer is no now. They're at 5-5. We know at minimum he's missing one. I'm sorry, like at minimum he's missing one game. There's no way he's coming back in 10 days. So, no, look at that schedule. They have the toughest or second toughest schedule the rest of the way.
Every
I think
single
they're
team
done.
they face is either 500 or has a winning record the rest of the way. Steelers are above 500. They play them twice. The Colts are 500. The Jags are over. The Vikings are around. I think they're around or above 500. And then the Chiefs and Browns. They don't have a losing team left on their schedule, and their starting quarterback can't grip a football as of last night.
The divisional race is officially over for them, and they're still behind the Steelers and the Browns. And we don't know if Burrow's going to miss one game or he's going to miss the final
and the Texans.
7.
If he misses 2 more games, they're done. If he misses 1 week, there's still a chance.
So you think they could get to fall to 5 and 6? Burrow doesn't play next week, and then still recover from that, basically win out?
Yeah.
With that schedule?
I mean, 10 and 7. Does that not make the playoffs in the AFC?
Well, no, the record adds up. I'm just saying, do you think they're capable of pulling that off with the schedule? Let's say they lose to the Steelers because they don't have Burrow next week. So, okay, they're 5 and 6. Then you're telling me that
Higgins due back?
They're going to, well, he'll probably be back next week. But you're going to have Jags, Colts, Vikings, Steelers, Chiefs, Browns. You think they're going to win all those games?
They might be able to. I mean, they won 8 in a row last year to get to the playoffs.
You would have to admit this is not the same team, though.
Yeah.
I think it's the same team. It's just the place they put themselves in terms of conference record and division record is the reason why they will miss the playoffs if they go 10 and 7.
I think
if they went out, if he misses 2 weeks and they go 10 and 7, that would get you in. But the fact that they're 0 and 3 in the division now and they're 1 and 5 in the AFC, that is what's killed them.
That's the biggest problem the Bills have, too. They have 5 AFC losses. You can't win a single tiebreaker against anybody.
That's why I think
10 and 7 might not get you in if you don't have a single tiebreaker.
If he misses 2, then they're done for sure.
I think the Bills, Chargers, and Bengals are all missing the postseason. I don't think a single one's making it. I asked Pete that question earlier. I can ask it to you too, Gold. Do you think any of these 3 teams make the postseason? The Buffalo Bills, the Los Angeles Chargers, or the Cincinnati Bengals? And I think they all miss.
I think the Bills would be the one that still has a chance. Bills would be the one I would still think has a chance.
Because offensively, they're not as bad as people think in their head.
Correct.
I think the Chargers could do it out of those 3. I don't know if the
still under
Bills can do it.
500. I just can't get there with them.
The problem with the Bills is the same thing.
Yeah.
Look, they can beat the Jets on Friday, certainly.
Rough, yeah.
But then they have the Eagles on the road, the Chiefs on the road, the Cowboys at home, the Chargers on the road. I mean, that's...
And as you said, they're already...
brutal.
That's the thing. I don't think any of the 3 do, but if there was one that I feel better about, it's the Bills.
And all 5 of their losses are against AFC teams.
Right, exactly. Yeah, the Bills are in the same position, as you said, with the Bengals, which is why I don't think...
I think they're all
because the
missing.
Bengals technically have that tiebreaker over the Bills. Say they both went 10 and 7, the Bengals get in and the Bills don't. So the Bills are already behind the 8 ball there as well.
I think
if that even did happen.
I think the Texans, I think some combination of Browns, Texans, Steelers are going to be the 6 and 7 seeds.
Pete said the Raiders get in, too. That was interesting.
They're losing 5 in a row.
I am not willing.
That was interesting.
We just talked about difficult schedules. The Raiders doesn't get easy either.
I told you they're losing the next 5.
Miami Chiefs 2 in a row.
I don't know if I'd...
You should parlay it. Can you parlay it?
If we know...
Can you money line parlay that?
I can just keep rolling it over. I think they're losing the next 5. They're going to lose to the Dolphins. They're going to lose to the Chiefs, the Vikings, the Chargers, and then the Chiefs again.
You should just agree right now. This is a fun thing that people talk about all the time. Like, well, if you'd started betting and rolled over, just take $10. Take $10.
Problem is, there's no on the.
Well, but in the rolling over, there is in the long term. For the first game, Gold, you're right, there isn't. But take $15, $20. Put it or $10. Put it on the money line. Let's take the $16 you get back in return, the $10, right? Take that $16 and put it on the Dolphins money line, then the Chiefs money line, then the Vikings money line, then the chart. Just roll through. That's all.
If Joe Burrow is not good, say he's out for at least 4 weeks. Yeah, say he's okay. I think the Houston Texans, you can guarantee they make the playoffs, and you can, I would say, maybe even lock them into that 5 seed because their schedule is so much easier.
They're only getting back in their division.
That and their schedule is so much easier than Pittsburgh, so much easier than the Browns, so much easier than the Bills. I mean, it's.
What can you get right now to bet the money line?
To 11.
It's not worth it. I bet 10 to win $1. I mean, the whole thing's.
Only $1?
Yeah, because the Dolphins are minus 900. It's not. It's not worth it. I get what you want me to do, and I do believe they're going to truly lose 5 in a row. But it's not betting wise. It's not going to work unless I'm.
The first one? Can you just take the spread, Miami on the spread, and then try to roll it the rest of the way?
I don't like that.
I know. I'm just trying to figure it out. If you could parlay it right now, it's worth it. But you can't really parlay 5 straight games that way.
Says the Bengals are 5 and 6 since the Burrowhead stuff.
Is that true?
I don't know. We haven't confirmed that. We have to go back and check. Sounds about right.
I mean,
Burrow had.
I mean, 4 of those he's been hurt.
So still Bengals 5-6,
and he's played in every game. I don't care if he. That's the whole thing about hurt is one thing. Like if a player is missing, I view it a little bit differently. But if they were well enough to start at NFL quarterback for all of those games, you got to wear some of the wins and losses in that.
Yeah,
right?
I base it
Patrick
off
Mahomes
of
had a high ankle sprain and was 2-0 with it, right? But
yeah, but if he would have lost, people would have said the ankle would have been prohibited them or hurt their chances.
Yeah, but we're talking about 11 games. I mean, for one game, I don't disagree with you.
It was also Mike Hilton that said the Burrow head stuff. That's how that whole thing started.
Well, so hey man, he's on your team. You got to own. That's why players in the locker room have an issue. Like Justin Reed made comments. It reflected poorly on the entire locker room. It's not just Justin Reed.
Also,
that's how that stuff works.
I still can't believe that they're trying to claim that they did not cheat the injury report.
The
Man's wearing a brace.
There's one workaround. There's one workaround. I was thinking about this over the break.
What's the workaround?
Joe Burrow got the brace out of caution. Didn't say anything about it, but his hand was hurting. Didn't say anything about it. He wanted to power through it, work through it, practice through it. Had the brace on it just because he wanted to just make sure if he bumped it, he knew what was going on, but he never told the team. Now maybe that's a Joe Burrow problem. I don't know. And maybe the Bengals legitimately didn't know too much about it. I have no idea.
This is worse than the Home Alone conspiracy. There's just no way
Okay.
he kept this.
Or-
I don't know. Did he really? I mean,
So then why did they delete the social media
secret
video?
injuries?
Why did
Because
delete
they
this?
knew
What's,
that-
What's
because-
what are Bengals fans using as the reasoning for that?
Oh, I don't. I'm not making an excuse. I'm trying to just give you something that I'm trying to create a conspiracy
All
theory right now.
All right.
Do I think he was
I'll
hurt?
think about it.
Yes, he was hurt during the Houston game. I sent you guys a play.
Yeah.
Chris Long said that his arm got sandwiched between two Houston Texans players after throwing a pass. I mean
based on the
that-
Bengals,
that
he was
alone.
healthy actually. Though there was no injury report mentioning.
Yeah, I still think that whole thing is really interesting. How he had to have hit it for them to not know, or they legitimately didn't want to. But there's no reason for them not to put him on the injury report, though. I don't get what they would have done by that.
Teams do it. Falcons got fined for it earlier this year. Bill Belichick is why they had to put that out in the first place. They didn't want
Competitive
their
advantage.
biggest. It makes all the sense in the world in this game. They didn't want their single biggest competition in the division and the game that mattered maybe the most to them all season to know that their quarterback was hurt.
It didn't. It wouldn't have mattered though. Even if they did know, what are they going to do?
What's it more?
The Ravens don't do anything differently. I don't think in that game.
Yeah, probably not.
The offensive line is shaky. The defense is terrible.
Yeah, well played, Text.
You got a cigar of your own, I see. Yeah, I'm smoking the Joe Burrow. You smoking on the Joe Burrow? I'm smoking on the Joe Burrow.
No victory cigars happening in Cincy.
Also, the whole thing about Logan Wilson being dirty, you guys are out of your minds.
I was just
You
doing
got-
that to Prod.
Oh, my gosh.
Logan Wilson, I'm just saying, involved
Oh,
in the
my
tackle
gosh.
on Mark Andrews. Logan Wilson involved in the tackle of Lamar Jackson.
He has not been penalized once.
Such a dirty player.
Someone should have play where he was like, he's practically Draymond Greening a defender.
He has not been penalized once
Man,
for a personal foul call.
Vontez
Once.
Burfict can leave Cincy, but you can't get that attitude
Oh my
out
God.
of there.
He is
you can't get it out.
He's single-handedly the one player that I think anybody would single-handedly trade in any. Yes, he was great, but my gosh, he was also very, very dumb.
All right, coming up next, we're going to give you a chance during the break. You want to be the 8th caller. Actually, 9th, Joe Burrow. 9th caller to 913-586-7610.
I'm going to count him, too.
610. We'll hook you up with a large pizza from the other place. Up next, though, what Chris Jones had to say yesterday got us thinking a little bit more about the production that hasn't been there recently. We'll also get you the random question of the day here on Cody and Gold.
There's Kelsey to the end zone.
Cody and Gold brought to you by Gann Asphalt and Concrete. For asphalt, concrete, and parking lot maintenance, Gann Asphalt and Concrete. One contractor, all things parking lot. Trusted in Kansas City since 1994. Online at GANNasphalt.com. Don't miss the Chiefs Red Half Hour every day at 11:30 on your official broadcast partner of the Chiefs, 610 Sports Radio.
Inside the Huddle is brought to you by Blue KC. Live healthy with Blue KC.
Your attention is precious. Pulled in a million directions for a million different reasons. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Kansas City works hard to make sure your health insurance isn't one of the many things distracting you from what's important. By making healthcare easier to navigate, we help keep your focus on the moments that matter most. Like dinner with loved ones. Letting you focus on you. That's the benefit of Blue. Learn more at bluekc.com.
Well, it's a Red Friday right here on 610 Sports Radio, and also with my friends over at The Other Place. Make The Other Place your sports watching headquarters with 3 great Kansas City locations, Shawnee, Olathe, and downtown Overland Park. Plus, they're opening up a new one in Mission and Belton.
Join Yingling and Johnny's Tavern this November to support Loggers for Heroes. Join Johnny's Tavern to give back to local KC vets and register to win a Yingling prize pack, including a tailgate couch, large wooden Yingling bar sign, tickets to the Chiefs Christmas game, and so much more. Yingling, America's oldest brewery, is proud and thankful for Kansas City's servicemen and women. Visit any of your local Johnny's Taverns in the KC Metro to enter to win. This contest is powered by our friends at Yingling and 610 Sports.
It's touchdown Kansas City when you sell your home to RexBuysKC.com. I am Mitch Holtis, voice of the Chiefs, and no company pays more than Rex, with instant cash offers and your money in as little as 7 days.
That's right, Mitch. I'm Rex, owner of RexBuysKC.com, your locally owned home buyer. We'll buy any house regardless of condition. Distressed or damaged homes, it doesn't matter. Call us now at 816-330-6000 for the best offer and instant cash.
Score a touchdown, Kansas City with Rex, and get a fair, honest deal. Facing divorce, bankruptcy, thousands in repair bills, needing to move fast, being foreclosed, or just wanting cash fast? Then contact Rex now to get your money in as little as 7 days.
We help homeowners solve their problems with options on how they can sell their home. We have no fees, no closing costs, no commissions, no open houses. We buy your house as is.
Sell your home today, worry and hassle-free, no matter what the condition, and get your money in as little as 7 days.
Call us right now at 816-330-6000 or go online to RexBuysKC.com and let us buy your home today.
Finding an attorney can be an overwhelming process. Fortunately, since 1996, Mark Ferguson has helped thousands of Kansas Cityans during their time of need. Whether you're facing a traffic violation or a more serious crime, Mark and his team of seasoned, compassionate professionals are here to fight for you in all of your legal matters. Mark has built his career on integrity, knowledge, and an incredible reputation. Call Mark Ferguson at 816-203-2263. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements. Inside the Huddle with Cody and Gold, each day from noon until 1 on 610 Sports Radio. Inside the Huddle is brought to you by Blue KC. Live healthy with Blue KC on the official radio partner of the Kansas City Chiefs. 610 Sports Radio.
If you or someone you know is suicidal or experiencing a mental health or substance use crisis, 988 provides connection to free confidential support. There is hope. The Lifeline works. For 24/7 support, just call, text, or chat 988. Sponsored by ComCare and Rediscover.
Ad paid for by the Sentinel Group. Attention Marines, military personnel, families, and contractors who were stationed at Camp Lejeune. Were you present at Camp Lejeune between August 1953 and December of 1987? You may be entitled to significant compensation. For nearly 34 years, those in the Marine Corps' base Camp Lejeune were exposed to contaminated drinking water, resulting in devastating injuries, including several forms of cancer, adverse birth outcomes, Parkinson's disease, and more. North Carolina's procedural laws have prevented victims from getting the justice they deserve, but passage of the Camp Lejeune Justice Act of 2022 would allow you or a loved one to file lawsuit seeking compensation for illnesses and injuries linked to the toxic water. Call today for your free consultation. 800-439-4252. Let our experienced attorneys fight to get you the compensation you deserve, and you pay nothing unless there's a recovery in your favor. Call 800-439-4252. That's 800-439-4252. Again, 800-439-4252.
Dell's Black Friday event is their biggest sale of the year. Shop limited time deals on laptops like the stylish, innovative XPS 13, engineered to do it all on the Intel Evo platform. Plus, save big on ultra-sharp monitors and top brand accessories. It's the perfect time to upgrade any home, business, or gaming setup powered by Intel Core processors. Shop now at Dell.com/deals to take advantage of huge savings and free shipping. Again, that's Dell.com/deals.
This Thanksgiving at Total Wine & More, find Pinot Noirs and Cabernets that you adore. Our helpful guides are so friendly and nice. So many bottles to try at the lowest price. So gather with friends as you sit down to eat. Grateful for all who made Thanksgiving complete.
With the lowest prices for over 30 years, you'll always find what you love and love what you find. Only at Total Wine & More.
Drink responsibly, B21.
The 610 Sports Radio phone line is brought to you by Onder Law Injury Lawyers. Visit getjim.com.
25 minutes away from Club 610 here on a Friday, presented by Jay Rieger & Co. We'll have C-Dot in studio, Rob Brin in studio, all from The Drive. Plus, sounds like the boss, Spec, going to help us out a little bit with our mystery box that has returned items. They're not supposed to be damaged, but returned items from Amazon, Walmart, Target. We bought this mystery box out of our show fund. It was $200, and we're going to find out what's in it. We have no clue. And to make it easier and fair, et cetera, we're going to let the boss open it up. So that way there's no weird stuff saving an item till the end. And he's going to grab the items as they go.
And I want to be surprised. I would hate if I could see inside and kind of knew what was coming. I want to be surprised by the box.
So that's happening at 1 o'clock today.
So setting up the camera, so we're good there. By the way, the drink today for Jay Rieger is the monochromatic. Okay. So it's a whiskey-based drink. It has some cafe amore. I know you're a big coffee guy, but mixed in a drink, it'll be a little different. Sherry, dry curacao, simple syrup. A little more few more ingredients than I normally do for a Club 610.
We'll get the drink poured before we open the box. Seems like a good idea.
Yeah, well, I pre-mixed some of it because I knew we had the box.
Perfect.
So I've put some of the ingredients already together in preparation of that I can shake it over ice so that we can do it. And you know what? Because we had the box opening, it was a big deal. I brought the big cube ice cubes.
Good.
I brought the big cubes this week. I thought, let's do it right if we're going to open our mystery box that cost us a huge chunk of our show fund. So let's find out what we got. It's going to be a real mystery. We've all made our predictions. We'll have to make Carrington and Rob make predictions.
Yeah, we'll get that.
As well.
We'll do that. So that's coming up at 1 o'clock. We'll get to the random question of the day also here in about 8 minutes or so. But back to the Chiefs for a little bit here. And Chris Jones. So we heard from Chris Jones yesterday, and he was talking about second half of the season, said, hey, I'm not worried about my numbers. Don't worry. I'm not worried about my numbers. I'm going to hit my numbers, which has to do, of course, with his bonus. A lot of this
I love his confidence,
is
too.
Incentives. And and he is very, very confident. And the questions were coming up about not getting sacks and where is he at with this defense. And I think so much of that is based off of how we judge defensive linemen is strictly off of the sack numbers. And he's making $30 million this year. So, 7 sacks will not be good enough. I also don't think he's finishing with 7. He's got 5. My guess is he's going to finish with 10-plus sacks when it's all said and done.
I agree.
But what he does for Karlaftis and Dana, and Turk Warden, and Memenahue, and why they're all having great years. He even acknowledged in one of the cuts yesterday that one of his jobs is to make sure Mike Dana has a career year, to make sure I think the other name he gave was Turk Warden has a career year.
Okay, so they're third in the NFL in sacks. So are we sure we want to complain about Chris Jones' sack numbers right now? They're third best. The team that is first has played a full game more than them, although they have quite a bit more, or 2 full games. Have the Ravens had their bye week yet? No, they're 8-3. So the Ravens are number 1. They have played 2 full games more than the Chiefs. Now, based on the number of games, the sacks, whatever, they'd be above it. And only one other team sits between them. Chris Jones is the reason why. I very rarely on this show, we openly mock usually on this show, the old 22, going back and watching the tape. But I went back through part of the Miami game because I was realizing how impressive that performance was because it feels like a lifetime ago we watched the Chiefs play. I'm like, geez, okay, it's been so long. I got to go back and watch part of a game just to get a sense of where this team is. All right, Miami game. I was like, man, they had no Nick Bolton, and they still held Miami to 21 points. Okay, let me rewind the clock here. Chris Jones was why, man. He makes everyone's life easier. If you're like, how did Karlaftis take such a leap? He's on pace for 13 sacks. Chris Jones. How's Turk Warden having Chris Jones? Chris Jones. That's not the solo reason. Those players have gotten better in their own right. But a huge reason why their job is easy is because Chris Jones is still a dominant player. I just thought about it, and I overplayed yesterday. Way too big of a deal over his sack numbers versus contribution to this team. He is a dominant defensive player. Him and Jalen Carter are going to put on a show probably most likely on Monday because they have very similar skill sets. I was just realizing how overblown it was that he only has 5 sacks, and it's been, 2-3 games since he had one.
Yeah, here's what he said.
So I'm going to hit my numbers. So I never really matter about numbers. I'm going to hit my numbers. So for me to worry about numbers, so 8 games left in the season. Whether I get a sack this game or not, we got 7 more games left. If I get a sack, 7 sacks in 7 games, you do the math. So I'm going to hit my numbers regardless. So I never really trip about numbers.
Yeah, nobody should care until other guys aren't producing and he's not, right? or it gets to a point in the playoffs and you feel like he's not producing that, and the other guys aren't stepping up. But if the other guys are going to step up, it works right now. I think it's just when you have a price tag of $30 million, people expect the sacks. And that's fair. I don't have any issue with that. I still think they get there, though. He's sitting at 5. He's played in 7 games or whatever. 8 games because of the missing one. He's still pacing pretty damn well.
No, it was just overblown. Oh, no, Chris Jones went a couple of games without a sack. How'd the defense perform in those games? Without their star linebacker. Great. They performed great. They don't even miss Nick Bolton right now somehow.
When would you get concerned, though?
Tranquil's part of that, but still.
When would you get concerned? Like if
5 or 6 games, I guess, without a sack, maybe?
Okay.
I mean, if he goes that long, honestly, not if they're allowing 15 points a game. I'll never get concerned. What will I care?
He'll get concerned, I think, at that point, because he can say he doesn't care about the numbers all he wants. He talked about it right afterwards. I don't trip about numbers. I'm going to get my numbers. So you're still worrying. You want the numbers. Like if you're sitting 2 more games from now and you still don't have another sack and we got 5 games to go and you need 7, you're going to start maybe not necessarily getting frustrated, but as long as the defense is playing well and they have through 9 games, I don't see any reason why it wouldn't continue to go the way it's been going.
It's not even affecting future value. ESPN had an article out less than 48 hours ago predicting the contracts for future free agents, and they had Chris Jones at $30 million per year.
Mike Giannetti of Spot Track was on with Carrington yesterday and talked about how that restructure affected Jones' deal and numbers going forward.
Well, nothing happened from his end that made it change. In my opinion, it's still a 3 for $90 extension. Here's the issue, and I have to be a little bit logical with this. That restructure that he took, right, $19.5 million, it can get up to 25. It's probably going to land around $22 million cash this year after a couple of incentives kick in. The second he said yes to that, that's essentially his new price, and that's how a lot of teams and front offices operate, right? If we can get you there, that's where you are now. So has he done enough to say he's no longer a $22 million player, even though he just played that out on 1 year and accepted that role? That's the problem I deal with. So I want to say that Nick Bosa's contract and all these defensive contracts have moved the needle forward, and he should easily be able to slot in at $30 million a year. But I wonder now if that price is now 3 at 75, max 25 a year, and even some of that might be incentive laden because of what he took this year.
This is what's fun about contract projections.
Yeah, and look, go get your money, man. I have no problem with that. And I told you, the minute they didn't get the extension done, I think he's done in Kansas City at the end of this year. And I know you and I had plenty of conversations, like everybody did, before this even restructure happened, like, hey, if he doesn't get it here, is somebody else going to do that? And I said at the time, I don't believe, and we'll see how the free agent market goes, I don't believe that at a year older, somebody else is going to give him the deal that he wanted this year when he's now going to be a year older. I still maintain that. I'm not saying he can't get a huge payday still, but
yeah,
if the Chiefs weren't willing to give him the money when he was a year younger, he's going to be a year older, and we'll see where his final sack numbers end up. I don't know. He could still end up with 14 sacks, but especially if he ends up with like 9.5 or 10, and he's a year older, he's not getting the deal that he thought he was getting a year ago.
No, he's not, but he's still going to be maybe outside of the Chiefs market. A couple of games without a sack is not going to have me panicking about Chris Jones.
Random question.
For you, Gold. For you, Drew. Over in the text line, 913-586-7610. Boy, if you're watching on the stream, you're getting a show. Alex taking his shirt off for the stream.
I had to take the hoodie off. We got a shirt. I had to take the hoodie off. It's hot in
You
there.
showed some chest.
There you go.
You showed a little chest on the stream, I think.
There we go. Viewer discretion advised.
So, this is a family stream, dude.
It's a little
I get asked
warm.
by YouTube all the time if kids can watch this.
It's a little warm, man. We're good now. I got the Cody and Gold shirt on.
Yeah, that's what we want to get some more of, by the way. That's what we're hoping to make enough money on this box. Maybe we can buy some shirts to give away to listeners. But for you, Gold, for you, Drew, over on the text line, 913-586-7610. And, of course, on the streams, if you want, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, Facebook, we're streaming on all those platforms. The question I have for you today is what, if any, product line would you accept regular gifts from a company regarding their products? I'm asking this because a woman had her car literally melt. It caught on fire. It melted. And inside of her Stanley Cup, there was still ice. She shook it. They're going to give her a car. It's a very nice story. But they're like, hey, we're going to send you some Stanley stuff for a while now. So if you had a company that would regularly send you part of their product line, what is the company you would go with? Not food, product. I think my answer, even though you only need so many of them, is coolers. I know this sounds stupid, but hear me out. The reason why, and specifically Igloo, I think it seems like to be the one I go with, but it's fine. I'd be open to others. But
how many coolers can you store?
I know that's a question.
He
But
has
I
8
swear,
decks he can put them on.
I find myself. It's not a good thing. It's like someone with a purse sometimes looking for the perfect one. I often find myself looking for the perfect size cooler for the moment. If they just randomly sent me free stuff, I've got one that holds 6, and then I got a slightly bigger flip top one, and they got a really big cooler. I have like 4 or 5 anyway. If someone would send me regular stuff in that regard, I'd take it. I don't need a new cup. I use the same water cup. I've been using the same water cup for 2 years. I don't need a lot of new cups, but a cooler, I'm interested.
Genius marketing by Stanley to recognize and find that TikTok, this woman's car that caught on fire, as you said, and buying her a car and sending her free Stanley stuff is genius on their part. For me, it's probably like Apple stuff, right? So like I have an Apple Watch, I have a MacBook, I have an iPhone. If you told me that I was just consistently getting new Apple Watch bands or an Apple Watch or new stuff for my laptop or new charging cables or what all that'd be my answer probably.
A new laptop every single year they come out with one. The new iPad.
Stuff like Apple would be the answer.
iPods, headphones.
It's just streamlined. Streamline. I like all the Apple stuff.
Are cars? I mean, the text line is.
I mean,
I don't think cars early on. I was like,
yeah,
get the vibe of it.
Send me a new BMW every 6 months.
Like over on Twitch, Why Not said Carhartt, right? Like, hey, look, they want to send me some new jackets and pants and a beanie here and there. Like, let's go. Milwaukee Tools. Tools is a pretty good one.
Mine is hands down Nike.
Anything Nike.
Sweatpants, hoodies, hats. I am a Nike person. Shoes.
I'm not surprised. I mean, again, like the people who are just like typing in Maserati, Bugatti. Come on.
There were a lot of cars mentioned early.
Stop it. Sony, someone says they want the PlayStation, the electronics.
That's a good one.
I like electronics, but I don't know if I like them enough that like a constant stream of them inside of my house.
That seems fine with me. You want a bunch of coolers, man.
No, I just want like a couple here or there. Whoever I'm partnering with, I just don't want like an endless supply.
Text line's right. What do you need cooler? Are you going to go back to your days where you were transporting hearts to airports? It's an Oregon trafficker.
It is also one of those things that is surprisingly expensive. Like a really nice cooler, shockingly pricey sometimes.
The Yeti coolers are awesome. When I go to the pool in the summertime, I finally invested in a pretty nice cooler because it came in handy.
Yeti?
It's not a Yeti brand. It's a different brand.
Okay.
Text line said if only Nike could send me a bunch of Chief stuff. Well,
I guess
you got
to have some team to pull for in the playoffs this year, right?
That's right.
Be honest for a second, Drew. Do you think your team's making the postseason?
We asked him the question.
No, I already told you.
He said if they lose
if
the next two.
Joe Burrow misses the next 2 games,
right now,
they are not making it. If he misses one, I think they make it.
The question isn't if it's just right to say, like it's not whether or not they lose the next 2. Like I mean, I could
right now I would say no.
Okay.
Somebody said Rolex. That'd be a good one. You know how many watches Rolex has?
Even if it was just one a year, you wouldn't really care.
One Rolex a year.
That one could
maintain their value too. That's one of those that does not depreciate.
Have you ever thought about getting a Rolex?
No.
There is a brand called Nixon. I don't know if you guys know.
Nixon?
Yes.
You like it because of your last name?
My last name. They make watches. They make hoodies. They got apparel stuff too. That I feel like I'm.
How do you not have a deal with them yet?
That's what I'm asking.
I don't think there's anything branded Tap. I don't think that's a brand that exists.
I just want a bunch of gold.
You're just like gold.
You're set.
You and whoever does those advertisements on here for the price of gold. Who's the celebrity? Oh, it's Jim Rome.
Jim Rome. Yeah, why is he doing the ad?
You're getting ripped off.
Yeah, man.
You're getting ripped off on this.
Price of gold. What's the price of gold?
My wife just texted me. She said she owns a Nixon watch.
Yes.
Drew?
Gold futures, $1,984. It's down today. Gold's down today.
Tough.
They have a bunch of different watches.
That would be the best endorsement of all time.
Gold.
If just like
It's gold.
They didn't give you that much. It's just like a tiny nugget, but they're just randomly giving it to you.
It's the most popular precious metal, I think, investment in the world.
Cody, your brand is tap water.
Oh man, no, that's not
tap water. Yeah,
that's not.
That's
is that a brand?
Someone says they want something with massive variety, like Nebraska Furniture Mart. Some place that like
Nebraska Furniture
that
Mart's
would be
incredible.
great.
I mean,
you're not just getting one thing; you're getting a large variety.
That place is incredible.
Somebody says Lululemon men's line. We were talking
That's a good one.
We were talking about pants the other day.
Get Patrick Mahomes a deal, or is he with Skims? Or I think.
Yeah, he's with Skims.
Yeah, never mind. That would be.
People were trying to say that they should have beef because I don't know, maybe Kim Kardashian and Taylor Swift have beef or something.
Yeah, that's right.
I can't track all that. That's way too much. Somebody said Benchmade knives. Man, are they really nice knives?
Maybe we have them in the box.
I'm looking them up. Dude,
three
Benchmade knives are $900. That's a $300 knife. That's more than the kitchen knife I bought. Okay. That's the random question of the day. I just wanted to know. That is kind of an incredible story that they're going to buy that lady a car.
That's all. It's
That's a
genius
really
on their
cool
part,
story.
though. It's genius. Here we are. We're talking about Stanley and their product. Genius. They're going to get so much marketing value off of responding to this
Hundreds
lady.
of millions of dollars,
Yeah,
presumably?
it's going to pay for the car. It's not going to be a big deal.
Cody, do you think I know it's on a Stanley Cup, do you think your mug, if not, I'm not going.
I
I
have
don't
a
wish this
Yeti
on
too,
you.
but
I don't
it's
wish this
my
on you.
home cup.
If your car went up in flames, do you think that cup is surviving?
Cup doesn't hold ice through the entire show. I drink it fast enough that I don't really
It's
care.
not a Stanley. That's why.
Well, I have a Yeti one
that it
that
did
a
that.
former intern gave me that used to have my name on it. That was my regular work cup, you remember, for a while.
Oh, you made your interns give you gifts.
No,
huh?
they just gave me a gift. They were just generous. They loved their internship so much they couldn't help themselves.
No, but the fact that in a burnt car, it was still had full, a
Amazing
Stanley thing full of ice. Pretty wild.
Just looking at other stuff. Now people are just offering us free deals.
You can't do some of those. That'd be against the law.
There's a thing called payola.
Can't just mention random companies for stuff as much as I wish we could. Can't doesn't work that way.
Someone, Cody, invest in a megaphone because he talks so quietly and never yells. Can I defend myself for a minute? I'm not denying that I yell. Everyone who makes fun of me on the text line for it is right. Not going to try to argue the other side of it. I would like to point out that this is how I act in regular life too. Like that I don't just do it on the air.
Say, is that a good thing?
No, it
I
is.
don't just do it on the air.
You're not
Gold.
faking your
This
voice.
is
Yeah.
How I speak under. I sometimes Gold has made a look as our boss was walking through the building, and I was like, "What in the hell?" Like going too loud, taking it up too loud, and like important people were walking through. I would like to defend myself that it's not for show. It is who
it's
I
definitely
really
not.
am.
It's not for show. No.
There are some people who I have met in this industry that definitely change up their voice a little bit.
Yeah, don't change up your
Play-by-play
voice. Don't
announcers
give
in
yourself
particular.
a nickname. All that is stupid. Don't do that.
Someone gives you a nickname, it's a little different.
That's different. But don't give
give
yourself
yourself
a nickname. Don't be phony. Nobody wants somebody that's phony on the radio. Be yourself.
That's all. I just wanted to defend
Just
myself.
advice, people out there.
For what? The 3 people who've decided to get into sports radio?
I got some
trying to make money
got some
off of,
message the other day
trying to
from
make money off a $200 box.
somebody randomly yesterday message wanted to know about getting into radio.
Did you speak at a career day yet, Cody?
I spoke at my son's career day. They were not interested.
Oh, they
you
weren't.
were
Well,
here
they're a
for
bunch
that.
of 6-year-olds.
That's a bummer.
Man, they were bored. And one of the people across was like a same kid who's in my son's class. And she works at Ford as an electrician.
Okay.
And she brought like drills for the kids to use and stuff. I was like, oh my God.
Yeah, hers was fun,
I
entertaining.
I just horrible job.
Did you not bring mini microphones?
Horrible
You should have brought like one of those like karaoke things so they could just talk through the microphone.
Horrible.
Make it
job.
seem like they're on the radio.
I was the worst stop.
Or brought
in
your
that
laptop,
entire
let them
tour.
record their voice, and then you could just have it emailed to their parents.
Someone
They
says,
could
what was
say-
the random question? Nicknames? No, that was not the random question. It was which product would you want to randomly send you part of their product line? That's it.
I think, Cody, I'm surprised you didn't say, I want one of these boxes a month. Send my way.
Oh, dude, that'd be a lot of fun.
One a month.
Oh, that'd be a lot to get rid
A
of.
lot of junk.
We've already decided that if we make some money off of this, we're going to do it like a break box. Are there enough of you that would buy a slot? They probably want to see what's in this first one before they make
Yes,
that
they do.
determination.
Yes, they do.
Spec is going to open it for us. We're going to drink J. Rieger cocktails while we do it. This is our final moment to predict. Although, no, I guess not. We'll let Carrington and Rob predict before we open this thing.
Some updated news on, we were talking about the injuries last night. Looks like ESPN Bet voided a lot of the Joe Burrow bets, and someone's claiming that they're announcing they're going to end up voiding Mark Andrews props. We'll see if that actually.
If they're giving you back Joe Burrow's prop, I mean that was what 7 minutes left in the second half. Mark Andrews was like the first drive. I feel like they should.
The only one I've seen confirmed is the Joe Burrow. You know my stance
I
on this,
had
Cody.
$50
I've already got my
on
bonus
Mark
bet
Andrews,
back.
remember?
Well, yeah, that's not from the ESPN Bet account though, so I don't know if it's real. I think it might be fake. But
They don't owe me anything. I made the bet.
that's what
He
I'm
got
saying.
hurt.
Like, you guys know my thing on that. I can't stand the thought that everybody thinks their bet should get refunded because of an injury. It's called gambling for a reason. There's
A player
risk,
could get hurt.
There's risk involved. Does it suck? Absolutely. Did I have a bet involving Mark Andrews last night and he was hurt in the 7th play? Yeah, it sucks. But like this notion that like you're owed any of these sports betting companies to refund you is a terrible habit to get into. It's gambling for a reason. There's risk involved. You have to know that. If you happen to have the Joe Burrow bet and you got refunded, great. But being upset that they're not refunding the Mark Andrews bets, don't be upset.
Someone's offering double what Pete was offering for item number 3 in the box.
Ooh. I'll have to text Pete maybe because
wait a second.
$50 for one item is nice.
Price just went up.
All right, coming up next, though, Club 610 Friday. We'll talk some Chiefs. We got C-Dot, Rob in studio, and we find out what's in the box.
Cody and Gold, brought to you by Gann Asphalt and Concrete. For asphalt, concrete, and parking lot maintenance, Gann Asphalt and Concrete. One contractor, all things parking lot. Trusted in Kansas City since 1994. Online at GANNasphalt.com. Tune in to hear Andy Reid every Monday at noon, exclusively on your official broadcast partner of the Chiefs, 610 Sports Radio.
Look, it's easy to come up with excuses why you can't accomplish certain things in your daily routine. You're just too busy. We're all very busy. But what if I told you one of those things you really don't have an excuse for anymore is finding out how you can improve your vision? That's because my friends over at Dury Vision have now added virtual consultation. So maybe you couldn't make it in to Dury Vision for the free consultation that I've been telling you about for the last 2 years or so, a consultation that resulted in me finding out I was eligible for LASIK and had a procedure just a couple days later. Now I don't use contacts or glasses. I just see with my own two eyes. Now you can have that consultation conducted virtually over Zoom as well. So you just don't have the time maybe to make an appointment to go inside Dury Vision's offices. Again, just do it from your home. Do it from your office on a break. Whatever it may be, you can have that consultation conducted virtually. Just go to DuryVision.com. You can even take a self-candidacy test online as well, or give them a call at 913-491-3330. That's 913-491-3330, and tell them Alex Gold from 610 sent you.
Your attention is precious. Pulled in a million directions for a million different reasons. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Kansas City works hard to make sure your health insurance isn't one of the many things distracting you from what's important. By making healthcare easier to navigate, we help keep your focus on the moments that matter most. Like dinner with loved ones. Letting you focus on you. That's the benefit of Blue. Learn more at BlueKC.com.
Probably been up the last couple of weeks cleaning your gutters. I had to do that. Got multiple trees, cleaning the gutters. You take a look at that roof, right? Want to make sure that it's still in good shape? Who to trust in Kansas City? Well, how about a locally owned company that has been in business for 33 years in the city and was just voted best roofing company in Johnson County by readers of the Shawnee Mission Post for the 2 years in a row? That's Century Roofing. You can tell them that I, Cody, here at 610 sent you over their way, but Century Roofing is the company you can trust with these installs. Have done over 30,000 roofs in the greater Kansas City area since 1990, so you know they're familiar with it. They can do whichever version you want. You want composite asphalt, concrete, standing seam metal roofing. Whichever type or style you're looking for, they are comfortable and been working with it for years. They offer those free estimates so you can get a sense of where it's going to be and find out why a local company, and especially one with such great experience, is the one you should trust. Schedule your estimate today from KC-based and female-owned Century Roofing and trust the pillars of strength. Go to CenturyRoofingKC.com and tell them that Cody from 610 sent you.
Hi, it's Trey Smith, and in order for our team to get a victory, we need honesty, teamwork, work ethic, humility, and the golden rule. That's why my truck is from the dealer that embodies all those values, Victory Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. And Victory Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram also supports Giving Hope, whose sole purpose is to feed and clothe the needy in Wyandotte County and beyond. Giving back in the highest integrity, that's how Jeff and his team do business. For your next vehicle, visit or go to VictoryChryslerDodgeJeepRam.com.
Hey, it's Kling. If there's one thing we know about this time of the year is that we love to tailgate, whether it's in the parking lot or at home, your one-stop shop should be Hy-Vee for all your party needs. Huge selection of official Chiefs gear, paper goods, and party supplies. Don't forget those Chiefs-themed cookies from the bakery. Take and bake pizzas, buffalo wings, grill-ready favorites, appetizer and party trays, chips and homemade dips like the buffalo chicken with the red and gold tortilla chips. And the Hy-Vee Wine and Spirits Department has your game day beverages. Elevate your home gate at Hy-Vee, the official grocery sponsor of the Kansas City Chiefs.
Score big savings with Hy-Vee and the Kansas City Chiefs. Big points mean even bigger savings. Just shop Hy-Vee the day after a game and earn a fuel saver discount equal to the Chiefs score and based on the amount you spend. If the Chiefs score 42 points, you save 42 cents a gallon with any $42 purchase. The more we score, the more you save. Win or lose, everyone scores the day after a Chiefs game only at Hy-Vee.
Offer valid in store only with lookup code 95345. Some restrictions apply. See store for details.
Outdoor America with Tommy Bench, Saturday mornings on 610 Sports Radio at 5 a.m. and the Odyssey app. This week, Tommy answers your questions. Outdoor America, presented by Wholesale Batteries, the right battery the first time.
What does it mean to be the official information technology provider for the Chiefs? It means everything. Technology Group Solutions makes sure everything runs flawlessly for the millions of fans that attend games and the hundreds of millions of fans that comprise Chiefs Kingdom around the world. Technology Group Solutions can deploy that same dedication, problem solving, and incredible service to ensure your business runs smoothly. Technology Group Solutions, powering Chiefs Kingdom, and ready to do the same for you.
Inside the Huddle with Cody and Gold, each day from noon until 1 on 610 Sports Radio. Inside the Huddle is brought to you by Blue KC. Live healthy with Blue KC on the official radio partner of the Kansas City Chiefs. 610 Sports Radio.
JR and Company offers a lifetime workmanship warranty on every residential roof. Why? Because our roofers are that good. Kinda makes you wonder about the other guys. JR and Company, home of the free online storm check at jrstormcheck.com.
Hey, you already know that there's nothing like a custom design and crafted jewelry treasure from House of Diamonds. A one-of-a-kind creation built from scratch for a one-of-a-kind love. But sometimes you have a need for speed. This is Gene at House of Diamonds, and just in case custom jewelry isn't in the cards, we have a case. Actually, we have 19 cases filled with some of the most beautiful handcrafted jewelry you'll ever see. Earrings, rings, bracelets, pearls, pendants, and fine gemstones. A lot of it we created in our shop. All of it carries our name with the quality and craftsmanship you've come to expect from House of Diamonds. And any item can be tweaked and customized just for you. Think of it as Custom Express. Custom Express or custom from scratch. Get it at locally owned, family owned House of Diamonds. House of Diamonds on the southeast corner of College and Quivira.
Hey, college basketball fans, come out and watch the ladies hoop it up Saturday at the Casey Muni in a doubleheader. First, Northwest Missouri State versus Rockhurst at 1 p.m. Then Kansas versus UMKC at 3:15. Two great ladies games at Municipal Auditorium this Saturday. Buy tickets at the box office or Ticketmaster.com.
Do you hear that? That's the sound of holiday joy at the Home Depot, where you can find everything you need to get ready for the holiday season, like all new festive outdoor decor. Spread more joy this season with holiday decor that is uniquely you, like our new 3.5-foot Santa and Elf inflatable, each just $19.98. Available in-store and online. Get holiday ready right now at the Home Depot. How doers get more done.
Wendy's new breakfast 2 for $3 Biggie Bundles let you create your own delicious combo. Choose from a sausage biscuit, egg and cheese biscuit, small seasoned potatoes, and a medium hot coffee. But it's obvious which combo's the best. Sausage biscuit and small seasoned potatoes. Well, maybe it's the fresh cracked egg and cheese biscuit with a medium hot coffee. Or 2 savory sausage biscuits. Whichever you pick, you can't go wrong. Choose wisely. Choose Wendy's new 2 for $3 Biggie Bundles.
Limited time only. U.S. price and participation may vary. Not valid in a combo. Single item at regular price.
Inside the Huddle is brought to you by Blue KC. Live healthy with Blue KC.
You're listening to 610 Sports Radio from the Max Motors Studios.
Hey, this is Trent McDuffie, and you're listening to the official broadcast partner of the Chiefs, 610 Sports Radio.
KCSP Kansas City, WDAF HD2 Liberty, always live on the free Odyssey app.
All right, it's time for a Club 610 Friday presented by Jay Rieger & Co. Alex Gold, Cody Tapdrew, Nixon with you. We got C-Dot and Rob from The Drive. Of course, they'll be on the air coming up at 2 o'clock. We've got the boss, Steven Spector, in studio. He's not going to talk, he said, but he is going to open our mystery box. Before we get to the mystery box, what's the cocktail you're making?
Monochromatic from Jay Rieger & Company. It's a whiskey-based drink. And then it's got simple syrup, so just like sugar, and then dry curacao and sherry.
Okay.
And Cafe Amaro from them as well. Got a little bit of everything. It's going to be good.
Sounds kind of fancy.
Oh,
sounds like a fancier cocktail today.
Why? Because it's got sherry?
Do you think
Carrington's shaking his head? What's the problem?
This is one of the worst Club 610s that I've been invited
Why?
on. The last one that was Dom Perignon.
Well,
we had a,
you know.
we had a very
sorry.
attractive woman that was handing it out. Today, Spector's here, and we're drinking Coffee and Coke. This doesn't sound like a good.
We're gonna open a mystery box. Is that not cool for you?
We're gonna find out while Cody's making that. Let me explain again. So
this is the Sam Howell of Club 610. This is just not a.
So not that bad. There's definitely worse.
Yeah, okay, all
top
right.
5 fantasy.
Still getting done.
Yeah. Top 5 fantasy football quarterback this year, Sam Howell. Thank you very much.
There's still liquor being served, so it can't be that bad. But it ain't that great either.
That's right. So a couple weeks ago, you guys know we do the show fun stuff, right? We sell T-shirts that you've purchased before, like the Taylor Swift shirts, Carrington.
Yeah,
and so some of that
75% markup. I want it for y'all price.
We're not buying them. We're buying them at cost.
I pay full price.
Well, not necessarily.
Yeah, why are you now we're
at
buying
cost.
it?
You're not paying full price. It costs anyway. And so with the show fun, Cody wanted to buy a pallet. Wanted to buy a pallet of returned Amazon items. We said we're not spending $500 on a pallet. We compromised. We decided to do this liquidated mystery box. It's a $200 box. It's supposed to have returned items from Amazon, Walmart, and Target in it. We have no idea what's in it. It's been sealed for the last couple days. Spec's gonna open up here in just a second as he's passing out drinks.
So where do
Spec's
you guys,
now become a waiter.
Yours, Drew.
Where do you guys buy a
Where do you get
used-
these ice cubes from? Is what I want to know.
Get a fancy
Made
ice
them in this
tray.
mold. I just bought like an $8
You can buy
silicone
those.
mold.
I have a
I
fancy
didn't know
ice tray at home.
Maybe we'll end up with some molds in the box here. You can buy them on Amazon or something. See
Yeah,
that?
the real. I mean, I asked you before the segment started. I'm like, hey, if I want to buy something that's in the box, and you were like, yeah, market that. Like,
I was willing to give it to you for less than that.
I gotta pay retail.
Maybe we'll see.
Okay.
I got Amazon pulled up because I want to know what the things are.
Yeah. Text line
I'm
says.
searching
This
live.
is sad.
Text line
man.
says Carrington. Of course, out of all people to complain about the free drinks, you.
This is a business opportunity for this
I mean,
show.
this is the third
we want to
time-
buy Cody and Gold T-shirts to give away to people.
And I
can't afford that right
I've
now.
always support everything that you guys have done. I've supported.
Yeah.
When you guys had a toy drive, I bought Connect 4. I came up there to give you a little trouble
Appreciate
for the
it.
kiddos.
Hey,
trouble
we
for
could
the
have some
kiddos.
board games in the box. So, everybody ready?
Yeah, I'm
All right,
ready.
Spec,
Let's do it.
let's open up and find out
Mousetrap.
what's in the box.
Let's do
Here we
it
go.
for
If you want to watch on video, Facebook, Twitch, YouTube, you can
Crossfire.
check it out. He's going to open up one item at a time for now, at least.
It's the Christmas season.
All
Don't
right.
let us see all of it.
All right, what's it say?
Thank you for your order.
Okay. All
They're
right.
offering me 10% off the next one. We'll
There you go.
talk about that next.
Perfect. All right. Here we
I'm
go.
not going to be feeling that if the box isn't good. I bet they do better
First
for the
item.
first box.
First item, clothes or decorations.
What is that, Christmas garland?
It's a Christmas garland.
Oh, dude, we got to move that quick.
What is
Let
it?
me see it.
Yeah, we need to have the mic
Yeah, you
on.
have to be on the mic to at least say what's in the box.
Christmas garland?
Christmas
Drew?
garland.
Okay. Christmas
Decoration.
garland is the first
right.
item.
That's a tough start,
Does it have
fellas.
lights in it? Hold on. Does it have lights in it?
How much was this box
200.
altogether?
200.
All right, it's not off to a good start.
That's what I
at all.
had.
Hold on. Let's not be hasty. Some of us are engaged to Christmas
Hold on,
fanatics.
it's 9 feet long. Wait, is this really what this thing
They
costs?
sold
How
you
much?
some
Probably
junk.
crazy expensive.
How much?
Hold on, I don't know if this one's pre-lit or not. It doesn't say.
They sold you some junk.
That's gonna be
It's
expensive.
definitely sealed.
Dude, this is like $40.
Yeah, that's gonna be expensive.
Hey!
It's not cheap.
Decorations
Christmas
go hard.
garland's expensive.
Kids color drawing pad, 8.5 inches.
Kids coloring drawing pad. All right.
Looks like I found something
That
for the
one.
old stocking of the kids.
There you go.
Carrington, you want to buy that?
No.
Buy that one?
The garland. We
Oh,
get
is
a
that an
color.
apple?
Apple pencil. Apple pencil.
Apple pencil. Is there a different version? There's like a first and second gen. Does it say what it is?
Now this says it was returned on 11/29, and by my count,
A year
it's
ago.
Okay, a year ago. I was
All
gonna
right,
say
so
that's
it
10
looks
days
like
from now.
first generation is my guess. It's the first. It's about $80 brand new. That's a good. That's a good
right.
find.
Not bad.
$80?
That's actually
Yeah,
not bad.
that's a good find.
That's
Okay.
actually not
We're
bad.
Light spoiler here. We have some more Apple
Oh,
safe charger.
nice. MagSafe charger.
MagSafe charger?
Mag safe charger.
Oh, that might actually be a purchase. Hold on, let me see if
This
I can
one
get
looks
this
like, depending on the brand, Apple could be about $30.
Okay, guys, this is okay start.
Hey, I might have to.
More
30.
Apple
Oh.
Thunderbolt cable.
Oh.
Now,
What does it say?
Dude, Apple branded, we're getting rich here.
2-meter Thunderbolt cable.
2 meters.
they do it in meters?
That's interesting.
Thunderbolt cable.
Ooh. Oh, this
What's-
is you got to
what's-
have the computer for this joint.
What's the run? What's the run, Gold?
Well, there's different ones here. It
Looks like it's
it could be.
$40
There's
new.
different cables. What?
Yeah, this one, if it's 2 meters, it could be about $38.
How much did you buy this box for again?
$200.
$200.
Doing all right. Now, you got to still find people to buy it.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're in good shape.
We'll get there.
Here, what's this? This looks interesting.
MagSafe power adapter.
Dude, we're in the Apple
that's
products.
the one I had to replace like 2 months ago on my computer.
This is probably $50-$60.
You got to take that
Dude,
one
I
back.
don't know why we got the Apple box of returns, but thank God.
Apparently
everything from the Apple thing got returned.
There might be a keyboard in there.
Yeah, we're doing good on the Apple products here.
All right, what's next?
Someone says the Apple Pen is Pete's because Pete said he wanted the third item in the box.
He said he wanted it for 25 bucks.
All right.
This appears to be a black jacket of sorts. I don't want to take it out of the.
We have to open it. Let's face it, we have to open it to sell.
Black jacket.
That could be a little bit pricey. You get a Columbia or a North Face, something of
think
value.
come
there.
on now.
Let's see it.
What brand? Does it say on the tag?
Oh, just a light puff jacket?
What size?
We got a
is it?
brand there.
I'm afraid this is the Amazon brand. That
Basic, Amazon Basics.
Hey,
20 bucks.
Don't knock Kirkland.
15
That's
bucks.
What size?
20 bucks.
Hey, knockoff Patagonia is still knockoff Patagonia.
You got a 2X.
A
With a big
2X?
boy.
Someone says hilarious spec goes MagSafe power adapter. We're all like, oh, just a charging cable.
Yeah, I mean, you
All
gotta
right,
turn-
what else? What else we got?
This appears to be
another coat.
another black
Same thing.
sweatshirt.
Okay.
This is definitely just a black sweatshirt.
If that was a 1X, I might actually have got the black puffer, but no.
I'm still waiting for the wrist brace for Drew's wrists, Mr. Burrow over there.
This is clearly a. They put everything together.
That
Another.
was like a hoodie.
Yeah. This is.
That has hoodie or.
It's a 2-pack, by the way. 2-pack of just black.
So right now we
sweatshirt.
might be right around $200, right? A little over $200.
The power cable might not be bad for you
Yeah.
guys.
Here's a black long sleeve, Cody.
The shirts are going to be a struggle. We're getting
Yeah.
These are
The merch, you got to keep the merch.
Yeah.
You ain't making no
What's
money.
this?
Here's the worst one. Here's a doorknob.
Who's gonna buy
Oh, this is Under Armour.
Who's gonna buy the doorknob?
This is an Under Armour quarter zip.
We must protect this house.
That's an Alex Gold written all over it. If I've ever
What
seen
size
one.
is it?
Medium.
Too small.
Medium.
Too small.
Drew, that's your size.
Spec,
You're a
what's the
medium
brand?
guy.
What's it say? Schlegel?
SCHLAGE. French
If
door.
you think doorknobs are cheap,
Doorknobs
they
are
are
not cheap.
French door,
I bet
closet
$40.
door, and active door.
I'm betting 45.
I mean, it depends on which one. It could be as little as $15, as much as 55.
You know what you guys need to do? You need to get these things off in the company email. You need to at least just
Well,
take
I
a
think the
picture.
next box we're going to do, we're going to find out how many items are in it, CDOT, and we're going to sell like 30 spots at 20 a spot.
This looks like a very small kid's basketball jersey.
Why is that in the bag?
How are we going to sell that?
Oh,
that might be a
What is this?
It's a bathing suit.
For like a toddler.
kids'
It's like a
swimsuit?
toddler swimsuit.
Yeah.
It's like a toddler swimsuit.
That's certainly for a little one.
Yeah.
This is listed at $80 suggested retail
Whoa,
price.
let's look it up here. Hold on, wait. TYR? What's the brand there?
Let me get that.
TYR.
Let me hold that.
TYR kids.
Ooh, look at this material. What is this, velvet?
I don't think they're worth that amount, but it
That's
looks
what
like
it
they're
says
at least.
on here.
It says
$20.
suggested retail $80.
About $20 on Amazon.
But that might be like a fancy one if it's listed
Yeah,
$80
this
on
is
that
That's
thing.
for a swimmer. So
Okay.
if you know any swimmers.
That's the.
Wait, what's this? This is a box of something
Every
here.
kid swims.
Was that
Seal.
cologne?
What's that brand on the front?
That
What does it
looks
say?
cool.
Misel, M-I-S-E-L.
That looks like cologne.
Oh, you might be right.
It's a
Misel?
hairbrush.
Oh.
Is it a nice hairbrush?
I've
Why the
never
hell's it
seen
come in
it.
a fancy
Oh.
box?
Oh, man.
Is it
Okay.
like horsehair
There
or
you go,
something?
Cody.
But wait, half is there?
Horsehair.
Is that other things?
Yeah, what's
supposed to
the,
be
yeah,
in
there's
there?
something else.
That's
What's
a
it-
$35 brush.
It's a cleaner for
I don't
the,
have hair, so this is
By the way-
not my...
Amazon, that's a $35 brush.
That's not bad.
I mean, for a brush, yeah, I wouldn't have thought it was worth
Text
that
line
much.
thinks that swimsuit is actually a gymnastics leotard.
Oh, that would add up.
Hold on, that makes sense.
That would add up.
Kent, can you read us the
Again,
label?
if you're just tuning in,
It says chlorine resistant on here.
I'm just telling you the text line.
Okay, but I'm telling you
yeah,
it says
no.
chlorine
I got you.
resistant.
This is a Club 610
There
Friday.
Isn't underwater gymnastics like a major KU?
I'm
Right?
pretty sure it's one of the Olympic sports.
Okay.
It's the Club 610 Friday presented
how much,
by.
how much is left in this box?
There's enough.
There's a lot left in this box?
There's a fair
Listen,
amount of like
Caleb
little
Burrell, I don't want to
things.
hear about people coming to school.
Knee pads will go right along with the volleyball suit or whatever it is.
That's probably $15.
Uh,
I feel like we're already in the black here.
We gotta find buyers,
knee
though, Cody.
pads.
I understand how reselling it works.
Oh, HP stuff.
A laser HP laser jet.
Ink is expensive, you know?
Is that ink though?
Link it is ink.
These are
we're gonna sell an ink cartridge.
these are print cartridges.
Walk down to IT and say, "Listen, here's
box of junk."
What do you mean?
I wouldn't say it's junk.
I would walk down to IT right now and be like, "Hey
There's
guys,
knee
Brand
pads in
brand
here.
new. That cost $80
Yeah, let's say
to buy.
that's a good one. $85.
That cost $80 to buy at the store.
There's a
That ink
box in a
cartridge.
box here. Hold on.
It could be yours for $40. You got that right?
Again,
ink cartridge. It could
real
be yours
quick,
for
it's
40.
a
Real quick.
Club 610 Friday presented by Jay Rieger & Co. If you're tuning in, you're wondering what the hell is going on the show. We bought a mystery box for $200. It's got a bunch of random returned items from Amazon, Walmart, Target. We're going to resell it. So far, the best item has been what?
power adapter
The pencil.
for sure."
The Apple Pencil.
I mean, I would say this whole Apple package can probably get you back your $200.
Yeah, if you bundled it.
Yeah, if you put all this together,
We're doing
going to
okay.
sell you the pencil, the power adapter, the charger, the cord.
Yeah, everybody says the ink is one of the bigger
Ink,
items.
I think, is actually one of the better items.
Doorknob comes in last place. We can all admit, right?
This
Oh
little
wait,
swimsuit.
we have a new contender for last place.
I'm gonna say
Hangers.
Those might well just throw away. Throw them out.
Not only is it
They're not good hangers.
It's hangers plural. There are a lot of hangers in there.
There's a whole box of them.
A whole box of hangers.
that's like $5 at Target.
Yeah.
So
I'm not gonna lie to you. I'd rather have the box of hangers than have the little
the doorknob?
the little swimsuit.
I'd rather have the cardboard box than the hangers.
That cardboard, those hangers are going right to the trash.
for practicality,
Here we go.
still
Getting
more
towards
in
the end
there?
here.
Good lord, that's a big box.
Digital kitchen scale. If you need to weigh your meat.
I already have one of those. You should be using a kitchen scale, by the way, if you want.
Or something else. Yeah, I'm gonna say it may not just be for that spec.
I think people are keeping that in the car.
I don't know about that world. I measured my chicken cutlets on that.
Might have been
The
some
phone case.
Commuter light
case.
Yeah, it looks like a
it's
phone
Otter.
case.
Okay,
It's Otter.
I thought we were gonna get a bunch. I
phone
thought we were gonna get a
cases.
bunch of those in
What
this.
size
Yeah,
phone
that's
does
what I
that
thought
fit?
too. I thought you would get a bunch.
Designed for LG mobile devices.
Some of these might end up in the garage sale if we
You got
can't
an
sell
LG
them.
phone?
Yeah, you
Dude,
got,
Otter boxes are
Don't make fun of LG phones.
you're not gonna be able to sell that. LG people
You
don't
gotta
have any
sell it
money.
to Spectre. It looks like.
A knee sleeve. Knee support for running. I'll buy this from you.
Just give that straight to
buy the
Cody.
knee
Really?
sleeve?
Yeah,
Are those good?
I can use that for hockey. I'll buy that. For
Everything but the
Gary's
wrist
Tony
brace, Gold.
package.
Yeah, where's the wrist brace for Drew? Joe Burrow over
I
there.
don't know. Put the knee on the wrist. Last item.
It's the last one.
Oh.
Bottle and cup cleaning set for your bathroom or babies, I guess, or
Looks
dishes.
like it's for babies.
I bet you could
if
probably
I'm
get
gonna guess.
$25 for that, like at a Bed Bath & Beyond.
Oh, this is a re-gift for a wedding shower.
Save this.
100%.
If you've
Say-
got
no,
shower
No,
coming
I thought you guys looked
Save that, Rob. This is
No,
perfect. We'll
no,
save it. We'll, on behalf of 610, we'll get you this for your baby
Congratulations,
shower.
Rob.
I saw that coming from a mile. No.
That's it. That's the box.
All right. Thank you, Spec.
It says thanks, Cody, by the way, here. Bluebird liquidation. Thanks, Cody.
There you go.
on
they-
OXO's website, that thing costs $37.
They definitely.
Oh, we're not
liquidated.
gonna lose-
They
we're
liquidated
definitely-
courtesy of you guys.
Yeah, we're definitely not
We're
going
not
to lose
losing
money.
money.
I don't think
No.
we're going to
No,
make
you're not-
much,
you're
but we're
not-
not going to lose.
I think you can get in the black.
Well,
I don't think you're gonna
I
make.
think we're a couple $100 in the black. I think we're
we'll
like
make
$400 here.
Whoa, that's a bit much.
You think it's a double up?
I don't think you're
I
doubling
think
up.
we're making
think
about
it's a double
150.
up?
I think we're making about 210.
Oh, what? You think
That
you're
might be a
making-
total.
Like 210 on top. You're getting 210 in the black or 210 in total.
Cody, give
No,
me the
we're
price on
making
this knee
210.
sleeve.
Oh, yeah, so
I'll
double
make
up.
the
Yeah,
first
so double.
offer.
I think we're making
hold on.
210.
What's
I
the
don't
brand?
Oh my goodness!
Here we go.
Just sell it to them for what? Hold on, let's find out what the rig. What the
I need to know
regular
the brand.
I don't think there is a brand.
That'd be some kind of, I mean, what, it's just like generic?
Bluebird liquidation.
It's like that fake hoodie you got in there.
They liquidated.
I think we did pretty good.
$20. Just sell it over 20.
Looks like on Amazon right now, you'd have to pay $24.
$20. $20.
For
Done.
this knee
There you
sleeve.
go. $20.
$20.
$20.
Hey.
180 more
Into
till
the
we
show
break even.
Venmo.
So $180 till we
Do you
break
guys
even.
have a- you guys have a show Venmo?
Yeah, we have a show bank account.
We actually have a
I
debit
just
card.
didn't
I'm
know. I
not
wasn't-
kidding. We have a show bank account.
Look
I
at
just
you
didn't
guys.
know.
We're going to buy some show shirts here pretty soon, I think, again.
I'm pretty
Get some
sure
new
we
ones.
are we are plus 150 at least right now in
I
terms
was going to
of.
say, I think we'll be around, we'll make $200.
Plus
How are
100
you
is
guys
probably the
planning
safe.
on selling these things?
Facebook Marketplace, wherever.
Amazon, we're going to
Text line.
eBay, text line. Look, if you've got an ink cartridge that needs a 12A HP printer
The
cartridge,
black too. The black. The
black.
Man.
Everybody needs
Always
the
go
black.
black.
You always need the black. Nobody needs the red with the
No.
blue, but the black. Oh my
Yeah.
goodness.
Need that cyan and
So you bought-
magenta.
you bought your
guys bought
kid.
a
Did you buy your
doorknob.
kid a bike for Christmas? Do they need knee pads? You buy him a skateboard? You buy him a hoverboard? Knee pads.
Ooh, that's
What do you think is gonna be the hardest thing to sell? I think it's gonna be the hairbrush.
I think the doorknob might be the harder one.
The doorknob could be difficult.
It's a $30 hairbrush.
I'm going to
and
text
it's
my
not
wife
gonna be
right
easy
now,
to sell.
actually, see if she wants a hairbrush.
I think
The Apple Pencil won't be a problem.
No, I think
I've seen this
the children's
Drew,
bathing suit.
I've actually seen your
Yeah,
girl
the
with this
children's-
hairbrush. Don't do it. Don't call her.
Don't do it.
Don't call her. I've seen her.
Appreciate the advice.
That's the wrong brush.
That's not the kind of brush she needs for her hair. It's not the kind of brush. It's just not the brush. It's not it.
I need to see it, though, because I have no idea what... I wasn't even able to see it. I don't even know what it looks like.
Gary.
Well, it's not the kind of brush she needs. I'm serious.
Oh, man. Oh, man.
What was it called? A Meisel? Is that what it was?
She needs a Michaela brush, not the Meisel brush. Come on now. This brush isn't the one she needs. Come on.
It's the wrong brush.
It's the wrong one.
For all we know, it's a nice brush, man. I don't know.
I mean, it is a nice brush. I'm not saying that. For Caroline, it would be a perfect brush.
Does Caroline
not
need a
for
brush?
Brianna?
Rob, is there anything you see here that you were thinking about getting for Christmas for Caroline?
Yeah, why don't you do some
Maybe-
Christmas shopping right now?
The garland is not a bad play for us. My fiance is a Christmas fanatic, so anything to decorate the house makes me a winner at home.
This does look like some good quality garlic.
I don't know what bad
I was
garland
about
looks
to
like.
ask that question.
Nice quality.
What does bad Garland look like?
Cheap, plastic.
He plays for the Cavs. The bad Garland.
Why are you doing that?
Damn.
Darius, come on now.
That seemed like a slight for no rhyme or reason.
They didn't do anything.
Just minding his business, being totally mediocre.
Someone says they'll buy back the Bobby Wood Jr. cleats that Gold outbid someone
No,
at
those
our
are mine
own
now.
event.
Sorry, those are
and
mine.
the doorknob, and
You
they'll toss in
outbid
somebody.
It's a charity event. I'm not allowed to bid.
Of course you are.
Oh, yeah.
At the garage sale? You
No.
okay.
Oh,
The Vinny
for the Vinny
Pasquantino.
Pasquantino.
There were some
Okay.
signed Under Armour
that-
brand new powder blue cleats. They're badass. And I outbid somebody. Sorry.
That's fair game. I thought you were outbidding
That
someone
person
from the
mad they
garage
just
sale.
lost.
I mean, we've talked to her. I think she's just joking around. But yeah.
I thought it was the garage sale. I'm like, what are you doing keeping our junk?
Yeah. No. Some of this, if we can't sell, will end up in the Cody and Gold garage sale.
Yeah, the hangers.
I'm telling you, you guys should package
I mean, everybody
all
needs
of this-
hangers, but I don't know.
You should package all this Apple stuff together, and I think you'll get your 200 back, and then you just got to piece all this other stuff together.
Yeah, I think.
But who needs all of what Apple? Unless it's another reseller.
Anybody that
What
has
other
Apple, you got
Yeah, but-
Apple. Every
yeah,
That's
but I
pretty
don't-
much everything
Yeah,
I
you-
use for
yeah,
Apple
yeah,
right
Yeah, but
now.
like I have
Right.
Apple, but I don't need an Apple Pencil. I guess is what I'm saying.
Yeah,
So-
but I'm
No,
saying
but
is,
if you were to
you
buy
might-
it for the power cord
Yeah,
and you
then all
got
you
the
got is
pencil.
the pencil. You're just like,
Yeah.
okay.
If you have the Mac and the
What, Jim's the
iPad
pencil?
and the... Yeah.
Nah, I don't use my iPad enough to get the pencil.
I'm gonna say I'm an Apple user. Apple users are fiercely
No,
loyal
you
to
got-
Apple.
you
So
got
someone
every-
has
you
the
got Apple
iPad, the
everything.
Mac, the
For sure.
iPhone.
You don't know
good to go.
somebody
No,
with the iPhone
we were
and a PC.
fortunate to get 4 Apple products out of this thing.
No, yeah,
that's the win.
That was a
I
big
still
win
think
for
the
you.
biggest moneymaker might legitimately be that ink.
The ink
I
is
think
quite
so.
a bit.
Certainly, no, certainly. Could
I
be.
actually think the hardest thing to sell, circling back, is the kid's swimsuit.
Yeah, I don't think you're.
You might have to
How you
take it
selling it? I don't know,
to
dude.
one of those
You gotta take it to
resellers.
Plato's Closet.
Yeah,
that's
this
the place to do it.
This
You
is
gotta
a
go
bunch of men talking. I'll tell you right now, Poshmark for little kids stuff or those little kids
Look,
clothes
man, you want to make
resellers.
a Poshmark account and take that? You go
My
right
wife already
ahead.
has one. I just have her put it
that's
on there.
fair.
Are you like? I'm telling you right now, we have gone shopping kids stuff. They grow out of it in a half a second. You were looking for brand new items that you can buy for less, all the time. Kid stuff
It's
is
got the
easier to
tags
sell
on
than
it,
you
right?
think.
It still has the tags.
Yeah, I mean that's fair.
That's key.
Still got the tags on it. I think it'd be
you know
okay
what?
there.
That is
Versus-
fair. I could be speaking out of ignorance. I was thinking of your listeners, who's gonna be like, "Ooh, give me the kids
Facebook.
swimsuit."
I'm gonna
Facebook
go look at the.
Marketplace.
I'm gonna go look at the cartridge in this printer.
Oh, you
I'm
100%
gonna sell it to Joe.
You got to sell it to Odyssey.
The company's getting a discount anyway on ink.
I'm gonna sell it to Odyssey.
Actually, sell it to Dana and Parks. I think they use the ink for the entire building off the 90 pages they print before their
that's fine.
show.
Not
Dana
wrong.
certainly does.
Yeah.
Oh, I think it's mostly Parks. Parks is a printaholic.
I'll have to look up what kind of HP printer we got out there. Thanks for coming in to look at the box, guys.
Laughing at Rob.
Which part? Which part?
Called Parks a printaholic.
That's why he prints everything. It's a printaholic.
They
Just
both
happy
do
to know
print
he's
a lot.
evolving.
So you guys all think we made money? What do you think?
I think you
Yeah,
made money.
I do think you made money. I do think
It's going to take us a while to recoup the money. That's
yeah,
part
I
of
don't
the
think you. I don't think you made it today. Like you didn't get like a
I
ooh,
actually,
turn
I
and
actually
burn.
don't think that. I think you could sell this Apple stuff a lot
Today.
If
faster
I
Yeah,
can
than you
turn
think.
it quick,
Yeah.
get our money back, and then slow burn the rest of this.
Yeah, that's what I think. I think you could probably sell the Apple stuff and the ink pretty quick, and then you're gonna have to hustle for the rest of this.
That's fair.
Before you guys go on sports front, real quick, we were asking Drew this because he's obviously the Bengals fan.
Repping the
Bengals,
colors, by the way. Good job,
He
buddy.
is definitely repping the Bengals gear. It's very bright. Yay or nay on making the playoffs for the Cincinnati Bengals?
Nay.
No.
They're done.
We don't know how. I know. I don't even need to know if he's out of game or the rest of the season. They're done.
They're done with the loss.
Because he's at least missing
the health.
He's at least missing one game. We all agree.
And they don't. They have. Drew will knows better. I don't think they have one win in the AFC. They have something weird about.
They have one win.
Bad.
It is the Bills.
Yeah, they have one AFC win. So yeah, they're in trouble.
The Bills have 5 AFC losses. I don't think a
they
single
have
team
AFC
in
wins,
Bills, Chargers, and
including the
Bengals, they're all
Dolphins.
missing.
Probably so. So
wild
it's going to
to
be a
think.
Houston, Cleveland.
Great for the
Vegas.
Chiefs. Great for the Chiefs.
Yeah.
That wild card weekend is going to be awful.
Oh, yeah, it's going to be
It's
unwatchable.
going to
The
be.
Chiefs hopefully just be sitting their ass at home waiting,
Wild card
waiting for the
weekends.
divisional round.
Wild card. Hold on. Which game do you think goes to Peacock? Oh, it's going to be bad.
Well,
that Peacock
It won't be the Texans because Stroud is going to be a guy they're going to push.
I agree.
So it won't be the
I agree.
Texans. It'll be Cleveland with P.J. Walker or Joe Flacco starting.
I think,
Raiders, Ravens.
I'm going to say Pittsburgh.
2-7.
Well, the Raiders are losing 5 in a row. I've told you this. The Raiders are.
Ravens on Peacock is a
The
no-go for
Raiders
me.
aren't going to make play. They're going to lose 5 in a
I'm
row.
not watching that.
It reeks of Pittsburgh. Whoever Pittsburgh has. I think Pittsburgh's making the playoffs. I don't believe in the Browns.
No, it's going to be whoever wins the NFC South. That's who it's going to be. It's going to be Falcons.
It's going to be Saints against Vikings or something.
Saints, Vikings.
It'll be
Gross.
That's Saints Cowboys. That's not Peacock.
Oh no, Saints Cow. No,
Dude, the Cowboys aren't going on Peacock.
I know that's the thing. 'Cause you got to think about it. The Saints will win their division. They're the 4. The 5 would be the best wild card. That's Dallas.
It's going to be like the 2 and the 7 game.
Yeah, it's going to
So
be.
you're thinking it'll be like.
really trying to figure it out. We're just trying to get jokes off. Rob's really trying to. No, that's not how it's going to be.
You guys asked me a legitimate question. I am here to give you a legitimate answer.
I'm trying to find the worst possible matchup. He's trying to find. No, there's no chance that happens.
It's probably Minnesota versus the
Saints,
Niners.
San Francisco.
The Saints, yeah.
Niners, San Francisco reeks of Peacock. No one cares about Josh Dobbs versus Brock Purdy.
Yeah, it's definitely an NFC game.
Yeah, I'm with you. This was fun.
Thanks
I
for coming in,
appreciate-
guys.
I appreciate you guys having me.
Enjoy
I
the
was
drink.
Not a fan of the drink, but you know what? I enjoyed the company.
I like the drink.
I'm just not really a dark liquor kind of guy, you know?
I don't understand people who aren't dark liquor people. It's better. It's better than clear liquor.
No, it is not.
Next time you come in, I'll make you a clear liquor drink.
Yeah.
Carrington wanted something
With
with
some vodka,
like,
tequila?
strawberries in
That's
it.
Come on,
normally when
Rob.
I come in
Vodka's horrible.
That's
Come on,
normally
Rob.
when I come in
Vodka's
here. You
not
normally make me a
horrible,
vodka
but-
or a
What's
gin
the
drink.
quote?
Well,
Rieger does vodka as well. We've had drinks with their gin and vodka. Today was
Last week.
using Rieger's whiskey.
Give me some Svedka.
What is wrong
Good
with
to
you?
go.
Svedka.
He's a,
Not
he's
even
a
good
child.
vodka.
He's a child.
You guys have a
to get outta
22-year-old
here.
at producer? What's happening back there?
You guys got Quentin producing the show today.
Thanks for coming in, guys. That's C-Dot. That's Rob right here on a Club 610 Friday presented by Jay Rieger & Co. Coming up next, we'll get to what's trending. Normally, we would do game predictions on a Friday. We'll obviously save that for Monday based off of the Chiefs not playing until Monday night. But we'll get caught up on the latest going on, including the AFC mess. Next here on Cody and Gold.
Cody and Gold, brought to you by Gann Asphalt and Concrete. For asphalt, concrete, and parking lot maintenance, Gann Asphalt and Concrete. One contractor, all things parking lot. Trusted in Kansas City since 1994. Online at GANNasphalt.com. Nate Taylor joins the guys in studio Tuesdays at 1 during the season, right here on 610 Sports Radio.
It's touchdown Kansas City when you sell your home to RexBuysKC.com. I am Mitch Holtz, voice of the Chiefs, and no company pays more than Rex, with instant cash offers on your money in as little as 7 days.
That's right, Mitch. I'm Rex, owner of RexBuysKC.com, your locally owned home buyer. We'll buy any house regardless of condition. Distressed or damaged homes, it doesn't matter. Call us now at 816-330-6000 for the best offer and instant cash.
Score a touchdown, Kansas City with Rex, and get a fair, honest deal. Facing divorce, bankruptcy, thousands in repair bills, needing to move fast, being foreclosed, or just wanting cash fast? Then contact Rex now to get your money in as little as 7 days.
We help homeowners solve their problems with options on how they can sell their home. We have no fees, no closing costs, no commissions, no open houses. We buy your house as is.
Sell your home today, worry and hassle-free, no matter what the condition, and get your money in as little as 7 days.
Call us right now at 816-330-6000 or go online to RexBuysKC.com and let us buy your home today.
Old Shawnee Pizza has expanded to the Crossroads with their OSP Express. Go to OSPEXP.com to order and use any third-party delivery system. Located in the Crossroads Food Stop at 16th and Campbell. Go to OSPEXP.com to order. Old Shawnee Pizza, now 3 locations.
Join Yingling and Johnny's Tavern this November to support Loggers for Heroes. Join Johnny's Tavern to give back to local KC vets and register to win a Yingling prize pack. including a tailgate couch, large wooden Yingling bar sign, tickets to the Chiefs Christmas game, and so much more. Yingling, America's oldest brewery, is proud and thankful for Kansas City's servicemen and women. Visit any of your local Johnny's Taverns in the KC Metro to enter to win. This contest is powered by our friends at Yingling and 610 Sports.
Hey guys, it's Carrington from The Drive here, and I'm like you. After work, I like to chill at the other place where I can sit down, grab something to eat, grab something to drink, and I want to catch up on all the games. And if you're looking for somewhere on game day, if you don't have anywhere to go, then stop by the other place where they have a perfect game day atmosphere which makes you feel like you're at the game. The other place, Shawnee, Olathe, the downtown Overland Park, and opening soon in Mission and Belton.
Your attention is precious. Pulled in a million directions for a million different reasons. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Kansas City works hard to make sure your health insurance isn't one of the many things distracting you from what's important. By making healthcare easier to navigate, we help keep your focus on the moments that matter most. Like dinner with loved ones. Letting you focus on you. That's the benefit of Blue. Learn more at BlueKC.com.
The best values of the year are this weekend at Diamonds Direct. Save an extra 20% store-wide. Rings, earrings, bracelets, bands, designer jewelry. It's our biggest and final store-wide sale of 2023, and we're holding nothing back. Shop early for Christmas and get the year's best value prices. Thousands of engagement rings on sale too. Plus special financing. This is the big one with in-store designer appearances all weekend, including Sunday. Get all the details now at DiamondsDirect.com. Diamonds Direct. Your love, our passion.
Paid actor portrayal.
I didn't see it coming. Life can be so unpredictable. After losing my dad, it made me think about my family if something were to happen to me. The mortgage, car payments, and all the other bills. Even things like our annual summer vacation would be out of reach. I had heard about life insurance through Ethos and how easy it was to get coverage. They were right. I knew it was time to stop putting it off and get life insurance right now. I got on my computer and went to ethoslife.com. In just 10 minutes, I was covered. And boom, family protected. Thanks to Ethos, my family won't have to worry about the bills if the unpredictable happens to me.
Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at getethos.com. That's GETETHOS.com.
At Grainger, we're for the ones who specialize in saving the day and for the ones who've mastered the art of keeping business moving. We offer industrial-grade supplies for every industry with same-day pickup and next-day delivery on most orders, all backed by real people ready to help. So you can get the right answers and products right when you need them. Call, clickgrainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
A psoriasis flare-up can make a walk in the park, well, no walk in the park.
It's that obvious, huh? I've tried so many lotions and creams, but I still have symptoms.
So those don't do enough to treat the inflammation beneath the skin, leaving you with those uncontrolled symptoms.
Makes sense, but what else can I do?
You can get real with your dermatologist so they can help you get clear. Make an appointment and, oh, you're already on it.
Hi, yes, I'd like to make an appointment.
Get real clear about psoriasis at letsgetrealclear.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
Amazon's got the best deals on Black Friday. Oh, the best deals are on Cyber Monday. Friday comes first when it comes to saving. Monday's worth the wait for what you've been craving. Deals so good it'll feel like stealing. Real cool message, could you make it less appealing? What's with the beef? You can get that too. Won't you call us? What's triggering you? Whichever day you're shopping on, you'll save a bunch at Amazon. On Black Friday, Cyber Monday too.
Let's head out. The theater's about to close.
Wait, what does that sign say?
Warning, watch your step?
No, next to it.
If you are 60 or older, you may be at increased risk of serious consequences from RSV, respiratory syncytial virus, compared to adults younger than 60. I didn't know that.
Not all dangers come with warning labels. Talk to your pharmacist or doctor about getting vaccinated against RSV today. RSV vaccines, including Pfizer's, are available. Learn more at bewareofrsv.com. Brought to you by Pfizer.
The 610 Sports Radio phone line is brought to you by Onder Law Injury Lawyers. Visit getjim.com.
Chiefs coverage on 610 Sports Radio is brought to you by Comfort Systems Heating and Cooling in Belton.
Score these hot winter deals from Comfort Systems. Receive up to $1,500 in rebates on a new Lennox Ultimate Comfort System or no payments, no interest for 6 months when financing a new Lennox system.
Comfort people is what we do. Comfort System is right for you.
Back here on Club 610. Presented by Jay Rieger & Co. every Friday in the 1 o'clock hour here during Cody and Gold. Today, again, what was the cocktail people want to make it at home and for this weekend? Also knowing they're going to have family in town, pick up a bottle of Rieger. It's also a great holiday gift as well, but a bottle of their whiskey. And what's in this?
So their Kansas City whiskey is obviously an ingredient. Cafe Amaro, which is like a coffee-based liqueur, is in there. And then dry Curacao, sherry. There's a couple of other ingredients you could kind of switch in.
What is dry Curacao?
Okay, so you know Curacao.
Yeah, I'm aware.
As a flavor, it's like the less fruit-based version of that, if that makes sense. But
it doesn't, but I realized my question was very
you're probably
niche.
seeing, well, like the only other Curacao, like blue Curacao, right? You might use in like a fruity drink at a tiki bar.
Yeah.
It's legitimately just like the drier tasting version.
Okay,
like
dry
gin
taste.
is.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think meant like dry, like you've like.
No.
Okay.
Dry is in taste.
The
dry gin, right?
Yeah. Okay. It's the finish.
Aftertaste or finish.
In my head, I was like, like dried, like they had dried it out. I'm like, really?
Gotcha.
No, you're good. Rob, you want anything? Last chance. Maybe the garland?
I've seen a few texts about the garland. The garland
Kids'
may be in
toys?
play. Nope.
Baby
no
stuff?
Kids' toys. No baby stuff. Nope.
Wedding stuff?
Come on, man.
How's the wedding stuff going?
Wedding stuff is good. We're ahead of the curve based on every website you read. We got venue, food, liquor, all done. We have hotel block done. Those are the big ones. She has dress done, which is also one, but I don't take part in that one. So we got all the big items done. The next wave of things are like little things you don't think about. Like, we also have DJ done. We also have photographer done. We voted against videographer because it seems like a waste of everyone's time and energy. It's like all the big ticket items are done, but little small stuff like your seating chart easel is coming down the pike.
Oh God, that just darts.
Oh yeah.
Get rid of like the 3 tables that matter, and then anyone else can sit with whoever.
That is.
You don't need to put all 10 people together at a table.
This is a large conversation we are having where it's like, do we have full assigned seating, half assigned seating, no assigned seating? It's great. But overall, we're ahead of the curve. Right in time for the holidays, where every extended family member on either side of the family has decided this is the time to meet everyone. Yeah, that's my Thanksgiving, is meeting a bunch of strangers that I will see again in 6 months.
Part of the process, man.
It's all part of the process.
Caroline, got any single friends for Gold?
There will be. Thinking of.
The wedding. I am invited.
There will be.
I think.
2.
He asked for your address, so you're.
I assume I haven't got the invite.
There will be 2. All 610s invited. Like it's not some.
See, we've talked about this before as well on
all
the show.
610s invited.
I said you kind of the way our workplace is set up because it's a small group. Because it's a small. Our workplace in there's like 8 or 10 of us or whatever, but. I feel like you can't invite 4 people. Now, we all work closely enough where I feel like you do have to invite the whole 610 group.
The way I looked at it, and I don't know if this is right or wrong, is it was all or none. I couldn't be like, I could maybe get away with being like, I work with Carrington every day.
I think people understood that.
But then I was like, I'm going to invite, if I'm going to invite B-Dub, I have to invite Kling. I just can't just create 2 random scenarios. Yeah, all 610s invited. So, yeah, I think as single friends, she has 2 in her wedding party that are single.
Oh, so good start.
1 recently single, so that's,
Well, you got months, dude, months.
You got time.
She will be recently single by the time the wedding rolls around.
And then there's a handful in the invite list I'm thinking about off the top of my head. They're definitely single.
Do they all live in the KC area?
Yes.
Okay.
I can finesse the table situation and be like, hey, Alex Gold is going to be at a table with just a bunch of strangers, but that's life.
If they're single women, I don't. The stranger part of that, really not a factor.
There's booze.
Will you dance at wedding? Yeah. You dance at a wedding? Okay. Yeah.
I mean, I'm not the star of the show. I'm not the guy that loves to make sure everybody knows he can dance and shows off. That's definitely not me.
I wish I was that guy. I wish I could dance really well.
I thought that was going to be you. That was going to be you at the wedding.
If you were to bet of anyone on the 610 staff, who do you think's most likely to be that guy? I think you would have been the answer.
That's exactly right.
I like the attention.
Exactly.
I just can't dance.
Actually, you know what? Let me rephrase that. You'd be second on my list.
Oh, who's number?
Dusty would be number 1.
Oh, that's fair. Yeah,
Dusty would be 1 on that list.
That's another good answer.
Dusty would be 1, you'd be 2. But if you're like, hey, do a draft of the people most likely to be the super dancer at the wedding, you would have been a top 2
Dusty's
pick.
a good answer.
Josh Klingler's last.
Dusty's a good answer.
Ooh, I don't know if Josh Klingler's last. I think he's last.
You think I'm last?
I think Gold's last.
Have a couple
Single
drinks.
guy,
You
a
never
little
know.
younger, a couple drinks.
Yeah, I mean, man, maybe that changes the equation a little bit. It is an open bar, so.
Nice.
Wait,
That
liquor
is
and?
nice.
Oh, we're both.
Hey, good for
We're
you.
both.
Good for you. Screw the videographer.
I actually
More
think-
alcohol.
I actually think, I don't want to speak out of turn. I actually think the liquor at our wedding is Jay Rieger.
Hey, okay.
Just to connect the whole world
Nice.
here, yeah.
Thanks, Jay Rieger.
I'm 99% sure it is, yeah.
So obviously wedding plans and all that. Now tomorrow you going to Lawrence? Sunflower
I don't
Showdown.
want to talk about tomorrow in Lawrence because
What?
I'm
What do you
very,
mean?
very sad
Oh, you're
about
not. You're not. You,
So
He
here's-
has a friend's party.
Let, him, let him say, man.
Here's the whole deal. I'm very upset about this. I'm not happy because preseason, I was talking to people I share tickets with, and I was like, listen, under no circumstances I'm missing K-State. I don't care if it's 39 degrees out. I don't care if they put it at 10 o'clock at night because the TV window's weird. I don't care if KU's 0-11. I'm going to the K-State. I mean, they weren't going to go 0-11, so I'm going to the K-State game. And everyone's like, that's fine, Rob. We'll even drive. You can have yourself a day. And I was excited for my day. So then a few weeks ago, my mother comes to me. Love her to death. We have a mutual friend who I've known since childhood. Like, we grew up in the same neighborhood. We've been friends for we were both 3 and 4. So we've known each other forever. We do holidays together. It's basically family, but not family. My mom comes to me and she goes, hey, this is right before the Tech game. What time do you think, after the Texas K-State game, excuse me. What time do you think K-State KU will be? Texas had just beaten K-State, and I was like, oh, K-State just took a loss. KU's going to be 8-2. This reeks of big noon Saturday. It's going to be 11 a.m. And she's like, great, I'm throwing a shower at 7 p.m. that night. I'm hosting it at my house for your friend. Is that okay? And I said, yeah, we're good. There's almost no chance that game gets relegated to the FS1 6 o'clock window. It's too big for FS1. Lo and behold, in the Tech game, Jason Bean gets hurt, and now it's a third-string quarterback against K-State. And then
not confirmed, but looking
not confirmed.
like it.
It's looking more and more like it. Jason Bean did get hurt in the game, so and Lance Leipold on the show yesterday said they have the utmost confidence in Cole Ballard if it becomes that. So it becomes 6 o'clock on Sunday. I then text my mom, and she's like, you can't skip a party at your house.
So you're not going to the football game.
I'm not going to the football game. I sold the tickets early just to...
You sell them to a KU fan or a K-State fan?
KU fan. I pushed away temptation by selling them early in the week because I knew if they were in my hand on Saturday, I would just go. I would just go. But yeah, I'm not going to the KU game on Saturday.
The line means it's Ballard starting, right?
Yeah, it's 9.5.
It's almost 9.5, 10 points.
It opened at this one you
7.5.
drive. It opened. I saw it
7.
6, 7 places,
7.5
and now it's 9.5.
was what it was a couple days ago. I think I'm with you guys where I think that
The
tells
movement
us
says Ballard.
Yeah, it's weird though because the public money is all on KU, but the sharps are on K-State. So that's what's kind of interesting about it, though.
I think that's because this again, your realm. The public sees 25 versus 21. These teams are
Why
similar.
am I getting 10 points?
Why am I getting 10
I'll be
points
honest,
to
though,
the home team, no less?
I mean,
in a rivalry game, I can get how the general public fell for it.
I
When's
do
the last
like
time K-State lost this game, though?
14 straight. K-State's won 14 straight.
Oh, wait, it was Todd Reesing beat Josh Freeman. Just
KU
an idea
has
of-
only stayed within 7.5 3 times since 07. So, and that was back in 2018, the last one. So, we'll see. It's up to someone says it might be up to 10 at a couple books now. So,
that
keeps on moving. I mean, I'm not betting.
I'm not betting.
I'm going to wait for it to go up. If it's going to keep going up, I'll take KU plus 11 at kickoff.
Is the over/under moving too?
I haven't checked.
Because if that number keeps rising with the line, that's the number to bet. 'Cause I don't think KU's going to score a lot if Cole Ballard is the guy.
Sorry, real quick. Massive news in the NFL. Adam Schefter now reporting that Joe Burrow is out for the season.
Oh, that's
So I know we were doing cheeky Club 610 stuff. Joe Burrow is out for the rest of the season.
Torn wrist
This is a
ligament.
massive deal, obviously, for the Chiefs, and and if you need to go talk to your host, because I assume this is your lead
this
now.
may have changed our show. So
That's okay.
Thanks for having me in, guys.
Kill the music for a second, Drew, because that's a much bigger deal than we can still have our drinks and talk about our box later. But if Joe Burrow, Adam Schefter reporting that he's out for the season, that changes everything about the Chiefs' playoff chances, Super Bowl chances. The Bengals are now out. The Bills and Chargers already looked at they were at risk. And now Joe Burrow being declared out for the season. The second season he's lost in 5 years of being in the NFL?
He struggled to stay healthy, and the way he reacted last night, you knew something was seriously wrong. I mean, he couldn't grip the football. A lot of people were speculating last night that it was either a broken wrist or we said it earlier in the show, or did he tear a ligament? in his wrist. And unfortunately, it turns out he tore a ligament in his wrist, as Adam Schefter is reporting. And so he's done for the season. And that means this Jake Browning kid's got it the rest of the way. And their schedule was already going to be tough with Joe Burrow at the helm. And just going through it with Burrow being a 5-5 football team. Now, the playoff stuff is completely toast. The question is, to what Drew was saying and mentioning Brock Bowers, just how bad does it get? Do they end up with 6 wins, or do they find a way to win 8? Right now, they would be picking 18th in the NFL draft. Now,
they'll probably end up picking 10th or 11th by the time it's done. They're not going to win any games with Jake Browning. Also, remember the Chiefs schedule? Just real quick, the Chiefs schedule.
The Chiefs are playing the Bengals on New Year's Eve. Ticket prices for that game are about to plummet a little bit as well.
This does change does this change the bet at all for the
for
the game a little bit?
I'll be honest. So it does change the bet, but we were already trending in this direction because you were still like, no, man, if Cincinnati wins that game, it's like the damn Super Bowl. We had already
it's definitely that way now.
We had moved past that. Yeah, the bet, I don't know what we're going to do for the game because it doesn't mean anything.
This is going to be really devastating news for you.
The intrigue around Chiefs-Bengals New Year's Eve is out the window now, unfortunately.
So now, here are the quarterbacks the Chiefs face the rest of the way. Yeah. If you're curious, if they're getting the 1 seed, that's a lock almost now. I know that's too strong, and we can talk more about it Monday. The remaining quarterbacks they face include Aiden O'Connell, Jordan Love, Bailey Zappi?
Maybe, yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
Jake Browning? Aiden O'Connell again, and then, they'll get Allen and Herbert. But listen to the rest of those quarterbacks.
Must be nice.
I mean, they are in a tremendously good spot.
I don't know if I'd call them automatic wins, but you can almost pencil in all of those outside of the ones down the stretch.
I mean,
no win is automatic in the NFL, but you know what I'm saying. I mean,
do you need to leave? Do you need to go home? Do you need honestly.
We have 7 more minutes left.
Do you need to go?
I think we're okay.
You want to leave 7 minutes early? Knowing that now the season is totally toast for your Bengals.
It sucks.
Even though it was that way probably after last night anyway.
Yeah, but not quite the same as that.
The beauty of my sports fandom is that it is what it is. I can't do anything
right before the
about
holidays too, man.
I know. What a bummer that is. This is the evaluation period. Imagine for you guys, if Patrick Mahomes is done for the year, Blaine Gabbert comes in, your season's not over because Blaine Gabbert can do the job probably better than Jake Browning can, and you're in a better spot. But I think your mind shifts to other things, and your evaluation of the wide receiver room probably doesn't really go anywhere because you don't have the star QB throwing their way. But you look at other things within the team. I think that's where the focus is. How bad does it get? Who knows? As we've talked about today, the schedule is so brutal down the stretch. I have no idea what they do.
Yeah, the tank is definitely on now, though. I mean, at least that's the approach they should be taking. Like, T. Higgins' back is a little sore, hip a little sore. Yep, just sit him another week. Doesn't really matter at this point. Make sure if I'm T. Higgins, I'm making sure I'm a free agent at the end of the season.
It'll be interesting to see what he does. If he's like, look, guys, I don't know about going, or how many, does Jamar just start to half-ass or whatever, which I really wouldn't want to see that, but what is the attitude like, in the locker room?
Here's the quote from Zach Taylor on the injury to Joe Burrow. He said, quote, he had an acute injury, likely on the play before his last one. He tore a ligament in his wrist that will likely require surgery and have him miss the rest of the season.
This feels like I just pencil in the Chiefs for the AFC title game. That means Stroud's probably going to make the postseason. Pretty good chance that the Steelers or Colts or Raiders or some of these other just really mediocre teams, there's a decent chance if an upset happens in the playoffs, you might be facing Kenny Pickett in the divisional round before you head to the AFC title game again. I mean, Joe Burrow done for the year is a massive deal for the Chiefs.
Got to stay healthy.
I feel bad for Burrow. It stinks to keep losing your season this way.
Yeah, I mean, the Chiefs have to stay healthy, too. As much as we're talking about other injuries, there's still 8 games to go. The Chiefs have to maintain their own health as much as injuries are happening all around them. And, it's setting up, nicely for the Chiefs in terms of the path and all that. But they got to stay healthy in their own regard. And, that'll be I see tweets even from Bobby Stroop, who obviously is a well-known trainer and Mahomes' trainer. He just tweeted, no way this happened out of nowhere. That's the question is how long has this wrist been bugging him? Are we going to find out more that this is actually
acute that made it
Zach
worse?
Taylor said it was an acute injury. So that's has he been dealing with this for a month or two? He had the calf injury before.
Yes.
Zach Taylor said that Joe Burrow apologized to him for suffering the injury. Taylor also said Burrow right now, while this press conference is going on, is in the QB room working with Jake Browning, which obviously says a lot about Joe Burrow. But
This is the team that the Kansas City Chiefs have faced for 2 consecutive years in the AFC title game. And they just lost their starting quarterback for the rest of the year. But like you said, if it's an acute injury, that means they were lying about the report. He was hurt. He was playing with an injury that obviously could have gotten worse rather than rest him. They took the chance on the injury could have gotten worse. And I'm sure Joe Burrow signed off on all of it.
It's never been on the injury report either. It's not like it was on there 2 weeks ago and it was just a probable, sort of thing. It never even showed up. So that's definitely very interesting.
Just devastating injuries. Add this one to the list. But Joe Burrow now with the wrist, out for the year. Deshaun Watson out for the season with the shoulder. Kirk Cousins, we know, had the Achilles injury. Daniel Jones, knee injury, out for the year. Anthony Richardson, shoulder injury, out for the year. Aaron Rodgers, four plays into the season, out for the season with an Achilles injury. We all know the quarterback's most important position. It transforms your entire franchise if you have the guy and if the guy gets hurt. But that's a lot of big-time quarterback injuries, and we still are only in week 11.
People are talking about other ones, too, like Nick Chubb and these other ones that have massive impacts, because you want to talk about, because Mark Andrews might have gotten lost for significant time. At least one report suggesting they thought they could have lost him for the season, maybe even in Baltimore.
Yeah.
Like the AFC injuries.
J.K. Dobbins going back to them, the Ravens, yeah.
I think that Miami and the Chiefs might be the only two that don't have injuries that are gone for the year that have massive impacts in it. Let's just say Mark Andrews is gone for a significant amount of time. Okay, so them. We already mentioned Nick Chubb and Deshaun Watson for the Jets with every single team in the AFC has seemingly suffered a season-long injury at one of the 4 most important places for them as a franchise. The Chiefs have lost Nick Bolton for a good amount of time, but they're still expected to get him back at some point this year. This sucks for football. I will say, if you're talking about a quarterback who's been in the title game for and in the AFC conference title game for each of the last 2 years, and you lose him for the season, it sucks for the sport. It does.
Yeah, and this guy, fortunately for him, not that this is a career thing, but he got his big payday, at least before the injury. I'm not saying that he's not going to. I'm not saying he's not going to be able to recover. Assuming he'll recover and he'll be perfectly fine long term. But the fact that you got the $75 million contract, and then now is not able to make it through a season. Someone on the text line says, is him getting a higher draft pick? Or you can't be worried about teams a year or two from now and what picks they might have.
Yeah, they might get a better draft pick, but they're done for this year, a year that matters to you.
It's still 1 year where Burrow wasn't on a huge contract yet that now is wasted. So, no, I don't think so. Yeah, if they end up with Marvin Harrison Jr. or Brock Bowers, so be it. They're also going to lose T. Higgins. They also lost a year in which they had their quarterback in his prime to go win a Super Bowl.
I was going to say, if anything, they have the same team next year. They just have Keon Coleman or Brock Bowers in there instead of
probably not T. Higgins, though. But yeah.
Well, right. They're replacing T. Higgins with a rookie who is very talented. They're basically replacing him. Based on what we've seen, though, offensive line has been a little problem. We talked about the defense. They were missing tackles left and right. This is where it'll be really interesting to see how the rest of the year goes for that group. And that goes back to Bink had brought it up, Cody, with me when we were solo last week and then when you came in as well. Would you rather, and we posted to Gold, would you trade this defense for a number 1 wide receiver? Absolutely not, because if you have the great defense, as long as you have the quarterback, you don't need a number 1 wide receiver to get the job done. I don't think. It helps you, but Patrick Mahomes has showed that he's good enough to do the job, and they've got the sketchy offense, people call it, but they've got the best defense in the league, and they're leading the AFC. So I would not trade a great defense for a number 1 wide receiver at all.
I know you're dreaming for wide receivers, but they were bottom 10 in sacks allowed again this year. He lost a season because they had the worst offensive line.
Interior defensive line is awful.
Are you sure that they shouldn't just be targeting the best damn tackle in the draft and actually try to keep Joe Burrow off his ass and healthy and not getting hurt? Because some of this is he's under a lot of pressure. Orlando Brown Jr. I don't want to put it on him, but he had an awful game 2 days ago that might have been a part of this injury.
Cordell Wilson is also atrocious at the left guard spot. So
as you were saying, Cody, earlier, the Chiefs had Nick Bolton injury and stuff like that, which is not the same scale as a quarterback by any means. But this run the Chiefs are on, potentially a dynasty, seeing injuries like this, and anybody can get hurt. Someone can get hurt tomorrow at practice.
Sure.
But it speaks to how difficult and impressive the run the Chiefs are on. You have to withstand contract situations, injuries, all this stuff, and yet here they are, and they've gone to 3 Super Bowls, and they are the number 1 team in the AFC and the favorite, along with Philly, to go win the Super Bowl. But obviously, devastating news for Cincinnati. Joe Burrow done for the season with a torn ligament in his wrist. On Monday, we're back at it. It'll be game day. Chiefs, Eagles, Monday Night Football. We'll be talking about it then. Coming up next, though, it's C-Dot and Rob on The Drive.
Cody and Gold.